The Pat McAfee Show.
There will be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. It is, I'll tell you what, man. Episode 2 to Hard Knocks is tonight at 10 p.m. on HBO. Tuesday, August 16th. This show starts now.
Here we go, Atta Baby.
Here we go, Atta Baby, into another great 3.5 hours of sports conversation. We can't thank you enough for joining us here on YouTube and on the radio. Today's show is massive, not only because we'll be talking about what we think is going to come tonight for Hard Knocks, but because today is the day before tomorrow, which is when we'll be live at the Colts and Lions joint training camp practices right here in Indiana.
Hell yeah.
We have a stacked schedule. Allegedly, Jim Irsay will be joining us.
Ooh. Whoa.
Matt Ryan.
Whoa.
Matty Ice?
Yannick Ngakoue.
Okay.
And MCDC.
Oh, yes.
Motor City Dan Campbell will be joining us tomorrow, the head coach of the Detroit Lions, just hours after us watching the second episode of Hard Knocks. Obviously, 1 week ago, we watched the first episode of Hard Knocks with the Detroit Lions, and we were all dumbfounded by how amazing it was. It appeared to be like a movie of what you thought an NFL training camp would be like. The coaches, all ex-players, all electrifying. The head coach, a movie character of what a football coach should be. The living embodiment of the sport of football. He goes by the name of MCDC, but behind the scenes, he's a hardworking guy who is loved by his players, who wants to do something for a city that hasn't had a winning season in a long time. The players all seem to be all the way bought in. It's magical. It's a recipe created for success, for Hard Knocks majesticity. It's a word.
Yeah, damn right.
Can't wait to see what episode 2 is. Now, there has been people, I guess, around town that have been judging Hard Knocks because they thought the first week was infomercial fluff for the Detroit Lions.
Who said that?
They said there wasn't enough raw, emotional, life-altering stuff. I'm sorry, we're having entertainment. You're allowed to have fun. Not everything has to be serious. Tonight, I assume we're going to see life-altering stuff. You don't think doing 40 up-downs before a fucking practice is life-altering? That'll change you. Especially if you have a broken wrist because a small dog cage got you in the way. There's a lot of life-altering stuff happening right in front of our eyes. People are making teams. Dreams are coming true. Today, 4 p.m., cut-down day, the first round of cuts around the NFL.
Yes.
That means a lot of things. A lot of teams are going to go ahead and cut their players due to numbers, but also you're going to see players moving teams now for the first time. Who's had their eye on somebody else since before the draft? Weren't able to sign them as an undrafted free agent or a late-round draft pick or somebody that was a free agent. They get released here in the first round of cuts because it's not working out for whatever reason. Who gets brought in and who inevitably finds a home maybe forever? Jack Doyle was a guy who, I think he was cut by the Tennessee Titans in their first round of cuts. We signed him to the Colts. Goes on to make a Pro Bowl, makes a bunch of money.
Yeah,
Special teamer back home. I mean, there is some real moves that can be made at this time because maybe a team wasn't a fit for a player. Maybe a situation wasn't a fit for a player. And early, both sides recognize it and get them somewhere else. Maybe a team finds a missing piece, and maybe we see some cuts that could surprise us all. Ooh. There's a lot of potential breaking news that could come from today's show. Omar Khan will be joining us, the Pittsburgh Steelers general manager.
Here we go.
How long was Colbert GM for? Like 25 years.
He started there in 2000.
22 years was the previous GM's run. A lot of success, a lot of in-house stuff. They hire Omar Khan from within the building. He's been with the Steelers since 2001. So he's been there, done that. He's now the general manager. Seems like their rookie class is doing well. What's it like having the big boy desk?
Yeah.
What's it like sitting at the head of the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise? We'll talk to Omar Khan. And then in the in the third hour, we'll talk to Brady Quinn.
Whoa. Here we go.
Brady Quinn was the host of the Third and Long Foundation's golf outing yesterday in Columbus, Ohio that AJ Hawk went to. AJ Hawk back today, second hour. Can't wait to chat with him. Brady Quinn also go on radio this morning or last night, either immediately following golf outing that we had heard about in the past, and maybe there's a couple brewhas drank, or this morning, day after golf outing. And Brady Quinn said, I don't know what we're talking about with Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
He got hurt. That's a shame. He stunk before that.
Yikes.
Anybody watch the same game? I'm watching. This guy hasn't done a single thing. Brady Quinn also came out and said the Jets were 0-6 or 0-7 before they even get into their bye week. So this team, all the hype around them, they're kind of fucked with the way their schedule is constructed. So Brady Quinn has said a lot of negative things about the New York Jets. Can't wait to hear what Brady Quinn has to say, not only about the golf outing in which they raised a lot of money for veteran families yesterday, but also, what do you hate the Jets for?
What's going on, Brady?
Did something happen with the Jets with Brady Quinn? Did we not look into that far enough? What's going on there?
No, Jets just ball.
Speaking of Brady Quinn, Notre Dame, I mean, there is Manti Te'o's got a doc coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Huh?
It's going to be awesome for us. Maybe not for him, but it's going to be awesome.
I think it is going to be awesome for him. Finally explain
Get
his
his
story.
story out there.
And in 2022, I think a lot more people are very understanding of what catfishing is, because people are getting catfished by businesses, companies, significant other, friends all the time nowadays because of how internet heavy and internet savvy people have become. Back in the day, they still need that fucking nerd Nev to
right.
tell people what catfishing
That's
was on MTV. We're talking about Manti Te'o being before that run. So he was almost the gatekeeper for catfishing being introduced to a lot of people, and he got buried for it.
Big
Did.
Guy fell in love.
They
Yeah.
did. Give him a break.
He just wanted it to be real.
Sure.
Wanted to focus on his football, make his family happy,
What?
fall in love.
What?
Then he couldn't find anybody around him, so he searched the internet.
What?
And some fucking sick fuck preyed on him, attacked him, and carried on a goddamn joke that led into public scene and public scrutiny for Manti Te'o, who was a bowler on the field.
Stud.
That was tough stuff. I'm thinking that Manti's happy that this is happening. Maybe it'll be able to, for a chance for him to kind of turn the page on a chapter.
Some closure.
That has just been kind of looming overhead. I think he's quietly had a pretty good NFL career. I think he's been around a couple teams. I'm not 100% sure. And maybe he's fallen in love. Maybe he's fallen in love. Who knows if he'll ever trust anybody ever again? But I'm excited to watch that doc. Well, we'll talk to Brady Quinn about that and more. He's married with a child, Zito. Just
we
told
go.
me.
Wow,
So he was
Manti.
able to
All
find
works
it.
out.
It all worked out. Sometimes you gotta slay a few catfish dragons before you get to the princess.
That's right.
Ain't that right?
Well said.
Yeah, and you get to that castle. You know what I mean? Sometimes there's going to be some dragons out there.
Yep.
And it might be a dude in the basement in Ohio
That'll happen.
Yeah.
being the perfect significant other. You know, everything you want to do is fine. Yeah, absolutely. Manti Te'o was so pumped, I bet.
Oh, yeah. Kidding me?
Golly. Now, I will say this documentary happening is bringing it back into conversation when it kind of was gone for a long time. Now, granted, Manti, it's not gone, though. Every time he talks to somebody, introduces himself, the first thing anybody thinks is, oh, man. Sorry that happened.
So
You're
sorry.
the catfish
So
guy.
I think he's probably pretty pumped about it. We haven't talked about it in years, I don't think, because I've seen a lot of guys get catfished in the NFL whenever you're signing with a new team, coming into a new city. You're not necessarily somebody who wants to go out every night, but you wouldn't mind maybe meeting some people. You take a picture, you look at a picture on an app. Oh, here's a 10. Then a 10 still, but maybe a super duper inflated version or something else shows up. And this has happened on both sides. Dudes are catfishing worse than women are at these points. I mean, the way guys lie about what they do, who they're friends with, how they look, the filters they put on, that's a game changer too. How tall they are. I mean, how much money they make. I mean, there is a lot of lying on the internet that people are in there. So people get catfished on a regular basis now. So I think that's why we maybe don't talk about the Manti Te'o situation, even though it took over pop culture. But now with that documentary coming out, we're being forced to talk about it. I hope you find some closure. Now, speaking of closure, at Boston Connor, how you doing?
Fantastic. How are you, Pat?
I'm great, thank you. And at Ty Schmidt, just a couple doors down here, business close. There was some closure on a business.
Yeah, that's right.
And birthed from said closure of business was this new coffee shop, Quills.
The best.
We have been to Quills every day that it has been
Yeah,
open.
3 times in 2 days, actually.
And we have enjoyed everything about it. We even bought some merch from Quills.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bruce got a new Quills coffee hat. With that mustache that Bruce has, the way he dresses, how cool he is, he could potentially walk into Quills, go behind the counter, and start serving some fucking bro.
He could.
He could if he really wanted to. He looks good.
Oh, yeah.
We are thankful that this place is here. Now, we are learning a lot about coffee together, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ty and I don't think we are in the coffee community well enough. I've ordered a couple things on a couple different times now and thought I was getting something vastly different.
Sure.
Ordered a nice latte today, me and Ty.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll take 2 iced lattes.
Sounds good.
Biggest ones you got. Have no idea what that is. Have no clue who it is. Sees ice. I see ice in there. Coffee, going to make me live forever. That's what
Right,
coffee does.
of course.
And it's cold because it's a little bit hot. I can drink it quickly. That's what I want. We watch them make it right in front of us, these coffee makers.
That's
cool.
That's a cup of milk. That is an entire cup of milk on ice with one shot of espresso in it.
Right.
We both learned that as it was happening right in front of us by the coolest looking human of all time. And how's your body reacting to said ice latte? I actually passed it on
You did.
to our Quills employee, Bruce.
You did.
Because I said, I can't just drink a whole glass of milk. I am not that tough. How do you feel? You feel energized? Feel good?
I do feel energized because I did have an XL Starbucks on the way into work today.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you're trying both.
Yeah,
Doubling
exactly.
down.
I should have done what you did. I should have passed it up as well because this was about a 16-ounce glass of whole milk, mind you. This was not 1% skim milk. I haven't had whole milk in about 20 years. My guts are bubbling right now. I told you guys right before we came on air, I'm going to shit my pants during the show today.
Okay.
I just hope I can get through the first hour. As you were doing your monologue, I farted like 4 or 5 times and was kind of just rolling the dice.
Kind of experiencing it.
Yeah, exactly. So I made a mistake, and was the payoff ultimately worth it? I don't think it was because I think I probably would have been good just sitting with the Starbucks. That gave me enough energy. I didn't need,
16-ounce latte
a
is a
sick-
big
Dude.
big
Yeah.
glass of milk.
Again,
Bro,
lot of milk.
you know what that is? I'm going in this motherfucker blind.
I did not know there was that much milk in there.
Love vanilla lattes. I'm only getting about this big because there's only that much espresso.
All right, here's the deal then. Hashtag PMS Poop Watch. All right. You guess the exact time that Ty is taking off out of the studio. If it's during a commercial break, we will look at the time when it is. Obviously, we'll be live for probably the next 3 hours and 17 minutes-ish. So Eastern Standard Time is what the time we will go off of. So if you're Pacific, please add 3 hours and all the other times. It is currently 12:13 with 25 seconds p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go ahead and use hashtag PMS Poop Watch and guess what time you think Ty will be heading to the John. Now, you've already given us a couple clues. 4 or 5 already out there. Don't know. It was getting a little sketchy, huh? A little close?
Oh yeah. I mean, I not super close, but again, I told you guys, too close for comfort. And one of these times, I'm going to get cocky and kind of just lift my leg up a little bit.
And will we count that then? Shart? If he poops pants, Shart's pants right here.
Yeah.
Well,
I think we have to count it.
We'll have to check his pants to see if there's a mark or not.
Well,
but-
see, we don't need that much transparency.
I don't know
this is
though
legit.
because that will just be like a shart is fine. I'm going to drop a Scud missile in the bathroom at some point within the next 3 hours. So whether you want to count the shart as the poop watch, that's fine. But I am going to drop an absolute nuke in there.
So this is what happened just 2 seconds before the show started. Ty said, I almost just pooped on that fart right there. And it kind of got into all of our brains. So that's why my open to the show was quite a clog because we were just trying to figure out how we get this into the show. Hashtag PMS Poop Watch is on right now. All eyes are on Ty's bladder. We will make it when you leave studio door to go to the bathroom.
Okay. Sounds good.
If you leave studio to go whatever.
Do whatever doesn't count.
Doesn't count. If it is as soon as you are heading to bathroom is the time that'll count. We'll keep an eye on that. And good luck to whoever wins the $500 if they guess it right.
We're not scooping it out and sending them the bag of poop.
I mean, that would be a much more personalized gift.
Yeah.
It's not going to be solid, so scooping's going to be tough.
Yeah, maybe freeze it though in like a bowl.
I figure we get a colander or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Listen,
Jar.
when I seen that whole milk getting dumped into that cup, I just thought to myself, it's got to stop. I thought maybe it was like a half cup was going
Me
in
too.
there.
Like a third.
I think it tasted delicious though, didn't it?
yeah, like I said, I mean, shit. Haven't had whole milk in 20 years. It is delicious. There's no two ways about it. But,
And you are jacked up. Look at the energy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're through the roof. The eyes wide open over
but
there.
you can't be drinking fucking 16 ounces of whole milk. You just can't do it.
Yeah, well, we're going to find out today how long it takes for that thing to really get out of you.
Yeah.
Congratulations. All right, let's
Thank
talk
you.
about some sports. Brandon Staley has explained his fourth down methods in an athletic article. Now, we have asked him about this whenever he was sitting in studio, and he said he comes from the Brad and Linda Staley coaching tree, which is his dad was a high school football coach, I believe. His mom was also a coach. So he just goes by feel. A lot of it, honestly, was surprising to us as he was giving us an answer because we thought he was just like data analytics to the key, like to every decision that was being made because the data and analytics people on the internet were saying, hey, this coach Staley,
Go for it.
this guy's our guy.
Yeah.
This is our hero. Everything everything we've been saying on the internet garnering a lot of attention and changing the way football is talked about and giving people careers and welcoming more people into the NFL community and the NFL media community, because now the super nerds have an ability to cover the NFL because the math majors can start piecing things together. Well, on 3rd and long, the likelihood of making it is this. 3rd and 5 or short, though, your likelihood is actually a 55%. And if you look at 55%, you know what that is? That's more than half the time.
Right.
So if you're kind of behind, there is a much better opportunity for you to continue to go and lose a turnover if you go for a 4th and 4, 4th and 3, as opposed to not. Now, do those stats take into account the 45% of the time when it doesn't work and a coach potentially gets fucking fired from it? Do those stats take in even the 30% of times when something's 70 to 30? That sounds like an overwhelmingly positive stat and dominant stat. It is, but 3 times out of 10, that motherfucker's still not going to work.
Yeah.
And if you land in that 3 times out of 10, what are the ripple effects for that? Does your team not make the playoffs? Does your coach lose his job? Does your quarterback get deemed a bust because of some decisions that are being made in crucial game management situations? Now, can stats tell the story on whether or not a player who's normally rated a 95, who showed up at an 81 because he's partially injured and maybe a little bit sick from something that he ate 2 days ago and has been getting the worst of the entire day? Are you taking into account that whenever you're thinking about the overall odds? Are you taking into account that you have a quarterback who's a once-in-a-generation quarterback and those stats involve a lot of bum-ass quarterbacks? I mean, I understand the arguments for both sides, but Staley was being heralded as the guy who was representing for the stats people in one of the most important positions in the sport of football, and he was... Everybody looking at making the right decision. They'd go for it on 4th, they wouldn't get it. The stats people would go, in that particular setting, it was 81% chance success rate. I would take that every single time if I was gambling on anything. It's like, yes, gambling for sure. But if that gamble is also your career, are you going to gamble that? I think you should maybe go into it. Right. Staley has had an electrifying start to a head coaching career. They've gone for it. They have a player. They've missed some that people have buried him on. They've made some that he's been excited about. So whenever he came on our show and we asked him, we said, are you just looking at the stats all the time? Because that's what it's kind of being looks like on the internet and the way it's being covered. He goes, no, just kind of
Kind of a feel thing.
kind of a feel thing. It's kind of how I feel. My guys, you know, I think they're going to do this. And he had all these incredible coaches speak. And we were all mind blown. It was like, holy fuck. This dude is literally just like, my guys are better than your guys. I'm going to go for it. If the stats people say I'm right, sweet. But I haven't had a conversation with numbers people ever. That's basically what he told us. Yeah. Now he's opened up a little bit more. He wasn't necessarily telling us the truth.
He changed his tune.
It did not sound like he was telling us the truth. What's that all about? He thought we couldn't handle the truth. We can't handle the truth, the math truth. Is that what it is, Connor? You think?
I think it might have to do with the fact that there are a lot of voices on the headset from what he said, and if we know anything about what we've talked about before, sometimes too many voices on the headset's a problem.
Well, listen, I was like super pumped that the ultimate football guy was coaching because I thought the stats people lost their god and we gained a god.
Yeah,
right.
Because he was just like, yeah, our guys are better than your guys. Fuck it, I'm gonna go for it. That's what he was saying. He opened up to the athletic a little bit more. There is levels to this shit.
Uh-huh.
He's using stats just like we thought, more than anybody else. He's going into drives. What's the first play of the drive? What's the whole thing? Yeah, we're either green light, a go, or a no, and this. And they'll know the play caller Lombardi, who's not related to Michael Lombardi. Nope. I don't know if it's related to
He might be.
Trophy Lombardi. Lombardis are all over the place. Hey, how you doing? Keep it moving. How's the family? The Lombardi play caller, though, he needs to know going into every drive if it's a go or if it's not. If it's 4th and less than 4, we're going to go on this drive just because of how the world is spinning or something like that. So Staley opened up in this athletic article, and I mean, they're using stats more than anybody else.
That's wild.
By the way, I like it. I appreciate it. I think it's probably the right move, but feel has to be added in there, and Staley's also doing that, right? Isn't he, I think?
I mean, I think so, but don't you think also that if you're thinking about it this much, like that kind of just goes into like the exact, like it's not a feel thing. Like if you have all these different like parameters for, if we have this situation,
Do we have
we're going,
the quote?
Like it, I don't know. I feel like
Let's
it's
put the
almost
exact quote up here.
paralysis by analysis.
And I don't know. I don't know if that is. So obviously this is a lot. It's an athletic, the athletic article, and hashtag PMS Poop Watch trending #1 right now.
Here we go.
Only 6 people would be involved in game management decisions on the headsets. Staley, his 3 coordinators, offensive coordinator Joe Lombardi, defense coordinator Ronaldo Hill, and then special teams coordinator Darius Swinton, plus 2 staffers devoted exclusively to game management strategy, director of football research and analytics Krishnan,
yeah.
Krishnan, and offensive assistant Dan Shamash, who had previous game management experience on Anthony Lynn's.
That's
Hey, no offense,
Okay,
no
Shamash.
offense to Shamash, but
He was the
game
worst.
management with. I don't know if that's the name that you would want to.
I got him fired.
Yeah,
Anthony
the resume.
Lynn, I mean, there was 5-6 games Anthony Lynn's last year head coach of the Chargers where literal game management lost them.
So
the
we like
game.
to call a red flag.
No, well, just because Shmosh was there doesn't mean Shmosh was part of it.
Yeah,
you
that's
know what I
true.
mean?
That's
Shmosh
true.
was learning. Shmosh learned from it.
Yeah, but if he comes from a coaching tree, you know, for Staley, it's his parents. For Shamash, it's Anthony Lynn.
No, but Shmosh is. Let's not just blame Shmosh.
Okay. Sure.
All right, let's go back. Those are the 6 people on the headset. Those 6 people are in complete alignment in terms of how we're going about these decisions, says Staley. You don't have time to have a big powwow. You don't have time to have this intricate back and forth on a headset during a game. Next, Staley constructed the mechanics of the fourth down decision making in a yes unless system. At the start of each series of downs on offense, win probability models from the Chargers football research department would indicate the number of yards the offense would have to gain on first, second, and third down to make it a go for it or green in the team's lexicon decision. Say the Chargers have a 1st and 10 from their own 40-yard line. And say the model indicates that they would increase their win probability by going for it on 4th down as long as they have 4 or fewer yards to gain. That information is communicated to all relevant parties, including Lombardi. Lombardi can then call plays on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down, knowing that if he gets the 4th and 4 or less, the Chargers are going for it, unless Staley says otherwise. Okay. You can be a better decision maker if you have things modeled ahead of time, Staley says. You have to go into the game with a plan, and then then that way you're saying no as opposed to deciding yes or no. I'm going into it saying we're doing this unless. With the infrastructure built, the Chargers enter the 2021 season, it's not just about the 1 down and on 4th down, Staley says. It's what's happened on the previous 3, and that changes the way you play and changes the way they have to play you. And that's what I wanted to do, was use mindset and math to our advantage.
All right, boys, we're 0 for 6 on 3rd and less than 5 today, but the chart says fucking if it's 4th and 5 or less, we got to go.
No, I think what he's saying is we are going for it every time on 4th and 4 or less. If the research model says it, I'm going to be the one that's going to say no. Everybody is understanding that we are going for it. So it isn't are we going for it? Are we not going for it? If it's 4th and 5, everybody on the field knows we're not going for it in this situation. If it's 4th and 3, everybody knows we are going for it, unless Staley goes out and says, no, you guys look like shit. Get off.
Punt it.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
That was a lot. So everything he said to us was a lie.
He's a sandbagger is what it sounds like.
He didn't want us.
They're using more. They said model in there. They have a research development team that's sending information. There's Shamash is on there and Aditi's on there. I mean, he's more than anybody. And he's sitting right here fucking telling us he doesn't do anything. I'm from Brad Linda. What was that?
He was in the hot seat and he didn't want it to get any hotter.
Hey, welcome to the Thunderdome, pal. Okay, geez Louise. This makes
Surprised they're
sense.
not using AI.
By the way, this makes sense. They might. That might be what the fucking model is, right? The
Yeah,
model
probably
is.
is.
You weren't worried about it. It's calling their plays.
Who?
AI's coaching the Chargers already.
No, they are not. You put up that quote. What was the last sentence yet again? What was the last sentence he said? He clearly said it's not just AI. It's not just about 1 down on 4th down. Staley says going to have to take the ticker down. And that changes the way you play and use mindset and math to our advantage.
until the AI
It's not
comes-
just AI.
until the AI comes in
It's
his
mindset.
ear. Go for it, or you will die.
That is interesting that he just broke that whole thing down, you know. Because maybe Sweet Blake gets a job with fucking Chargers.
Yeah.
Like, should get it
Maybe
done.
Sweet Blake and Lambda go sign up for the Chargers and they're just making.
Why wouldn't they?
Hello, NFL head coach Sweet
Yeah.
Blake.
Give that guy a headset.
That was dialed up way too quick.
Well, the thing about Sweet Blake is, Sweet Blake's going to have to continue to massage these algorithms and codes. If he wants these algorithms and codes to make the right calls on 4th down and not the you're fucked calls on 4th downs, Sweet Blake's going to have to do what Sweet Blake does to Lambda and all the algorithms that he potentially gets his meat on.
That just seems like a whole lot of mumbo jumbo, personally.
You don't say.
And it's like I don't understand the 6 people. Like, so are you saying, like, to Tony's point, if they're 0 for 5 on third downs or whatever, and you have maybe like your DC or Lombardi be like, hey, like I understand the fucking model says we need to go for this, but maybe we should punt right now. Like,
and I know we're back in football season because we're going right back to the same thoughts that we've had in years past.
Sure.
And I have evolved on some takes. This is not one of them.
No.
I feel like the world is lacking accountability. And I feel like this added stats for the people that just go with stats, add in an excuse when something doesn't go well. Why didn't you do it? Or why'd you choose to do that? Well, the book, which is obviously created by people much smarter than me and smarter than you, says that this is the right move to do at the time. And obviously you just got to run it. But I was told, and the numbers show, if you do your own research, 72% of the time it ends up in our favor. This time it didn't. It's like, I feel like that is an out for people. Now, I'm not saying Staley would say it's an out or any of these people are using it as an out, but goddamn, how come somebody can't just say, yeah, I get the stats, I understand what's the upside and what's the downside, but ultimately at the end, it's my decision on whether or not we're going for it. I either feel it or I don't. I feel like that's like Tomlin. I feel Bill Belichick. I feel like all the greatest coaches of all time don't have the out of, oh, the stats told me to do that. I might be wrong. I don't know if we're matriculating down the field and Lombardi was saying, hey, the numbers told me that 4 out of 5 times that this is going to do that. I like the addition of stats. I think it's great. Knowledge is power in everything. The more educated you can get before you make a decision that's going to decide something, I think cool. Too much information, not being able to know how to calculate the information, that was also a problem in the NFL for a long time. Stats were getting thrown at football guys, and they're like, what the fuck do these even mean? Yeah. Like, well, 62% of the time, if you were to run ball sweep left on first down, it is going to work better than if you run to the right. It's like, well, what about the other 38% of the time, though? Like, are we dealing with hundreds and zeros, or are we dealing with, like, because there's, that 38 in the history of football, that 38% is a lot of plays. That's a lot of fucking plays. Mm-hmm. And if we get added into it, it's not going to change much, and your algorithm's not going to change, but I'm going to be on the receiving end of the, why'd you make that decision? Like, I just don't like when stats become the only deciding factor, because to me, it feels like just an excuse, and somebody doesn't want to take on the fucking pressure and responsibility of making a decision.
Sure, stats are great. Use them every day, and it's great. They're great for gambling, and like you said, I don't know about real life or whatever, but I think it's good, like, if the coaching staff has the stats in their head maybe before the game, and if they can recall that at a certain point during the game, like, hey, we're on the plus 40, whatever, 4th and 2, yeah, we're down, we need to go for it, okay? Need that. But to determine, like...
It's hard to be mad at a book.
Pre-drive.
Like, as a fan, player, owner, I assume... Coach comes out and says, book tells us to do that. Like, it's hard to be like, fuck that book.
Yeah, burn it.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, I don't know, it's an accountability thing for me. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just don't like the pre-drive, like determining pre-drive thing where, like, the offensive corner is like, oh, we don't really have to get many yards on first, second, or third down. I know if we get 6 or 7, we're going for it on 4th.
And let's assume we're not understanding everything that was put on paper in front of us right there anyways, because our reading level, our advanced reading level is probably pretty low. But that didn't seem like the answer that I thought we were going to get at all with that.
Well, and I don't think it's necessarily the case, but it does. Like, anytime we talk to someone who has, like, really high football IQ when it comes to offense, and when you talk about, like, play calling, it's almost like an art. And I feel like that takes away a lot of the feel of it, because it is. It's like you kind of already know what you're doing. You're beholden to something else. You can't just go with your gut, really, unless, I mean, Staley said, hey, ultimately, like, if I don't like the way something's going, then I'll change it. But it does, like to your point, it seems like it's just, you're beholden to something else, and that's an easy out if things don't go your way.
And we don't like to be a negative crew. We hope people
we love the Chargers.
We hope people go for it on 4th down all the time and make it, and it's awesome. And I hope teams that are going against the Colts, Colts are another 4th down team that,
interesting
there's
choices.
a book that also probably tells them to do what they do, and some of them backfire. And the book doesn't remember you. The book doesn't remember your heartbreak. The book doesn't remember what you're going through. The book doesn't remember going down to Clowntown last week of the season and fucking embarrassing the city and the team. Like, the book doesn't remember that, and that's why I don't like normally super positive about stuff.
Yeah.
This one, I like responsibility, like I like somebody being like, yeah, I'm doing this. Now, Belichick, one of the first guys ever to use stats, right? Isn't that what old buddy up on the
Ernie Adams.
Ernie Adams, like one of the first stats people in the game, be like, hey, I love the game of football. I grew up with Bill Belichick, but my brain calculates things differently than his.
Wall Street guy.
Hey, Bill, did you know that out of the 27,258 times a screen has been run to the right half of the field, the left guard has never pulled? Maybe we pull guard, change game. And Bill goes, thank you, fucking genius. Any more of those you want? Yeah, well, if you get me a video of everybody's signs, I can memorize those just like this and let our offense know exactly what the defense is doing. Bill says, fucking bet, pal. I got you. Anything else you got? So I understand that stats have been beneficial to people for a long time. But the whole, it needs to be the entire thing is just fucked up to me. And I know at the end he said, well, it's mindset and stats. But we watched last year. It was, hey, and I respect it. I fucking respect that you have that mindset. But it doesn't calculate the, hey, it's going to get shoved up your rear end here on the other side of this.
Yeah, and we saw it twice in the first 10 weeks where they did that and beat the Chiefs, and then they did that and they lost by 30 to the Ravens. So you definitely can see where it benefits, where it doesn't. But like you mentioned, having a generational talent, there's a difference between what Staley just said and then Harbaugh asking Lamar when they're playing the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football, hey, it's 4th and 1. Do you want to go for it or not?
Love that.
That is it's two completely different ways of going about deciding, and the Staley one just doesn't feel like the one where it's hey, do my guys want to go for it versus does the computer want my guys to go for it?
By the way, every guy always wants to go for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Allegedly. Even though there's probably some guys that during some drives that are we need to go back to the drawing board here.
I'm getting killed.
This is not good, Oh, what play are we running? Oh, great. Have we not watched this guy? Hey, this guy has beaten us every single time. Now we're running that. Oh, now this is going to be on me. Oh, this is not mine. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, here we Woo! Bang, blow it up, other way. I mean, it's, I like how aggressive people are getting. This is just like that guy, high school football coach or college football coach.
He doesn't.
He kicks onside kicks
Every single time.
and goes for it every single time, never punts or anything like that. Now, I think he went 0-50 or something in actual football. It was in a low level. He won and did all that. I think. I might be mistaken. By the way, guy sounds like a great guy. Guy I'd want to be friends with. If I'm running a team, I'd like to kick an onside kick every single time as well. Now, not if anything was actually on the line and jobs were dependent upon it or anything like that, because there's been years and years and years of information collected by the greatest football minds, and there's strategies that you can play, or you can just get out there and play chess and just push all the things for it. You might be able to win that way. I'm not 100% sure, but he had stats on his side. Well, my team recovered it 32% of the time, which is 32% more possession of the ball. It's what about the other 68% of the time that you're giving the other team a short field? And then on that short field, it's well, they will score from 70% of the time at that. That's never added into all the other shit, it feels like. You know what I mean?
Well, and ultimately, if they win this year, it won't matter, right? They'll laud him as a genius if they
get it.
Yeah, if they go 12-5 and make the playoffs. But it seems like this kind of stuff, or at least last year, early on, it was they were going for it a bunch, they were getting it, it was awesome, and then late in the season when they really, when they started to kind of choke down the stretch or fall apart, not choke, but
this guy's negativity.
They fall apart down the stretch, and it's it gets magnified tenfold. So if they make the playoffs this year, no one's going to give a shit, and he'll be a genius. But if they don't, it's hey.
Remember, when it matters, it matters.
Right.
Yeah. The second time they played the Chiefs. Remember they had 4 or 5 opportunities just to kick a field goal, and they would have gone on to win the game, but instead they didn't. They went for it, and then the Chiefs come back, and it goes to overtime, and Kelsey scores his second touchdown. There are specific times that stand out, and I think what Ty said, if they did go to the playoffs last year, maybe we're not talking about as much, but it seems as though they blew the season because of the fact that his 4th down method kind of was different.
Just like fake punts and fake field goals, if you get it, you're a hero. Yeah. If you don't, you're an idiot. Tone, to wrap this thing up.
I was just looking because I know there were some egregious ones last year. The last game of the year last year, remember when the winner of that goes to the playoffs? They went for it on 4th and 1 on their own 18 in the third quarter when they were down 17-14 to the Raiders. They did not get it. The Raiders, obviously, that's a short field.
That's very on their own 18. Yeah. Third quarter to get in the playoffs.
And that last drive, too. Remember?
3-point game. 3-point fucking game.
Yeah.
On your, I don't know how I don't remember that, because I think at the end of that game, right, there was the whole thing that happened.
I think they hit 5 4th downs on that last drive.
Yeah, exactly.
They had to. That makes sense. The last drive, you have to go for it.
Yeah.
But that's where the stats get skewed, because all those 4th downs that they probably made that game on the last drive end up, kind of tilting the entire stats even though they lost the one on the
the
fourth
18,
down. On
yeah.
the 18, it's probably when you look at the game as a whole, like, oh, we did the right thing because on 70% of the time.
Went 6 of 8 on fourth down.
Exactly.
We just want everybody to know stats are on everybody's team.
Yes.
Yeah.
You just need to realize that. When you come with a stat, unless it's 100 to 0, it's 100. There is some stat that, well, if it's 99 to 1, that's also great. Yeah, but that 1%, let's talk about that 1%. What happened to the 1% thing that happened? Can't live in your fears, obviously. I think it's good information, but we can't shape every decision around it. Staley sounded like he kind of was saying that, but then he closed it out with mindset as well. So it's a yes, unless. We're going unless Staley goes, I don't like the look of my guy's eyes. Antonio Brown was chit-chatting about his football future again. On Sidewalk in L.A., it appeared. He was chatting with somebody from TMZ. A lady was holding her phone doing this interview with Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown appears to be in a great spot. And is he coming back to the NFL?
What?
Last time we saw Antonio Brown on an NFL field, obviously he was shirtless, chucking the deuces.
Yep.
Then he hopped into Danny Boy Hustle Hard's GMC, Yukon, went into a studio, and then the superstardom of Antonio Brown has only grown from then. He was in a room with Madonna and Floyd Mayweather and Kanye, and he work together now. I mean, he has really been on a rocket ship. Is he coming back to the NFL? Will an NFL team sign one of the greatest wide receivers of all time? And which NFL team is on his mind? Let's get a TMZ reporter with a cell phone on a sidewalk.
Listen, people want you to come back to football.
Tell Jerry Jones to call me.
Really?
Maybe.
Yeah?
If you want the dance, if you want the production,
Yeah?
maybe.
Maybe?
Maybe.
Where do you think you could end up?
In the sky.
Scott, what do you think?
Have you spoken to Tom Brady at all?
No, but tell him I missed the passes. I'm still open.
I fucking love Antonio Brown.
Best. Yeah.
He is the best. How about that lady shooting up his sky just in case he was pointing at a place that he was headed to?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's very nice of Antonio Brown. If he wants me to do my dance, shit, put my shit on, dude.
Cowboys make sense.
Cowboys do make sense. Antonio Brown and a star. Oh.
Gallup off injury. Washington just got hurt.
So remember whenever Creed had those big, bald, baby-looking things flying around?
Of
course.
Think about what Kanye is going to have every single fucking game if Antonio Brown is playing for the Dallas Cowboys.
AB will be doing
But
it.
I thought he said.
Oh, yes, we should put that shit on.
I thought he said you fooling yourself if you think I'm playing football next year.
That was at that moment. I think he's been training now.
Yeah.
I think he feels a little bit better. I think he had an ankle injury there leaving the NFL. Remember, he said, I'll get surgery. You sign me. I'll get surgery. Eh? I ain't going under that thing unless somebody's going to say I need to. Now he's like, hey, Jerry, you want to say bring AB back? Bring Mr. Big Chest back? Bring back
Himothy.
Bring back
Ronald.
Bring back Antonio Brown?
Yeah.
Fucking, I'll get that surgery today, cuz. And Dak Prescott will be thrown to a wide open Antonio Brown. Because just like he said to Tom Brady, still fucking open. Let's get to a break.
There's another team
Who?
that, could also use AB and
Colts? Packers?
Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Listen, he ain't going up there.
All of a sudden, everyone's just talking about AB. They're not talking about some of the other situations.
I was saying
they
the
got
Cleveland
going
Browns need AB.
on. Yes.
Because AB can come put that shit on.
Yeah. And then only have really Amari Cooper.
What if AB comes back and just goes for fucking 13 hunch, 11 tuds?
It's possible.
Would you be surprised?
He's never not.
Big Mike McCarthy, big Pittsburgh guy. Hey, fucking guy's good. Huh? Hey, you can rap about wherever you want, I said.
Team
Hey, put
meetings.
that shit on. Big Mike McCarthy. All right, we're back and forth with some phone calls on 500 phone line. AJ Hawk will join us in about 21 minutes. Omar Khan, the new general manager of the Pit. We'll ask him.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, Omar.
Mike Tomlin, what did he say? I think he said it to the Pivot.
Yeah.
Or I
Yeah, it
forget
was
who
Pivot,
is.
I
I think the Pivot. We have already done that. I'm proud of the man that he has become. I do not even want to sit here and act like I got to make excuses for Antonio Brown because of the man that he has become. I'm proud of him, but we have already done that, basically, is what Mike Tomlin said. They released some footage of Mike Tomlin from training camp back whenever he was either a rookie head coach or second-year head coach.
Yeah.
We're going to grind today. I love Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
He looks better now, by the way, than he did his first year coaching.
The kicker in that
Jeffrey
Skippy.
He's
Skippy,
I need a Jeffrey jersey, I think.
Yeah, the more you look into him, the more you'll say, you do need a Jeffrey.
I did.
We're back in 4 phone calls on the other side. Can't wait for that. And then Brady Quinn, third hour. It should be a great Tuesday, August 16th, before the second episode of Hard Knocks, Detroit Lions, tonight on HBO. See you in 4. Breaking news out of the NFL. A man who has been described as having toilet seats for hands. A man that we have called a nimble Clydesdale. A man who is a ninja on the field while being taller, faster, and more powerful than everybody else, has officially retired from the NFL. Now, this would be his second retirement, but this one seems like it's a little bit more steadfast than the one from the past. Rob Gronkowski officially retiring from the NFL via a Jordan Schultz report tweet. Congrats to Gronk. On both chapters of his career, both whenever he came into the NFL with the New England Patriots and asserted dominance quickly with how damn fast he was, how quick he was, and his football IQ being on a completely different level than anybody would ever give him the credit for. Then whenever he retires, dabbles in the sports media world, does well, comes back with Tampa, has the legendary tale about him training in different shirts one day. So he tells Tampa he's been working his ass off, loses 15 to 20 pounds to get back in shape, then goes on to score 2 touchdowns in another Super Bowl, do his thing in an entire another city. Congratulations to Western Pennsylvania high school grad, Buffalo native, Rob Gronkowski. We're all very lucky to watch Gronk play. We're all very lucky to kind of see Gronk be Gronk and never change from being Gronk and Gronking around at all times. I'm pumped for the guy. Can't wait to see what he does next. Joseph Montana, Italian-American out of Western Pennsylvania.
It was a kidnapping attempt of his infant grandchild.
Yeah, in the house. They came into the house, right?
Yeah.
And then he was sitting on top of the stairs. He's like, put the baby down. And they said, no. And he said, ah? And they said, no, I'm taking your granddaughter. He said, ah? And they said, I'm taking it. He goes, you asked for it. Skechers up, Skechers down. Yeah. Dart.
There's no way.
Then he ran down the stairs, and the baby caught the granddaughter after the beak of the lady that was trying to snatch the baby passed out. It was like one of those, boom, and they like dropped it. And Joe Montana, he actually slid down the stairs.
Head first.
You know, like that, how people surf almost down the stairs? He did that and caught his granddaughter like this, and then he picked up the ball, and he actually put foot on kidnapping suspect, called the police with his Bluetooth and waited there.
Unbelievable.
That's fucking Joe Montana, dude.
That's right.
Welcome back to the show. We got breaking news.
What?
Russell Wilson tweeted me.
Are you kidding me?
Shut up. Where?
When that happened?
What?
When did that happen?
Oh my God, it's on Twitter. I see
At the
it.
perfect time. What? Let's ride, Russ.
Hell yeah.
Russ, let's
Heck
fucking
yeah, heck
ride, pal. Got some good man brand coming down from the clouds like I popped out of heaven like I was a fucking UFO, pal. Huh? With that double deep there.
I was on the site.
Oh, hey, get off the site. I think we're getting some good man brands sent to us. Hey, Russ, now you're a great man, not just a good man. And I'm happy you're sending us because we're bad men, about to look good.
Hell yeah.
With good man, and from a great man, Russell Wilson.
Yeah, it's good, man, because he's so humble. Because he is a great man, but he wouldn't call it.
He almost walked past a Rolls Royce.
He did.
Think about that.
Think about that. Think about how humble you got to be just to be like, nope.
I was going to the Toyota.
Thought he was going to walk.
Oh, taking this. Yeah, he was going to walk to the stadium.
Oh, he was taking his Camry or something.
Hey, there's a zoom in. Tears of joy
Yeah.
during national anthem preseason game. Not playing.
Yeah, he's God's gift to
Full
football.
uniform.
God's gift to football. He
Man loves his country. Man loves football.
Yeah.
Tweeted me.
How about
That's
that?
right.
Us.
That's right. Well,
No.
It was us. It was us.
No.
It was us.
no, it
No,
says
he tweeted
for
you.
you, Pat McAfee Show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're the Bugle Boys.
Yeah, come on.
No, but I like to think the show is collective.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Well,
Maybe next
And
time.
what Tom Rinaldi call you?
Oh, yeah. Deep bench.
Yeah.
He said, wow,
Next time.
McAfee with the deep bench.
He said a
bench crew.
Backbench crew.
Backbench.
Well, he
crew,
said a
that was.
bunch of shit. He
Yeah.
said a bunch of shit that was like very impressive. The words
He
that
did.
he
But
used.
Tom Rinaldi's the man, but I did watch it back later. I was like, oh, wow, yeah, Tom Rinaldi did dunk on my ass.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. Not as much as Quails dunked on your bladder. It is 12:46, about to turn 12:47. Hashtag PMS Poop Watch, still trending number 1, I believe. You have not let the whole cup of whole milk iced latte out of your rear end just yet.
No, not yet. At about 12:25, I was very, very nervous. Thought I was gonna have to get up and go. But that Brandon Staley conversation was good. I said, I don't want. I'm gonna just suck it in. So I've been sucking my butthole in for pretty hard for a while now. So either I'm gonna have a brain aneurysm or I'm gonna shit my pants. One of the two.
There is a couple thousand people that have put in guesstimations on. 1,714 people have guessed when you're going to shit today. Have you ever thought your life would get to this point?
about-
I did
How about
not-
that,
I
Ty
did
Schmidt?
A lot of dumps to get here.
Is that not pretty solid?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Finally
pretty
paying
good.
off.
Yeah,
Finally
good.
paying off.
What a life, dude. And the latte was delicious, but I fear on the way out it's not going to taste as good.
Yeah, definitely not.
Lattes were just milk.
Me neither.
It happened right in front of us because that's how cool
Did
Quills
they
is.
froth it at least?
Huh?
Was it froth milk?
Like
I don't know what that
No.
is.
Fluffer?
There was ice in her.
No, it was ice cold whole milk right out of the
Supposed to
fridge.
froth it.
No, not a chance.
No, you don't know
does
what
that
you're
mean?
talking about.
Yes, I do.
You're telling me the fucking Quill's Coffee crew, the crew that's introducing me to the coffee lifestyle, that's the first cafe I've gone in. They know my name in there.
That's right.
I haven't talked to the
Who do
owner.
you think invented the latte? I know about lattes, okay?
Unfortunately, I ordered a nice latte yesterday. It was not frothed.
That's not a latte.
Who invented lattes?
No,
This
it
is a
was-
latte?
Ralph Latteini?
I actually talked to the cafe boys over there
You
about
did?
the whole Italian words just being thrown around and what they actually are and what they aren't are. And there's some people taking some creative liberties on what these words are over here in America. I just want to let you know, I've been diving into my cafe boys conversation over there at Quills every single morning. They've been teaching me upright. All I know is you want a cup of whole milk with some coffee in it and some ice. That's an iced latte.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This morning actually would have been a perfect morning for a chocolate chip scone with my 16 ounce.
Did you get one?
No, they're
of
sold
whole
out. Sold out scones.
Yeah.
Scones are too good.
Yeah,
Sold out?
We cleaned them out yesterday.
Second day.
Scones are too. Well, yeah, they're trying to figure out, I think, how much they need to make because the scones are a smashing success. Now, we talked about this yesterday. Macchiato Joe's.
Yeah.
Mocha Joe.
Mocha Joe's, and what was the Spite store?
Larry Lattes.
Larry Lattes.
Latte Larry's.
Larry.
Latte layers. That was because of the scones being too dry, right?
Yes.
I believe. I believe
Just
it was
naturally
because the
dry.
scones were too dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these scones are delicious.
They're delicious.
They are delicious.
Really? Because
Oh,
they
yeah.
looked terrible yesterday.
I've never had a scone. They might just look like that all the time.
I didn't even try it.
It tasted really good. Sold out. 2 days. What are you talking about? Sold out.
Well, it feels like they're sold out because they weren't expecting that many people to go to Quills that early.
Well, they need to start picking.
Yeah.
They're going to get a lot of action, I believe.
Yeah.
And how good it is and how cool that place is.
Well, it is weird too because I saw a muffin earlier, and I swear to God they must have just gone to Starbucks and bought like 50 and then just resold them over at Quills today.
Quills ain't doing
They
that.
don't
Please.
do that. I mean,
You have
come
no
on,
idea
yeah.
the respect they have for the cafe game. They're not taking anybody else. You go fuck yourself.
Well,
Yeah.
hey, look, I can understand if they have respect for the latte game, but then why aren't they, saying
They sold out,
why
dude.
aren't they saying
Yeah.
it loud and proud? Are they still mumbling over there and bumbling or
Well,
what?
today's a lot better conversation.
It was.
Actually.
Okay.
It was.
They might change the way the speakers were pointing. Anyways, Quills down here, deserves your business.
Yeah, I'd say it's a must go.
Boom.
You guys give it a
We
Yelp
are a must go to Quill's Coffee Show. Good people over there.
Yeah.
Learning a lot. Learning what I don't like. Learning what I do like as well. Let's talk about what I don't like. I don't like reporters asking questions in condescending fashions with players that they have no relationship with.
Yeah.
Okay, what I just said there was pretty niche, I believe, but it's real. I respect the fact that journalists and reporters have to act in a certain way, and we doofuses are allowed to act differently because nobody has any respect for what we do, but we also hold no credibility. We are just creating conversation and content. When reporters and journalists are representing a news company or credentialed and are in the building, I think it's a different relationship. Now, there might be personal relationships. I get along with a lot of the local media that are here. Damn, one of them actually is the reason why Nick and I got to golf on the other course. AC from Wish TV here has been around. First person put me on TV. Got along with him very, very well. There's people from Fox 59 that I got along with, NBC that I got along with. I mean, you can have those relationships. But if you don't get along with somebody, you have to understand that you are representing like journalism, like you are representing media, I think. So this situation that's brewing with the Commanders is fascinating because I think we potentially have part of it. Ooh. I think we're a part of the problem. So I'm on the player's side. Also think it's potentially our fault, but I think it's a good learning lesson for everybody as opposed to a potential like anybody was at fault type situation.
I wouldn't blame us for the questioning because that line of questioning has been happening for a long time. I'd blame us for other shows trying to be funny and they can't be funny.
All right, we're not funny either. Let's get to this video, though, that caused quite a ruckus. This is from the Washington, D.C. area with Commanders quarterback Carson Wentz and a man named Scott, who's a local news reporter in Washington. If you haven't seen it on the internet, we will run it now in its entirety. A lot of conversation, obviously, following.
There's been kind of a narrative out there here in training camp that you've been a little inaccurate on your throws. Consistently inconsistent has been a kind of a terminology. How would you assess your performance in training camp, and is that characterization fair?
Yeah, I mean, for one, it's camp. You know, I think I didn't know that, so thank you.
Yep.
But,
I know, because I know you told me you don't read that stuff.
At the same time, I'm my biggest critic, so I come back after practice and I'm kicking myself over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plays, you know.
Real talk here, Carson. It's been well documented. Philly didn't want you.
Oh, no.
Indy didn't want you.
Jeez.
Do you think this is your last chance to prove that you can be a starting quarterback in the NFL?
Yeah, you know, I don't really think about all that stuff. For me, I'm playing the game that I love, and I have the most confidence of anybody in myself to deliver, to play at a high level, to be a part of something special here with this team. And so I don't put all that pressure on myself. I don't put people can feel that way. People can say what they want, and I have no issue with that. You know, that is what it is. But for me, I don't think in those terms.
So that obviously caused a little bit of a stir, so much so that Jason Wright, president of the Commanders, put out this tweet. Jason Wright, president of the Commanders, says, thankfully, Carson demonstrated grace in class in response to this pompous, unprofessional mess. I recognize you have made a living on childlike provocation, but it needs to be called out. Don't expect special access, and good luck building rapport with the guys. At Scott 7 News. Now, Jason Wright, former NFL player, been in a locker room before. First player to ever become a president of an NFL team. I fucking love Jason Wright. I'm appreciative of Jason Wright. Now, what Jason Wright said here, I think with special access, probably was saying, hey, Scott, you're going to request a little bit extra maybe someday. It's probably going to get turned down. Then he also followed up with saying, good luck building rapport with the guys. After seeing this, they're going to think that you're going to try to get them. And if you ask for a request for somebody to do an interview with you for your local show, that they are at the facility, out of practice, special media credentialed access type point, you're probably not going to get anybody, is what Jason Wright was alluding to, I do believe. Trey Wingo is not happy about this. Trey Wingo is not happy about this. Trey Wingo is the chief trends officer.
There it is.
CTO at Caesars, formerly of ESPN. He has now moved into the digital space. He has a commercial on TV now. Looks good, looks handsome. He responded to this entire thing with a tweet that said, when is it a good idea for the president of an NFL team to take to Twitter to go after a reporter? Never. I wrote about it for Bulletin. subscribe below. Yeah. Now, 2 retweets, 3 quote tweets, 5 total retweets at the time we found this and saw this. I did appreciate Trey Wingo sticking up for the reporter and sticking up for reporting as a whole, but I also appreciate the fact that Jason Wright's sticking up for his fucking guys for the first time in the history of the NFL. You never see this. Media have been able to do whatever the fuck they want, and teams always say like, that's their job, that's their job, that's their job. I can see why Trey Wingo, because he had a situation happen with a coach, I guess in 1986, he wrote about it in there, where he asked some questions that the coach thought was disrespectful. They talked, got past it. Jason Wright doing this, he didn't think was the right way to go about doing it. And also acting like we won't allow you to have access is quite a threat to a guy that was just asking real questions. I think obviously the answer lies in the middle. His delivery could have been much nicer. Yeah. There's ways to get answers from people that you know, people that you don't know. Obviously he and Carson don't have a relationship. So Carson Wentz handled it well. Jason Wright said, hey, why are you being a fucking prick? And Trey Wingo took a stand. I mean, quite a situation where everybody feels like they're exactly right, and probably none of them are. Hard out. Got it. Feel pretty good, like I got it all in there. But that's real, though. Trey Wingo took a stand because of a situation that happened in his life in reporting and sticking up for journalism. You know, he's doing the full, of course. Hey, don't be holding access over the head of a reporter for asking a journalistic question and everything like that. Trey Wingo has to understand and acknowledge the fact that that question was set up like somebody that wanted to start a little bit of a fight, which is what Jason Wright responded to about the provocation. Provocation. I don't know. Provoking.
It was
provoking.
It was a provocative question.
Yeah, the way it was laid out. Question fair though. Yeah, I think fair question. Fair question. The way it was delivered, interesting. Like when I'm interviewing somebody that I don't know, you'll see me ask questions in a different manner than somebody I do know. And I think that's just natural human stuff. And I think journalists can probably do the same. And everybody knows that they can, actually.
Well, and I think to your point, like there's a difference, like after a game in the locker room, if a guy doesn't play very good, like he's going to get kind of that line of questioning, maybe not exactly, but to be off on the side in like kind of an intimate one-on-one conversation, like he was just kind of being an asshole.
Great courage, though, by the guy to ask those questions, too.
For sure.
I like Scott sitting in that chair, leaned back, bad body a little bit. Carson could have picked him up, dropped him on his head if he wanted to in real life. Would never happen because he's a media member and Carson's a professional athlete. Carson also not that type of guy. But, I mean, back in the day, you used to have to think about these things before you said them. Now you don't really have to do that type of stuff. Carson handled it well. The way it was delivered, I think, was just awesome. I mean, I guess you can say awesome because the guy had enough courage to do so. But also, anybody that looks at that goes, could have worded that much differently. You're a professional word person. Like, you're a journalist.
You
like
have to say the Eagles and Colts didn't want you.
Yeah, like the way you can say it didn't work with the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, like the way it was framed was an attempt to make it almost Grant Coney.
Yeah, exactly.
From the Niners. You know what I mean? That guy.
Like he was looking for it.
Like Niners camp?
I don't know if he's still credentialed. I assume
I do not think so. I don't think he's back in the building over there.
And I do like that Trey Wingo just said, reporters are allowed to do whatever they want, however they want, and get access to whatever they want. It's like, no, dude, you're lucky to fucking be in there. I think that gets forgotten about. Like a lot of coaches tell players, you don't have to be here, you get to be here. It's not a right, it's a privilege to be in the NFL.
Yep.
Is that Quills?
Well, it might be a mix.
Oh, Jesus.
Nice Americano, almond milk. Extra buck, put the Splenda in there.
They had almond milk.
Yeah, it's behind the counter. Yep. It's not out here. Tasted very delicious.
Oh, I bet.
But I fucking housed it. Anyways, the reporters just act like they're supposed to be like the teams are lucky that they're there almost. And I agree that the media and the teams have to have a relationship and it's good for all parties and the media is needed for the NFL. But just like there is a little bit of an entitlement that seems to come with a lot of people that walk into those buildings that are in the media department. Not everybody, but I'm just saying the entitlement that seems to be there. We see it in press conferences with questions. I mean, goddamn, guy in Pittsburgh Steelers camp just asked Devin Bush, your fifth-year option was declined. How do you feel? It's like, geez, all right.
Whoa.
Have you got an extension of the contract of the paper you write it? Like that is a very interesting way to go about asking a question, human to human, as opposed to just subject and reporter. Like I think that is just there might be a little blurred lines there.
Yeah, and anytime talking about money, like that type of stuff, I think Harbaugh said it to Rich Eisen. Like that's the way to do you want to have all of your contract negotiations out in the public, like it is for a lot of these players? Like that seems to be something that you should stay away from. But like obviously you do have to ask Carson and other players like difficult questions.
Have to.
instead of just saying it, like, and this is what you do really well, is you lay out the situation and why it is difficult, and then more so, going after the answer versus just saying like, yeah, nobody really wants you as your fucking quarterback. You're overpaid. Like you're inaccurate throughout camp. Like that seemed to be Scott Abrams' way of doing it versus, like the head coach got fired in Philly. They had a young quarterback. The Colts, their standards, they want Super Bowls in the next few years. Obviously, you cost a lot of money. You've never really been to a Super Bowl.
All right.
But seriously,
but there is a way to lay it out, I think. And that's basically what Jason Wright was saying. Like, hey, you were laying these questions out as if you wanted problems. Like you did. And Carson handled it very well, I thought. But I think that was Jason's biggest issue, and Trey took issue with Jason having an issue. And I like that everybody's just taking an issue with things because it is, always a good time.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not doing it.
But that is to a T.
It's always a good time to high horse. Mm-hmm. If you get a chance, pull that high horse out of the stable.
You do it.
You fucking saddle that thing.
Do it.
Mm-hmm. And you write all about it.
That's right.
Like that Carson. Detroit Free Press person who was pissed that MCDC wasn't talking about Russia-Ukraine.
All right. We got hour 2 on the other side. We'll see in about a minute and a half. AJ Hawk will be here fresh out of a golf tourney. Omar Khan will join us in about 9 minutes. All we're saying is we're all humans here. Let's remember that when we're asking questions and talking to people. Back in a minute and a half.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. It is Hard Knocks, episode 2 of the Detroit Lions. Is tonight at 10 p.m. on HBO Tuesday, August 16th, 2022. Hour 2 begins right now.
Here we go, Atta Baby.
Here we go, Atta Baby. In hour 2, another hour of chit-chat about sports coverage. Omar Khan, the new Pittsburgh Steelers general manager, will join us in about 7 minutes. Cannot wait to chat with him. Hashtag PMS Poop Watch still trending because Ty Schmidt is going to explode at some point during today's episode because he had a nice latte this morning, which we learned was a cup of whole milk with a shot of espresso. And with this man's guts and the fact that he already housed an XL Starbucks on the way in, it's only a matter of time. Tick-tock, tick-tock, that poop's going to drop.
Yeah, absolutely. It is beginning to crown. So we are, it's coming here
You can
shortly.
get your guesses in. We have not hit the time. Use hashtag PMS Poop Watch. What time will Ty Schmidt exit that door right there from the studio to go to the bathroom? He has gone out there once. I believe it was to grab something from his book bag. That did not count. But the time he exits that door to go demolish a toilet will be the winning time. If you get it right, you'll be one of 4 winners of $500. We can't thank you enough for watching. At Boston Connors here, and the other member of the Talks table. As you call a little gas here.
Oh, yeah, it's been smelling pretty bad.
Well, a candle. You got candles.
No, it's okay. You don't want to, light anything on fire, especially with all this stuff on here. You never know with the Pokemon cards or if this guy, whatever the hell it is, lights on fire.
Well, you can set fire to the rain. What did that mean?
I don't know.
I'm just kind of lighting up wet spots.
We all sang, though. Didn't we sang that.
Oh, yeah.
When Adele releases a song, we all
You sing.
Yeah, you sing.
belt that shit.
Yeah, especially because you never know with Adele. You don't want her, getting
Tone Diggs is
or
here.
anything.
Tone Diggs is here, one half of the
What's he
hammer.
talking about?
Dad. Cowboys. Tone, how's the gambling going, pal? What are we betting on these days?
Preseason football, MLB baseball. We got some NFL futures, some college football futures.
Are you guys having an episode tomorrow?
Where? What?
Hammer Done.
Tomorrow where?
You guys having an episode of Hammer Done tomorrow or no?
TBD.
Oh, so we might not have an episode tomorrow.
Yeah, that's not what I said.
What a half-ass fucking bullshit operation you guys got going. Taking a Wednesday off?
Oh, okay.
All right.
Game's Thursday.
Okay. All right. What's that all about, pal?
Well, we're going to Colts training camp, so I don't know if it's physically possible.
We are going to be at Colts training camp tomorrow. Cannot wait for that. A man that would not be with us, but is normally with us for the second and third hours of these shows, except for yesterday because he was raising money for the troops.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup champion, COVID survivor, multi-time.
Oh.
Just like
2 times.
Maybe 3.
Back to back.
We don't have 4.
Yeah,
It's still a thing, right? COVID's
yeah.
still a thing?
Oh, yeah.
Is it?
Jill Biden just got COVID
Dr.
today.
Jill.
Dr. Jill.
Jill Biden
Not
has
just
COVID.
Jill.
Dr.
Yeah.
Jill
Doctor.
Biden.
So our
Respect.
president gave his wife COVID.
Well, no, they kept him isolated, I think, because he was doing his stuff from like a Zoom link
Right.
that appeared
Okay.
in a room that had not been upgraded for 90s, 60s.
Oh yeah, he was biking on a beach going to get bathing suits yesterday.
Well, yeah, that's after he beat. They
Yeah,
had
he
him
beat it.
isolated, though.
Okay.
He had beat it. Anyways, join us today is a man that also beat COVID numerous times. Just like we hope Dr. Joe Biden will. Good luck. And good luck. Pete Carroll, I think, had it too.
You did, yeah.
Carroll
Someone
has it?
else did. Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins, Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
We hope everybody's surviving. Just like this guy did. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk. AJ, thanks for beating COVID, dude.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. A few times, not more than 2, I don't think yet. So yeah, we're going strong right now.
Oh, a couple of times?
Yeah, I think so. But I think I want to get my guess in for Ty. I'd say 148. Ty takes his dump out there, or he just dumps his pants accidentally.
Okay, so dumping of the pants does not count. He does have to take he has to run.
What do you mean?
We covered this in the first hour, AJ.
Okay, all right, then I'm in. 148.
1:48 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when the numbers have to be Eastern Standard Time for your guess. You have to tweet that, AJ.
Okay, tweet it for me, Bill.
Bill does not have your logins.
Yeah, what the hell?
Well,
I don't even know my
Probably
login
does
really,
have
but
your
yeah.
logins.
Dirty's making graphics. Bill's doing tweets for AJ.
Yeah, what is this guy
What is this
doing?
about?
I like it, AJ. I like what you got going on, becoming a full social media operation. AJ, how was the golf tournament yesterday? We missed you, pal.
Yeah, I missed you guys. It was fun. It was outings usually take a while. It took a little while to get through it, but it was good, man. It was fun. It was good, perfect weather.
Shotgun start. How many people at each hole? 2 people at 2 teams at each hole?
Yeah, 2 groups. I mean, the event is, it's giant now. It's sold out quick. So, yeah, 2 groups every hole. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was cool.
There's backup. What was it, par 5, par 3 were the, what's that called?
The
Backup?
Bottleneck. It was a par 5, par 3.
Yeah, there's always a couple holes that bottleneck the rest of the course, I feel like, where 3 or 4 groups are stuck.
Yeah, were you near Bob Carpenter? Was General Bob at this thing?
Bob did not play in this. No.
What the hell? General Bob isn't going to events anymore in Columbus, Ohio. Is he okay? Is he sick? Has he got COVID?
Support the troops.
He's going to plenty of events, I think. I don't know why he wasn't in on this one, though. I haven't asked him. I'll ask him tonight at practice.
It's going to be tough to call him tonight at practice.
Yeah, we have football practice 4 nights a week. I see him every 4 days a week now. Every time. And then once the season starts, we practice 3 days, I believe.
So you guys have practice last night, tonight, tomorrow, and Thursday?
Right now we go Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then games start, and then it's like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, game Sunday.
That's a lot of football, a lot of pads. You guys helmet to helmet every single day? Let's get CT in these kids quick.
Hell yeah.
It's not helmet to helmet. We don't call it that. We say full pads for practice, yes.
Oh, helmet to helmet. Yeah, you guys doing helmet to helmet. Yeah, sounds like full pads every day. Full pads every day.
Yeah, that's like kids when you're young. There's no like, hey, shells today, guys. Like you didn't play football growing up, I guess, but that's not a thing.
Hold on. Do you have guardians on these kids or no?
The good old kids. Can you imagine these tiny kids that they have a hard time strapping their helmet? A lot of them, this is the first time playing football. And if they try to put guardians on the top of that, they would all just fall over.
So I think one of the first times we talked to you, we were talking about how many people you've potentially killed, and you said, well, it's kill or be killed in there.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry, everybody's got to die, is what you said. That's how you described Oklahoma drills or whatever, or bull in the ring or whatever the fuck you call it, wherever you're from. Is that what you're teaching these kids? Like you're telling your kid, like, hey, you're going to be scared to death. It's going to hurt, but you need to hurt other people more than you get hurt. You're going to get got. You just got to get yours more than you get got, though. Is that what you're saying to your kids right now? Or what is the coaching advice for these kids running their faces into each other 4 nights a week in the middle of Ohio?
Well, right now it's all strictly fundamentals, how to teach like the proper way to tackle, the proper way to block, all of that stuff. Keep your head out of it. If your head does make some contact, no big deal. Get your hands out in front. Don't try to jam that head again at the guy's head. But if it happens, don't worry. You're not going to be in trouble. I try to tell them that. And if you get blasted, guess what? Get up. We've all been blasted.
So you, General Bob, and Schlegs, it's the Buckeye Heroes are coaching this team. Who
Unfortunately, Schlegs is not coaching this team this year.
Oh, he doesn't like kids.
Wow.
Schlegs
No,
doesn't
he's
like
in
kids.
Jacksonville. He wanted to move back here, but he's still in Jacksonville.
Is he still on the Jags, or he's just living down there?
No, he's living down there. He's got kids in high school that are in sports and everything, so it's kind of hard.
Urban really fucked it up.
Yeah, thanks a lot,
For a
Herbert.
lot of people. Nobody ever talks about that.
Yeah,
huh?
Schlegsberry go.
Nobody ever talks about the director of conditioning.
No.
Schlegs was tasked with what? He had to be an engineer too. They're building up in a full new building.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Schlegs, build this up, do this, move the fam. I'm gonna take my own plane home from Cincinnati. Schlegs.
All right.
You know, Schlegs, why don't you make sure the boys get in good shape this weekend?
Thanks
I'm
a lot, Tony.
gonna stick around, stick behind here. And then boom, he's gone. Schlegs like, what's that mean for me? Boom, you're gone
See
too,
ya.
pal. Just like that, right? He was just living his life in Columbus, Ohio, having, hey, all good, all good. Hey, you want to be in the NFL? Want to design a new weight room? Want to flip an entire franchise around? Yeah, I'll move the whole family. Let me put my work boots on. I'll do some squats down there. Boom, boom, boom. And then bang, out of town. See you later. Nothing, Schlegs. Stick around in the heat. You got nothing else to do. Wild.
Damn shame.
That's wild.
That's the tough life of being a coach. You know, you are attached to that head coach mainly, and you can, whether it's on you or not, yeah, you're gonna have to move around. He knew that when he took the gig, though. So yeah, he's all right. They take care of him.
Yeah, I concur. And I believe, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a big deal.
Go.
This is a big deal.
Huge.
Isn't it? I mean, this is large.
Yeah, huge.
Because I'm from a town with a great football team. Go on and get them Steelers. All right, so in Pittsburgh, football is literally just a way of life. It is an actual football town. I was very lucky to be baptized in NFL waters. The entire town goes as the Steelers go in the fall. There's been plenty of weeks that have been miserable around town because Cordell Stewart had an incompletion in the fourth quarter that led to a division loss. Then there's been times where it's been nothing but triumph and jovial attitudes because the Pittsburgh Steelers pulled out a miraculous win in the fourth quarter on the game on Sunday. That is how Pittsburgh is. Now, for the first time in 22 years, there's a new general manager, a new person building the roster, a new person calling the shots in free agency and drafts alongside Mike Tomlin, a man who's been within the Steelers organization since 2001, the brand new general manager of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Omar Khan.
Might be the best intro I've ever gotten. That was awesome.
Well, it's the first. I mean, you're new to this GM game. I'm sure some other motherfuckers will give you a good one too, man. But I am honored to have you here, man. Thank you for joining us. How's life?
No, thanks for having me. It's been great. You know, it's living a dream, and you know, I'm in Pittsburgh, as you know what it means to be the GM and be part of this team here. It's been awesome.
Yeah, if there's success, you'll be out and about. If not, go ahead and hunker it down. Go ahead and turn that thing around.
Yeah, I'm ready.
You've been a part of the Steelers organization for 21 years now. And Colbert allegedly was going to draft the next quarterback, and then he was going to kind of drift off. It was almost like a smooth handoff. Now, I think they interviewed numerous other people. You ended up being the right person for the job. I think every Steelers person knew you were going to get hired over everybody else because of how the Steelers have operated for a long time. I assume you knew that as well. GM is something you always wanted to do. This is kind of why you get into the profession that you got in 2001 out of Tulane University. You want to become a GM, and now you're with Pittsburgh. Has it been a lot? Has it been too much? Has there been anything that you haven't expected yet come across your table?
No, it's been awesome. I mean, it's been great. I mean, I have no complaints. Obviously, my phone rings a little bit more. I get more emails, get more text messages, and you know, I'm up at night. Every time I get up in the middle of the night, I'm returning. I have a habit of returning text messages and emails. So that's about it. But other than that, it's been exactly what I expected. I had a great teacher and Kevin have been around some great people that have made the transition really smooth for me.
What do you guys do in the interview process, which obviously you've been a part of interviewing candidates and head coaching candidates in the past, but you guys, you don't have 15 coaches rolling through there in 20 years like some programs seem like they do. Do you guys do anything different or more in depth? Like hiring Tomlin was a genius move. I feel like obviously you guys had a lot of success, and now you interview and you get hired. Like, were they using some of their your own tricks on yourself?
You know what? I don't know. You'd have to ask the boss that. But you know, they've always done a great job of supporting their people here, whether it's the GM or the head coach or the assistant coach as a trainer, people on the business side. And you know, the expectation is, hey, you got to win in X amount of years, and you're gone. Like there's a plan in place. You know, longevity is important, and they understand that the ride to the top is, you know, it's a roller coaster to the top, right? So, and they're willing to ride it, and that's always been awesome. That's an awesome thing.
We're talking to Omar Khan, general manager of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, this was Colbert's last draft class, but you're the GM of the team. Who gets credit for Pickens and Pickett? Like, will this go on your resume here, like in 5-10 years from now, and all the other draftees as well, not just those two? But how was that process? Were you a part of it? And do you feel like some sense of ownership over this rookie class? Or was this Tomlin and Colbert's literal last, kind of dance together during the draft class?
I'll say this. Kevin obviously led the train, and but we always, he was always great at collaborating and having a lot of us involved and understanding. We give our opinions and this and that. But Kevin led the train. But like any big Steeler decision, we sit in a room, we talk about it, and we make the decision. We make the Steelers' decision and move forward. So you might have to ask me that question in 5 or 10 years, like you said, so I can give you the real answer.
Hell yeah, and you're going to be there 15 years from now. That's just how the Steelers are, and how the Steelers seem to never get it wrong. The story about Cowher leaving 2 Iron Cities in the fridge for Mike Tomlin. Did Colbert do the same for you? Leave you a couple beers in the fridge of his office there, or was
I just had a messy office. That's all I got.
Colbert said, "You deal with this." I just went through the whole draft class for the first time in 18 years, first time in 22 years, new GM, first time in 18 years, no known starting quarterback. How involved are you in that entire process? How collaborative is that with Tomlin and the coaching crew? Or is that a hands-off, the coaches coach, they do what they got to do, it's our job to continue to add to the team, make cuts and stuff like that?
Mike and I talk multiple times a day. It's obviously he's the head coach. He's going to decide who plays. But we talk all day. He keeps me up to date. I give him my opinion. He gives me his. We talk through things, and we'll see how it all plays out.
Tomlin has been a staple of Pittsburgh. Why is that, you think? Why has Tomlin been such a successful head coach over all these years? Because you've been there watching, obviously, from a different role. Now you're working alongside of him as a GM. Why do you think Tomlin has worked in the NFL?
So, obviously he's a genius when it comes to the X's and O's. But just a person. I mean, he is a great person. I said this in my press conference. You know him, Pat. The passion this man has for the game of football, it's just second to none at all levels. I mean, it's just not the NFL or college football. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is, high school football. If there's people on TV throwing a football around, he's going to try to figure out what it is. It's just the passion he has for this game. It's awesome. It's a beautiful thing.
What's it like if you sit and try to plan for the future? Pat and I talk about all the time how the salary cap's not real. You guys can figure it out, manipulate it, kick the can down the road, as they say. Like, compared to when you got in the NFL until now, like, you've had to change and evolve and progress a lot. Like, do you try to look like 5 years down the road and say, hey, what's this going to look like? How could the CBA possibly change how we structure things?
Yeah, we always look at it. It's funny because when you're in this role, Kevin and I used to, you have to look at things not only on the short term but long term. But yeah, we look at it usually about 4 years out, and then it's just projections, right? We don't know how much the salary cap's going to go up, what type of deals they're going to get to run it up. I mean, I'm not sure the league's getting all the marketing type deals you're getting right now, Pat. The last couple. That's, I don't know if that's going to happen. But yeah, we look at it usually like 4 years out.
I don't know, man. $2.5 billion for Reds. Have you heard about this? $2.5 billion for Sunday ticket. Do you keep an eye on that at all, or no?
No, I just wait to see what the cap's going to be. That's it. Is that what it is? That's a pretty big number.
Yeah, so the current number is $1 billion with DirecTV, right. And I guess what they're asking for at the next one is $2.5 billion. It's going to be either Apple or Amazon. That's for Sunday Ticket, Red Zone. Wow. That's it. So that should do a significant. I think that's what AJ's asking. Like, do you keep an eye on any of this, thinking, hey, the salary cap might grow like drastically, or do they give you pretty good bumpers on what it's probably going to be?
We usually take like a pretty conservative approach. We just to be safe. But no, I don't look at it. I didn't know that they were asked, the $2.5 billion number. That's not something I knew. That's impressive. That though. That's good.
Well, that's all we got to cover about, because, by the way, that money directly affects our business too. Because we are, and Omar, business. All right.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
We're seeing what other people are getting. Hey, well, they have a lot of money. Yeah, okay. All right, we got to pay attention to all that. I'm happy you're just paying attention to the team. I mean, that's an incredible thing. The way you shape contracts. And the Steelers have always been traditionally like old school. Like, hey, this is the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is how we go about doing business. This is the deadline for this type of stuff to get done. This is the deadline for this type of stuff to get done. It's just kind of how it's always been, even since, like, old Rooney, like original Rooney days. It's kind of a staple of how things operate. And I don't think any Steelers players really cause any shit. Do you look into that when you're drafting guys? Like, what guys fit our company? Like, what guys fit our mold? What guys fit our city? What guys fit what we're trying to build? How we go about doing things? Is that an active part of the ingredient in what you're looking for when you're bringing players to the Steelers, you think?
Yeah, I mean, we try to identify a Steeler, right? And what that means, that's an open-ended question. I could be on the show for 5 hours.
We got time. Too much time. We got time. Yeah.
About what a Steeler is, and the community. You lived here, you grew up here, so you know what it's like. But yeah, there's a specific individual. You're not always going to be right. You try to be right every time, but yeah, there is a formula there.
And what is it? Just going to be a guy that loves football, probably, right? Like T.J. Watt, he got introduced last onto the field. It was his second year or something like that. I thought that was a massive deal in Pittsburgh, that this guy's young, getting introduced last, and then you start piecing it together. It's like every play he goes 150 miles an hour. He gets sacks. He's excitable. He works his ass off, and he kicked his agents out of the way to get a deal done to become a Steeler. It's like he is almost perfect for the city of Pittsburgh. Then you think on the other side, like this Pickens character, guy that people thought tore an ACL, not going to be good. He's a dog and he's blocking people. Like Pittsburgh people are going to be like, this is our motherfucking guy. Like, these are things that I think you guys have hit on more than most. Like, the Steelers represent the city of Pittsburgh more than a lot of other cities' teams represent the city they're in. And I wonder if that's a calculated thing. It sounds like it is. It sounds like it actually is.
Yeah, I mean, you try. I mean, I've been here, going on 22 years, so I've kind of, I'm a Pittsburgher, so I've kind of come to understand what it's like and what it means. But we have the formula. Obviously, I can't sit here and tell you what our formula is.
Come on!
That wouldn't be fair. I can't do it. It's like, but there is the specific player that we look for, and the intangibles and certain characteristics, and that's never going to change. That goes way before Kevin and before me, and it's worked. And I think you said it best. We try to represent the city of Pittsburgh and the community here. That's important for us, and we want players that are going to do the same. And they want to do the same.
Yeah, it's a great organization, man, from top down. It feels like it's
great.
Yeah, and it's awesome. It's like a college too. All the OGs come back. Like that's a beautiful thing. Have you been on any other teams? Have you been around any other NFL?
I was with the Saints before I came here. I was with the Saints for 4 years before I got hired by the Steelers. But yeah, you've been here. You see, it's like having the alumni, around so much. They come back, and we still stay in touch with them, and it's an awesome thing. It really is.
Yeah, Ben Roethlisberger's giving Kenny Pickett gloves to wear.
That's right.
Go ahead, Tone.
Omar, I'm sure you know this, but Yinzer's for like the last 10 years, that's a finance guy. That's what they say about Omar Khan. And then Colbert came from more of a scouting background. So now that you've come into the GM role, will anything change as far as like for the scouting of the players, since you're coming from the finance business side of it versus Colbert being on the scouting side? What changes for you as you go into the GM role there?
I think, I said this before, that I think like every good leader understands what his strengths are and his weaknesses are, and he surrounds himself around people that are going to help him be successful. And I've put together a great staff. In terms of the scouting process, it's not going to change much. It's worked. Kevin always did a great job, and I've had the opportunity to learn from a Hall of Fame owner in Dan Rooney, a future Hall of Fame owner in Art Rooney, a future Hall of Fame GM in Kevin Colbert, a Hall of Fame coach in Bill Cowher, a future Hall of Fame coach in Mike Tomlin. Been around Bill Nunn, Hall of Famer Bill Nunn, and count for other Hall of Famers, right. Dick LeBeau, Russ Grimm, and even when I was in New Orleans, I was around Mike Ditka. We didn't have a lot of success there, but he was an amazing person to be around.
We had Caboli on here last week. Thank you guys for giving him a ride on the golf cart. Actually, by the way, he had to go do a sit down. You guys gave him a ride. Great picture.
Stop giving him the fucking runaround.
He's like in a boot or something. I don't know what he did. He's like in a boot.
Both Achilles.
Both Achilles. Two boots. Sorry.
Yeah, 2 boots. So yeah, he thanks you for that golf cart ride that he almost fell off whoever he was going to interview. But I asked him about Big Ben. Like, it's the first time in a long time where Big Ben's not out there on the field. Does it feel any different to you, or does it feel like there's any different kind of energy? It seems like the young guys obviously are stepping up and playing well.
Well, Ben was a great player for us, 18 years. Loved having him around. We had a lot of success with him, and you get spoiled when you have a guy like of Ben's ability for so long. But I can tell you that this camp, it's been a lot of fun watching these guys compete. Mitch and Kenny and Mason and even Chris. It's just been a lot of fun, and it's exciting, and I'm excited about what's to come. I'm excited to see what's going to happen next couple preseason games.
Hey, when you signed Mitchell Trubisky to a deal, you guys know you're going to get a quarterback then, or Kenny Pickett falling to 20 just like we have to? Was there any? You don't have to.
Oh no. I mean, we when we signed Mitch, we thought very highly of Mitch, and you see how the deal is structured, and we brought him in to compete, and we were sitting there on draft day, and Kenny was available. We thought very highly of Kenny, obviously, and you just couldn't pass on him.
How about that place was still packed fourth quarter? All the University of Pittsburgh football teams there, Narduzzi's on the side. A Kenny chant is starting. That has to feel good as the person that's kind of putting the team together. It feels like the city is rallying around this. Not that Mitchell Trubisky wasn't getting love. I think he was getting love. But it feels like it's working perfectly almost. Am I getting an accurate read from the outside in on how this could go with egos and city and support and torn lock? Like, it feels like this is all going pretty perfectly, which I guess we should have expected from the Steelers. But this is the first time in a long time something like this has been going on.
Yeah, I mean, time will tell. I will say all these guys are handling it right. They're the professional way. But, time will tell. But I think the future's bright. We're excited.
You look around the AFC North, a lot of money going quarterbacks. You know what I mean? And that just means, you're going to have to pay Kenny Pickett in a few years. You think about that? You hope, right? You hope you get to a point.
Absolutely. Do you make it back to Pittsburgh much?
Well, I try my best. A couple golf outings and things like that. But if I get back, I get too fat, too drunk. You know what I mean? It's always it's the same trip every time I go to Pittsburgh. I eat all the food that I miss, and then I drink all the booze that I've missed out on, and then I come back to Indy hungover for like 2 weeks. It's like,
what were your spots? What are your spots down here? What do you come eat when you come out here?
Okay, so Rudy's, obviously. Rudy's Subs is the first go-to. I will eat the hell out of Rudy's Subs. Used to stop by Jerome Bezos' Bar and Grill. That's been shut down. I heard you guys' big conglomerate shut that down there. Go to the casino every time. Tip the casino. I give them a few $100 so I don't get jumped on the south side. And then I go to the south side normally, and then I just shut it down, Omar. You know what I mean?
All right, got it. Rudy's, I'm going to have to write that down. I'm going to have to go check it out.
What do you eat?
I'm going to tell them you sound. Listen, pizza. This is the greatest town for pizza. There's pizza on every corner here. I love the pizza out here. Yeah, I got my spots here in Latrobe. I'm in my dorm room here still at St. Vincent, but I got my pizza spots here. I go back to town. I live in the South Hills of Pittsburgh. I got my spots out there. But I love pizza. If I want an Italian hoagie, there's this place in Bridgeville called Serafina's. Love it.
Serafina's. Hey, how many Italians are in Pittsburgh, Omar? Was that alarming to you when you moved to Pittsburgh? You're like, God damn, everybody.
You know what? I married an Italian from the Mon Valley.
Yeah, of course.
Of
course. I mean, that is the most. That's why pizza's everywhere. I grew up Dallas salad pizza, unbelievable. Obviously in the East Hills of town. You got down. What are the South Hills joints that you stopped by?
Fiore for pizza, you said?
Yeah, Fiore's. Yeah,
it's the only one.
Yeah.
Fiore's. I love Fiore's. It's a home run every time.
Whether
it's early or late at night, it's awesome. It's awesome.
So many Italians.
Delicious.
Dude. Connor, you don't know shit.
I've been to Fiore's.
This guy's from Boston, Omar. Don't let him fool you. He's trying his best. You know what I mean? This guy trying to get in there. Behind the glass, Paisano from Pittsburgh, obviously. Nick has a question for you.
Omar, right now you're currently carrying 3 quarterbacks on the roster. Do you plan to do so during the season, or is there a possibility if someone were to come calling and that phone were to ring, you'd listen for some offers for maybe one of those 3?
What's his name, Nick? What's his deal?
We don't need to name names. Just a hypothetical question. If someone called, needed a quarterback, would Omar be listening?
Are you always wheeling and dealing too? Follow up.
I mean, you take calls, but I'll be honest with you. We don't have any intention of trading any of those guys. We really like them, and there's some decisions to be made. But I'd be surprised if there's anything happens down that path.
How many people call you on a daily basis about players? Because I know 4 p.m. today, right? Cuts are happening, so there'll be a lot of movement, or no for you today?
We have to make some cuts and put a couple guys on IR, and yeah, we just talked. I was talking to probably 5 or 6 of my counterparts around the league. Everybody's calling, trying to figure out if anybody they're ready to swap out, things like that. It's just a natural process, but phone's ringing a lot this time of year.
Group text, or is it text or phone call? FaceTime. What is it?
No, just no group stuff. Just one-on-one calls. That's it.
Text, calls, FaceTimes.
Calls.
Man, I think you should do FaceTime, see if the motherfucker's real or not. You know what I
Are
mean?
people paranoid about putting text or sending text from GM to GM? Like, hey, we don't want this to pop up sometime.
It happens, but usually, I know we all know each other, so it's easy to just hop on a call and just small talk a little bit and then just get right to the point.
Anybody try and take advantage of you because you're first year GM? You feel like you're getting some bad deals being offered to you, so you got to like kind of, say, hey, listen, I ain't. Is there any of that going on, or is it pretty respectful?
Absolutely. People are testing. There's no doubt about it. Without getting into names and specifics, 100% that's happening.
Hey, we're wondering if we could get blah, blah. Look, good deal for you. I don't know, you haven't been around. I don't know how much Colbert sold you. This is a great deal.
Probably
this ain't going to
Ballard.
come again. That type of stuff's happening?
Well, I do get the, hey, I was thinking and looking at your roster, and I think this would be a good deal for you, and ...
Probably Ballard. It's probably fucking Ballard.
I absolutely love that Chris Ballard and all the boys are trying to test you.
Ballard's awesome. It wasn't Chris, but he's awesome.
All right. Well, so are you. You're awesome, too. Good luck with everything.
Thanks.
Obviously, there's only 32 of you doing the job that you do. It's a prestigious position, let alone for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're obviously doing a great job. Good luck with everything. Can't wait to chat with you 10 years from now or 5 years from now when you got to pay Kenny Pickett $350 million guaranteed.
I appreciate you guys having me on. Let me know when you're in Pittsburgh next time. We'll grab Mike T and go to Rudy's.
Okay, we'll go to Rudy's. Stay away from the booze, though. You need to stay away from the booze. All right, we appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Omar Khan. Thank you. Good guy. Seems like a good guy. He's from Louisiana, so he could have had that deep accent. Had a little accent with the Yinzer mix from the last 22 years. Sounds like the perfect general manager for the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is basically what all Pittsburgh Steelers fans were saying whenever the Pittsburgh Steelers GM role was up and they were interviewing a bunch of people. Anybody from Pittsburgh was like, they're going to hire. If there's a guy that's been around for 21 years in the Pittsburgh organization, they are going to hire that person. That's just how it's going to go. You got to feel good after chatting with him. Seems like a cool guy.
Feel great, and he's already got a bunch of contracts done. He was the contract guy, obviously, like I said before he was the GMs, and I think that's very important now. And I think that Steelers realize that because of the cash over the cap and the salary cap manipulation and stuff like that. It's good to have your GM maybe potentially come from the finance business side so that he can manipulate those.
Yeah, it's good to have a nerd. Mm-hmm. Seems like Omar's math nerd, but also I like the fact that he has realized that other people are trying him right now.
Yeah.
That is a terrible deal. What do they go to Tomlin with that? Take that shit. That'd be awesome. Let's get to a break. We'll be back in 4 with some more recap of what we just learned from Omar Khan. How's the internet reacting to that? How's Pittsburgh reacting to him? Sound like a human to me.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Very much.
To be.
Yeah, Fioria.
Loves pizza.
Stop.
Shut up,
Yeah,
dude.
Fioris.
God, we're doing that the
You
whole
don't know
time.
shit about
Oreos.
Yeah, the
Come
best.
on. Kidding me?
So many Italians, dude. I actually married Italian. Yeah. Never would have guessed, by the way. Been there for 22 years. There's pizza everywhere. Everywhere. Bam, bam, bam. You just drive around, come up to a garage, see 2 guys, one with maybe a scar across their fucking neck, smoking a cigarette.
Hell yeah.
It's like, what is that? Oh, it's pizza joint. Oh, okay.
Let's go, Pete.
Let's go.
All right, thank you so much. You make? Yeah, all right. I'll be in there, dude.
Most of the pizza joints do have a little bit of cigarette ash in there.
Oh, yeah.
Damn right.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what makes it delicious.
They are delicious, though.
Where it all started.
I worked at Dallas South Pizza a couple of days whenever I was a child,
Yeah.
making the boxes, making the dough.
Oh, yeah,
nice.
yeah, of course.
It was an honor.
Were you surprised he didn't know Rudy's?
No, it's because,
It's not a South Hills thing.
Why ain't Caboli asking him about it?
well, the thing about Rudy's is, I think at one time Rudy's was really about to go and take over, and then the founder got a little sick, I think. So had to deal with that. It was like mom and pop actual operation.
Dr. Sebastian.
Yeah, Mr. S. Rest in peace.
Voice of the Mustangs. Recipe.
Love that guy.
Me too.
He's a good man.
You were trying to help
Yeah,
him
he was.
expand, too.
It would have been impossible. Never would have been able to keep up. It's the best sandwich in town.
No, I mean like sending business to the other stores while you were working there.
Wow.
You were trying to expand the operation.
Down the road.
All right, let's get out of here. What do you want me to do? I wasn't meant to be in the food business. I don't think I'm supposed to be in the dog care business either.
What?
What do you mean?
Last 2 days, it's just been old daddy daycare with old Pat at his house, and we got 6 pets, and They all need affection and food.
Of course.
Energy and time. Can't die. They gotta pee. They gotta poop.
Yeah, on the ground. I didn't know Chuck was pooping on your driveway.
That's the only place he poops. That or
Really?
in the house. So him outside, great news. Yeah, he was in a kennel for like 8 months of his life. Nobody wanted to buy him. I don't know if it's because he was just obese or huge or whatever the
took
reason
him home,
was.
ate all his food in a weekend.
But nobody, yeah, exactly. He might have ate the other corgis.
Yeah.
And then nobody wanted him because how big he is. So he just naturally poops on hard surfaces as opposed to grass like every other fucking dog on earth.
Respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go on a
Different
walk.
dog.
Yeah, we'll go on a walk though. And he just takes a shit right in the middle of the street. And it's like a
Built
car's
different.
coming and he's like, his little body's just fucking sorry about it. You know? And then I got to do like the whole like, oh, I'm picking it up.
Yeah.
Even though it's a public street, you know? Like, I don't know.
Don't
With my
have
fake
to.
plastic bag I brought.
Yeah, no, I do pick it up. It's always warm. It's,
Oh, yeah. Do you have the mint scented bags?
I don't think so. I don't think
That
I
Then do you
always
carry that
helps,
bag for
actually.
40 minutes?
Yeah, then what do you do with it? I stick it in my pocket, and obviously
no.
can't do that. 'Cause it's big squish.
Yeah.
Hey,
Launch
Jay,
that
you
into
trash
your
can
neighbor's
yourself.
yard.
You think
into the
Pat can
trees.
walk Chuck for 40 minutes?
Chuck can't walk for 10 minutes. Anyways, we're back in.
You said his little baby leg starts shaking because he's so obese.
Yeah, dude. While he's peeing or pooping, it's like a full. And then he'll like lean the other way, and then all of a sudden the left one just starts. I'm like, there's a problem. Guy seems to be happy though. Slept with me all night last night. We had a full moment last night, he and I.
Nice.
He loves the wife much more than he loves me. Because I'm always like, bro, come on, let's lose some weight.
I need you.
You know,
Tough love.
come on,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm trying to keep him alive.
Can dogs get diabetes?
Oh yeah.
Chuck's got
Yeah,
it.
Chuck's got
he
all
does.
types, all three.
I think there's
I'm
only.
shocked with all the fruity pebbles and everything that he's been sharing with the skunks.
All right. We're not feeding skunks around here.
Yeah.
We're back and forth. Went
They're
some
definitely
phone
showing up.
That's the old house, and they're all dead, AJ.
We're back and forth. We're
My
back
bad.
and forth. Yeah, they're not. They're thriving.
Harsh
Wow.
winner. Harsh winner.
yeah,
In the
a
walls.
couple of them are nailed to the brick now, but. Sorry.
Who did that?
What do you mean? You got the nail gun. It was bored working at your old house.
All right. We're back and forth. That's disgusting. Don't talk about those raccoons.
Hey, I
There's
didn't do
30
it.
It's times like these when Zito comes in my ear and reminds me how many people are watching this thing. There's 37,000 people watching you say lies
It's not a
and
lie.
misinformation.
It's not a lie.
Can't
I
have it.
guarantee if I were to go to the construction site that's going on at your old house right now, there would be animal corpses decorating that.
No, we don't have
is wrong
psychopath
with
serial
you?
killers fucking
Probably
working on the
on
house.
stage.
No, but if they're working on the chimney and those things just happen to piss the wrong guy off, yeah, they're getting a nail to the skull
Those raccoons are good with humans. They know the deal.
with your human.
Well, they weren't good with me, I guess. They were good with
Those
just-
guys aren't giving him Lucky Charms, so I would imagine they may
Exactly.
turn a little bit.
Yeah, true.
These raccoons didn't have bad days. They had good days. They didn't have bad attitudes.
They,
Up
they used
until
to have great
the very
days. Now they
end.
have terrible days. You're not there.
They got good at it. Yeah, but they're optimists, raccoons. Anyways, we're going to a break. Okay, stop watching the show too. You're enabling all this shit. We're back in 4 minutes. We're gonna answer some phone calls. AJ Hawk is back from saving the world yesterday.
Hell yeah.
Big thanks to Omar Khan. And also, Ty Schmidt almost had to leave in the middle of that interview, but did not want to disrespect Omar Khan.
Bingo.
So Poop actually went back up a little bit. Delay, I don't know if you're 148 or 142 is going to be right, but I think it's going to be close.
Close.
All right, we're back in 4 minutes with maybe Ty, maybe not. We'll see you then. This dude, his name is George Pickens. He's from Georgia. He is a fucking dog. All training camp, they've been talking about this guy. Look what this son of a bitch does to this DB who has no idea that this dog is about to kill him. Classic run. Boom! Sit down! Go back, please. This guy, no clue what's going on. Let me go ahead and try to make a team. This George Pickens guy runs like a goddamn deer. He seems to have incredible hands. The quarterback's left throwing on the ball. This is clearly a run play. I ain't gonna have to do nothing. Boom! Boom! Take a seat, cuz George Pickens isn't just a ball catcher. He's a hellraiser. This guy's an absolute dog. Let's go. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
what he got.
Looks like I may have made the right choice.
Jesus.
On, lad.
Fuck.
Come around. Got it.
Oh! For birdie finish. Ah!
During the halftime of a Colts game this year, you have to kick a 35-yard field goal and then complete a 35-yard touchdown pass to Reggie Wayne in the end zone. And if you complete this duo event, we have $1 million for Kick the Stigma charity, $1 million for IU Cancer, and $1 million for the charity of your choice. But no failings out there, young men. The crowd will be there. The pressure will be there. You miss, they'll be talking Banner Jack. You missed that. We're going to do this if you accept.
Yes, I accept. What are we going to say? I would be honored to do that. I appreciate that. $3 million on the line. I mean, that's a big time.
I know.
See ya! Micah Hyde softball game this past weekend with a portion of the proceeds going to the victims of the heinous, fucking, terrible, despicable actions of one scumbag at a grocery store in Buffalo. Josh Allen went to the plate with ill intentions on his mind, and look what he does to this softball, A.J. Hawk.
Look how high the ball is.
Yeah. Back to back! How you doing? Are you not entertained?
Never backs out.
Dude, 6'5", 235 pounds, incredibly athletic, the confidence and moxie to be able to do things like that and become a guy in the NFL. He's becoming the prototype day in and day out. I fucking love that dude. That softball.
Today's show is sponsored by the best ticket app on earth and the moon. And that's SeatGeek. This is your weekly reminder that listeners of this show get 10% off at the link in the description. It's time to figure out what NFL games you're going to this year. Maybe head to a Commanders game and check out the poop pipes.
Really?
Yeah.
It just got announced yesterday. SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders.
That's right.
That's right. Big time deal was announced. Congrats to SeatGeek. They have the Dallas Cowboys, Washington Commanders, the Brooklyn Nets. I believe they're continuing to grow arena by arena until full on taking over the sports marketing world and sports ticketing world. We're very proud of SeatGeek.
We are. Hell yeah.
Hell
Thank
yeah,
you,
SeatGeek. Way to go, SeatGeek.
Way to go, SeatGeek.
Way to go, SeatGeek.
Listen, their seating chart's going to make... Their seating chart will make sure you're getting the best value possible every time and staying far... That threw me off quite a bit. I didn't know what was going on there.
Oh, you got distracted.
I did a little
Sit
bit.
in the pocket, Ty.
Yeah, well, I'm about to poop my pants. But their seating chart will make sure you're getting the best value possible every time and staying far away from any potential hazardous conditions like the poop pipes.
Thank God.
Just remember to hit the link in the description next time you buy some tickets for 10% off.
Holy shit.
Congrats.
So good.
Yeah, they are. I mean, SeatGeek is absolutely fantastic. Very much congratulations to SeatGeek. We are proud of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love SeatGeek.
I am insanely proud of SeatGeek because God bless your soul.
God bless.
Hey, that'll get the poop out of you.
Yeah, that's a bad. Yeah, can't be doing that.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Do some jumping jacks.
He's prairie dogging already.
I know. It's almost 148.
I mean, did you say 142 or 148? You didn't tweet it, so it does not matter.
48.
Doesn't matter.
Nonetheless, episode 2 of Hard Knocks this evening. AJ, what are you looking forward to with the Detroit Lions being broadcasted through their entire training camp?
I do want to see how is it going to contrast the first episode? The first episode was a lot of MCDC, a lot of Deuce and Aaron Glenn going at it. Like, what do they feature tonight? Obviously MCDC, but then what else?
Well, I don't care. I hope it's just MCDC.
Yeah, bingo.
Right.
It will.
Bingo.
And we try to tell Keith Costro that and Patrick Rogers.
Right.
Both from NFL Films. They've been there combined 47 years experience, I believe. Kenny Rogers. Ken Rogers. That's on me.
Keith and Ken.
Like Kenny Rogers Chicken?
Well, no.
The singer?
No, not like that because
like Kenny Powers.
No, not Kenny Powers. Ken Rogers, the guy worked for NFL Films for 22 years. We saw him. He was on the right side last time.
Yep.
He was next to Keith Costro. Keith Costro in charge of the Hard Knocks Arizona Cardinals in the regular season. Ken in charge of the Detroit Lions right now. They're doing a great job both. Well, congrats to them.
Can't wait. Congrats, gentlemen.
Keith also the direct person that we dealt with in getting our deal done and our partnership done with NFL Films. So we are very appreciative of Keith and Ken's work. But we told them, hey, listen, let's not dance around here.
Yeah.
No.
In years past, you guys try to tell a lot of really important stories and stuff, and we appreciate that. We respect that. MCDC, Deuce Staley.
Yeah.
Boom, bang. What do we even? Let's just keep with it. I saw a Deuce Staley clip where one of the running backs invited Coach Staley to go meet his girlfriend after practice, and the running back said, "Are you going to be chilled? Like, are you going?" And Deuce said, "I don't even know how to take that." "Oh, you want me to act a certain way now?" So, like, that type of stuff, that is just a 30-second clip. If we get that for another 45, 50 minutes, I mean, this is potentially greatest Hard Knocks season of all time. I don't want to hype it up too much, AJ, because we're only after episode 1. We haven't even seen episode 2. This has all the potential of being the greatest Hard Knocks season of all time. We have to enjoy it while it's happening, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, I agree. How many total episodes will they have?
6, 5.
5, yeah.
Hopefully there'll be a cutting room for it.
There should be a bloopers reel, but also getting the MCDC reaction when they just lost on a 4th and 9 Hail Mary. Like, I assume that is going to be pretty
I
awesome.
hope he throws the headset down.
Yeah. Oh no.
Afterwards in the locker room, they're going to be so disappointed they lost. They're going to be so bummed that they lost. It's a preseason game. Doesn't mean anything. I can't wait to hear how mostly Dan Campbell explains that. He did give the speech to the team the night before the game where he said, the only thing that'll fucking piss me off is if you're not paying attention and disrespecting your teammates. He said, I'll get mad. He goes on like a 45-second to a minute long run about how fucking pissed he would get if you're like not paying attention to the game. And then he goes, all good, man. Aside from that, all good. And everybody like laughs. It does feel like they are, AJ, I think that's what Hard Knocks can show us. How close is a team? How bonded is a team? Feels like they're all in just from the clips. Cannot wait to watch tonight. And can't wait to get MCDC's reaction to episode 2 tomorrow while we're live at Colts training camp with the Detroit Lions, AJ Hawk.
I mean, that's going to be awesome. Do you expect to see some fights? I know the Patriots have had a few brawls already.
Yeah,
right?
we did.
Certainly going to brawl. I mean, Darius Butler said yesterday, every joint practice will be a fight. I mean, that is just, it has to be almost. The way it's set up with the amount of positions there are, the amount of money and roster spots there is.
Tension like in the air at group practices too. Like you could feel it. Like, all right, when is the first one happening?
Well, and there's a lot of people scared to death on one team that they're not going to have a job. And there's a lot of people on the other team scared to death. Once you start dancing them together in a position that they don't normally know, Darius said special teams is a great spot for it because people are doing things they're not great at, trying to earn a roster. They're tired and there's big collisions. You're basically saying, hey, we would like these teams to fight right here. But we're getting a lot of clips out of training camp. Seems like guys are throwing some bombs this year, though.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of big-time bombs being thrown in these fights. And I don't know if they're not teaching the, hey, we need not punch in the helmets, but...
Open fist, man. If you're going to the helmet, you have to do the open fist boss rooting, like Pancrase, the old days.
Bang it up, bang it up, bang it up. And with the Guardians, when you smack that, you're actually smacking a whole half of a head.
Yeah.
Because it's taking the thud and making it eat the entire right lobe if you hit on this side and then this entire side.
That's right.
So if you open palm a little bit and smack those Guardians around as if you're playing handball, you can really do some real devastating shit to your opponent.
That's a good idea. I actually hadn't thought of the deadening out is actually a much bigger blow than throwing a punch.
Yeah, it might be saving 10% for that one spot, but it's gaining 100% in other spots.
That's right.
Because it's kind of, what's that, AJ? You got a problem with that?
Is that what happens? Like instead of like concentrating all here, it just spreads it out so your trauma is all throughout your brain?
Well, I'm just thinking like instead of just one blow, like this, it's kind of hitting that thing and just...
Yeah, it's like a shockwave.
It's kind of eating the whole thing, you know what I mean? So it's a smaller shot, 10% smaller, but over more of a surface area, so it kind of eats it. It's like that guy that does the belly flops from real high in the pool.
Oh, that's right.
The wider you go, it'll slow you down. That's kind of what the Guardian does. It kind of just spreads out the shot, AJ.
Oh, okay. It's been a rousing success from all the players. They seem to love it.
Yeah.
Huh.
Safer.
I've texted a few buds around the league. They were very into it. Said I had a couple guys tell me this may be my last year.
because of the Guardians.
They act like, hey, I'm not doing it next year, man. I've had a couple guys text me.
So
not
this is
happening next year.
Hey, this is another thing. The younger guys have been doing this since high school, so they're just used to
I'm
it.
not texting a younger guy. Yeah, I'm old. I'm texting old guys.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like all the coaches from the Lions, all old players are like, "You look like booty hole."
Yeah.
I mean, like old players are talking about it.
That was such a fun look into it when they're looking at Dan Hill. Interesting. When you can't hear the helmets pop. That's interesting.
Man, how come we're not getting man?
Take these off. I need to hear it, man.
Can we get the clacking of the helmets on the fucking songs at least? Can we get a little bit of I need to hear it, man. How are we waking up with the sound of How are we? All the old players though hate it, but all these young players are just used to it. This is just like when they changed the game from the way people were tackling in strike zone. It's like the young guys have been coming up since 5th grade learning this, and the old guys are like, wait, I was getting bonuses for fucking headhunting people. Now I got nothing. It's like this is another one of those situations because the Guardian seems like not a big deal. But those helmets are going on every single day. And guys, that's a conversation old guys are having every time. This fucking thing. Literally every time they put it on, AJ.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, they're probably counting down the days till they can take them off, right? Isn't it after the 3rd preseason game? Something like that.
He said that because the amount of days that pads are allowed to be worn dropped like 100% or 75% or something like that. I forget what Dr. Alan Sills told us.
Only once a week when the season starts.
It's crazy that.
How come we didn't ask Dr. Alan Sills anything about the COVID stuff?
Yeah, why didn't we? I guess we were too caught up in the other stuff.
Yeah, he knew it from
and
we beat it.
He scratched you where you itch with the mouthpieces. Don't help the concussion. You're like, whoops,
Do it.
Whoops, sorry about it.
Well, you had him on as a guy. He's gonna get me. That guy's really gonna get me. And I don't take any pleasure. I didn't win anything. I was just glad to see Dr. Sills, reinforce my beliefs.
You took Axel's mouth guard and cut it into pieces. So you tell me you didn't win anything. Seems like a little bit of a
I actually had to mold their mouthpieces last night for all of them because even flag football, they make them wear it.
How mad were you? You were disgusted?
No, I tell them, absolutely. I want you guys to protect your teeth. You should wear it.
Yeah, it's all baby teeth. Those things are leaving, right?
Yep.
Absolutely. So, yeah.
So
what are we doing?
So you're pissed.
So you don't like it.
I'm not mad. I'm just saying, don't make the kid sit out. If I'm coaching the team too, if a kid shows up with no mouthpiece, we don't have an extra. Don't make him sit out that day.
Hey, you're gonna learn a little lesson today. Yeah. You might lose that tooth that you're inevitably gonna lose anyways, but you ain't gonna get a concussion. Go run your face into that kid right over there, pal. Go ahead and use that mouth too when you're talking. He can't do it. He'll be like, you let him know that you can. Is that what you're doing, pal?
Coach, we don't have
No, it's flag football. There's no contact.
Oh, I thought we were hitting. You're doing flag football every
doing
night?
both. No, I'm coaching flag and I'm doing tackle as well. I got multiple kids.
Jesus.
Yeah, this guy, Dad, Coach of the Year.
I know.
I mean, I kind of got put. Yeah, the flag football. There wasn't enough coaches. Yeah, they lightly asked, "Would you want to?" Yeah, sure.
I'll call
Boom,
plays. Fine.
Yeah, I love
What
football.
are you sitting on a cooler of beers like
Mike Allstott?
Mike Allstott?
No, I've never got to sit on a cooler of beers and then say, I'm going to be the head coach and just trot it on out there and got the gig.
Let's go to the phones.
Oh, so they asked him to be the coach of the flag football team, and he actually did say, though, are you talking to me?
All right, let's go to the phones. Let's go to Nick in Pittsburgh. Nick, what's going on, pal, on the 5 Energy phone line?
Hey, how you guys doing out there in the Capitol? I just had a quick question. So we heard Tomlin talk about the importance of Flores. We heard Hayward and Kiesel talk about Coach Mitchell from back in Cam's early days. Then we saw last week on Hard Knocks with Antoine and Deuce and AG and those guys. So I actually just wanted to hear from you and AJ about positional coaches in an NFL building and kind of what roles those coaches play on a day-to-day, and having good positional coaches, kind of outweigh coordinators or even a head coach on an NFL program.
Great question, Nick. You said we're in the capital. What does that mean?
You know the capital of Indiana, my guy?
Oh, fuck off, Nick. We're in the capital of Indiana.
What is the capital of Indiana?
All right.
Gary.
Okay. Nope, it is not. It is.
I thought it was Fort Wayne.
No, I mean, I appreciate the trivia, Nick, and we are in the capital. It is very nice to be in the capital of Indiana.
Hell yeah.
You're damn right. Down here in the capital.
Sure.
Look at us. Capital city.
Yeah, big city boys.
Hey, we appreciate that, dude. We do need to
Not Gary?
It's not Gary.
That's
Gary's
weird.
capital of some other stuff, but that is not the capital of the state. We're lucky to be here. Now, positional coach. In college, it's a strength coach. In college, you're around the strength coach so much more than any other coach on the roster or in the team or in the facility. The strength coach is who you have the closest bond with. The strength coach is the person that's going to get you through college football or be the reason why you probably quit college football. To be honest, you got to have a great relationship with your college strength coach. In the NFL, your position coach matters. Your position coach is very close with you. You're around them a lot. I was very fortunate to have Tom McMahon at the end of my career. I loved him. I enjoyed it. He made me a lot better. He understood me. And also, he was able to balance the day-to-day, the shit that I got kind of annoyed with. He would be able to talk me out of, like, motherfucking some people every once in a while. So I love Tom McMahon. Who are some of your position coaches? And I think it's a very important role in the NFL, AJ.
Yeah, when I came in the league, my position coach was Winston Moss. He played in the league for a long time, great player at Miami.
Dog.
10, 12, 13 years. I don't know what he played in the league. He was my position coach my 9 years in Green Bay, so that's pretty rare to have a guy there that long. He actually interviewed for some head coaching gigs. We thought he was going to leave a few times. But, yeah, it's huge. You're with him. Like you said, college strength coach, you're with him every single day pretty much for a lot of, multiple hours. I feel like that with your position coach in the NFL, usually like maybe one of the first coaches you talk to in the morning when you get there, all throughout practice, you're bouncing things back and forth with him and like just constant dialogue all day, every day, and text and everything on every little tiny thing that comes up in a game week. So it's gigantic. And then you hope those guys progress and become coordinators and then head coaches, but it's kind of tough because you don't want to leave. You don't want to lose them, but you obviously want guys that want to advance.
Yeah, you become incredibly happy for them because the relationship that you've built with them, but the relationship's been built with them because you're around them all the time. And it feels like the position coach is on your side more than anybody in the history. Like, their job is to run it up to the coordinator about why your position is not happy with what's going on. Like, if you look at the corporate ladder, your position coach is supposed to go to the coordinator goes to head coach. So it is literally your direct report almost if you're to look at any other job. It's vital to have a good person in that role. Vital, I think. And I'm pumped to get to watch it on Hard Knocks tonight. Hour 3 will be on the other side of this 6-minute break. We shall see you then. 2 for 2.
Let's go.
Yeah.
2 for 2.
Stay hot.
2 for 2. Yeah, stay hot.
Stay hot.
Let's hit the third hour hard out too, AJ.
Let's do it.
Doubtful. I was watching this show on Sports Grid last night because it was on Sports Grid.
Oh, on the grid.
Yeah, which is a channel that's on smart TVs.
Of course.
So smart TVs, you have the ability to go to apps. Before you go in the apps, though, there's just some channels running. There's like Movie Star channel, this channel. Sports Grid is on that channel, or on that thing. And my TV, I turned it on, and I started making the dogs their food,
Sure.
The chicken breast, the shredded chicken, the
Right,
carrots, the dry food, you know what I mean, that whole thing. I had a bunch of shit on my hands, so I couldn't grab the remote. It took a little bit to get the thing connected to the internet Wi-Fi, and then all of a sudden I just started yelling at me from across the kitchen. I was watching our show on there. What a joke our show is.
Yeah,
like
it ain't
watching
good.
it on the same format as like other shows are in my kitchen, being forced to listen to us. And it was when Jordo was on yesterday, AJ. You missed Jordo Schultze on. It was really fascinating to watch us on the TV thing. I couldn't get the remote fast enough. I won't let you know. But they play this whole part. Like, because it's video.
Yeah.
So, like, they played me celebrating a part where we, like, right now, at another hour, this is running on Sports Grid, us celebrating hitting the hard out on radio. And I just, as I was watching, I was so embarrassed. I'm like, I can't believe we put this shit onto this. But
Worth it.
I didn't even know it was on at that time or on that channel. I was very surprised. I'm like, oh, fuck, we're on Sports Grid, I guess, still. Like, okay, good.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Shout out to Sports Grid. We haven't talked Sports Rage in a while, too. It's kind of making me think about the good
You
old
still have that
days.
jacket?
Yes.
What do you mean?
You're
He'll be
talking
buried
about-
in it.
Yeah.
Evil Knievel.
What are you
Yeah, that's what you said. You said it 100 times to him.
No, he said Evil Knievel. I said the jacket's amazing.
No, you got to a
No.
point where you were almost being condescending to Gabe.
Never.
And we
Yeah,
all
you really-
were getting offended by
Yeah,
it.
we were big
A little
time.
bit. If it wasn't for the fact that AJ saved him from breaking his neck when he stood up and almost ran off the stage with the headset still connected to him, then it would have been, probably public enemy number one.
That guy should have 10 billion followers. That's what I'm saying. Not million.
You're right.
10 billion followers. Gabe, should,
Yeah.
for how hard he goes, how long he goes, how often he goes,
Yeah.
he should fucking be everywhere.
He should. He's a
Last-
machine.
Yeah, last time he was on, he woke up and had 17,000 bets for us. Just out of bed.
How about this one? Premier League lacrosse, the Buffalo something. This team has won, blah, 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 blah. It's like, God damn, this guy. They lost. The Bandits?
The Buffalo Bandits did lose in the final.
Well, I guess I lost money on that because I bet on it. Now, I certainly remembered I bet on it.
Yeah.
Didn't I?
Yeah,
of course.
The first thing you said when you came in.
Why are they running our show? Just put Sports Rage on. You know?
How does that work?
As I was cutting the chicken breasts up, and the carrot's a lot more difficult to cut than I could have ever.
They're hard.
Do you cook the chicken?
Huh?
Do you cook the chicken?
It's already it's canned.
Oh, okay. That's gross.
Well, it's for
fucking
we're not
dogs.
eating. I'm not eating. My dog's eating.
I know. I'm saying like slopping wet dog food together. If you're mixing like wet dog food in there too.
Well, yeah, the wet dog food gives the juices on the dry, bland ass dog food.
Yeah.
That the dry, bland ass dog food has all the vitamins and nutrients that we need. So the trick is just getting the flavor from something good onto the shit stuff, so you can trick Val into eating the shit that she definitely needs. That's the whole game. She's smart. This fucking dog is smart.
Pour a little chicken broth onto the dry food. That works sometimes too.
All right, so I'll DoorDash Dash Mart some fucking chicken broth tonight.
Smart.
Yeah.
But I don't need the soggy ass cereal.
No.
You know what I mean? Like I don't need this to be a soup.
No, yeah, definitely not.
Val ain't eating no soup.
Just a little.
Just a little touch.
Just get her nose going.
Yeah.
That's chicken. That's chicken. It doesn't taste like chicken. It tastes terrible.
Smells like it though, so that's good enough
Pretty
for me.
bland. It's been a thing, AJ. I don't know how you have 10 kids, dude. I don't know how you do it.
Dogs are a lot, man.
Cats are even more. These
Cats,
cats
too.
are fucking pissed.
Indoor cats.
High maintenance.
Well, yeah, they're indoor. What are you talking? Yeah, the pets. They're not just wild.
That's what I mean. Yeah, like cats that aren't just roaming outside.
I got a little living room lion, 4 of them, no big deal. Scoots came up to me this morning. She was not happy with the lack of attention she's got, so she took her 2 front paws and stood on her only back paw, climbed up my calf, and went right down the side of it.
What the hell's that about?
Well, I guess she wanted a pet. So
Yeah,
that's the game you play whenever you're daddy daycare with 6 animals.
Yeah, just a little playing games, bonding time with you and the pet.
I guess, dude. It doesn't feel
Cats
like...
are scary.
No, cats are cool.
Cats
They're very cool, but they're also very mysterious and scary.
These cats are pretty demanding. You know, like my wife, I think, by the way, you beat AJ's time. AJ, you don't know shit.
Wow.
My wife is great, I think, at showing them all attention and love. Like, that's something that I've not been able to do, I guess, with all these cats all by myself.
I mean, you're ordering them fucking steaks from St. Elmo's and cutting them up for them. You know, you'd think they'd be a little bit more grateful.
Yeah.
Well, the cats are getting a little bit of the steak and the chicken and everything like that. It feels like they forget that I give it to them immediately after I give it to them, though. It's not a lot of long payoff with these animals.
No.
A lot of what's next.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, it is.
what have you done for me lately? It's like,
Orlovsky's kids after the lacrosse national championship.
bam, I won't go to bed tonight. This is terrible. You just took me on vacation, took me to the Cross National Championship. You wore a hat, you took your shirt off, posted on Instagram. Like, what have you done for me lately, though, Orlovsky's kid? Dan Orlovsky's in town next week.
Is he really?
In Indiana?
Hey, he's doing a show. You get tickets?
Yeah, of course. I
Well,
wouldn't
you can't
miss
stand
a chance
up?
to-
I don't know. I don't know if he's doing stand-up or a
One man.
speech.
Where at?
If he's doing
Here in
stand-up,
Indy. I don't know. I don't know. He told me he's going to be in town. He's doing
He's got a live show.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
Rogan's opening up for
singing?
him.
Sweet.
Rogan's opening for Orlovsky?
Yeah.
Man, that's got to be an arena then. It's down here.
It's
Cambridge?
It's not an arena. It's Lucas Oil Stadium.
Hour 3, right?
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. It is hour 3 on this Hard Knocks episode 2 with the Detroit Lions. Is tonight at 10 p.m. August 16th. We start now.
Here we go, baby.
You might have only heard one voice. That voice is Boston Connor, because Boston Connor is keeping the Here We Go Baby alive, while the man to my right, your left, or my left, your right, AJ Hawk tries to kill it, and one half of the hammer, Dahn Cowboys, Tone Diggs, attempts to bury it as well. There is one person missing from the toxic table, and hashtag PMS Poop Watch has successfully come to an end. It was 2:02. Exactly when he stood up from his chair and exited said studio. He will be in there for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes as he relieves the massive Starbucks, the 16-ounce iced latte, which was a cup of whole milk with an espresso shot, and any other terrible things that Ty Schmidt has put in his body in the last 24 hours. To make this thing official, because we will be giving away to 4 people $500, here is the video of Ty leaving the studio. It is 2:02, and there he is. Ty's going to take 2.
He really is.
See you, pal. Good luck out there.
Thank you, Adam.
I paused him as he had left to tell him we have to document it. He limps away. I don't know what happened to his right leg, but it seems like the bladder bone's connected to the knee bone. He had a limp, and his butt's about to explode. Congrats to Ty for surviving 2 hours and 2 minutes, AJ.
Well, we don't know if he's going to survive. What happens, though?
He will. He's been through this. You got to remember, this guy has terrible guts.
Yeah.
Just terrible inside.
He's had colitis.
Colitis. He's had, how much of his intestines has been removed? I mean,
20 feet.
They've told him numerous times, going to have to change your diet, the way you act. He does, then he doesn't. And then he drinks entire 16 ounces of whole milk with an espresso shot in it, and it was only a matter of time. Ticking time bomb there for his butt. We'll talk to Brady Quinn in this hour, brother-in-law of A.J. Hawk. He had some things to say about the New York Jets. A.J., are you on his side? Why does he hate the New York Jets? What's this all about?
I don't know what he said most recently about the Jets. I know what he said earlier a couple months back. That cut a lot of. Didn't he say they're going to start out 0-9 or something?
Yeah, he said up until their bye week, they got no shot, pretty much. Everybody can talk about the hype and the energy around the Jets, but if you look at their schedule and the way it's constructed, they're fucked, basically, is what Brady Quinn said. And he got a lot of heat from that from Jets fans saying, Brady Quinn, who is he? This guy sucked as a quarterback in the NFL. He doesn't know. Then you look at the schedule and it's like, that's a tough start. Their season might be over before that thing even starts, just directly because of who they have to play. But that's the AFC this year. The AFC is going to be difficult. Joe Flacco had a great day today, I guess, and he has 4 touchdowns, 2 incompletions, I think. Best day the offense has had. Joe Flacco taking over leadership of the New York Jets. He is the starter. Mike White, we would assume, would be the backup as Zach Wilson gets surgery on his meniscus today. They think it'll be a trim as opposed to a full replacement. They won't know until they get in there. And a bone bruise. He'll be out for at least, 5-6 weeks, AJ? Is that what that normal is? I don't know.
Are they saying they're either going to trim out what is torn or they possibly could try to repair it where they actually suture up your cartilage?
They said trim, I believe. Trim
is fast. Trim is much faster. If they try to suture your torn cartilage together, that's the much longer recovery.
Yeah, because you have to wait for the suture to recover and also for the meniscus to recover. So that's 2 things after recover. When you're trimming it, you're just getting away the excess that could be causing some inflammation and pain. If I'm not 100% a doctor, but I believe that's what they did to my knee a couple times.
Yeah, I think that's right. Absolutely. Yeah. They go in, they see whatever's floating around, little particles, whatever cartilage you have, boom, took it out. And then they'll say, hey, isn't this going to affect me later in life? Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. When you're 35 years old or 30 years old, you won't be able to run at all. Don't. Yeah, but it's all right. You'll be back 6-7 weeks, though. Don't you worry about it.
Well, and that's the thing, right? There's 3 weeks till the season when, the opening weekend is. And then if it's, 5 to 6 weeks, how long will it take him where he is mobile and he can move around and actually do the things that he can do? Is this going to be week 5?
I've seen some guys get some scope surgeries that are just back in 4 weeks, and it makes no sense to me because
some are quicker than that. Some if it's not a whole lot and they go in there, I've seen people come back 2-3 weeks almost.
Modern science is different. Now the bone bruise would be because the meniscus wasn't doing its job, right?
I guess, yeah.
Because bone bruise would happen if there's no meniscus in the middle there. Meniscus acts as a sponge in between the two.
Yeah.
And if anything flares up, it's obviously in the way. If the bones just hit each other, that's when a bone bruise happens. That's miserable. The bone bruise in the knee is miserable, AJ.
Yeah, I've had it before. Yeah, it feels like it stays around forever and there's nothing you can do for it. It just hurts really bad.
Yeah, it'll get better. Just let us know when it happens. Is there any timetable? Well, everyone kind of heals on its own pace. It's this might be forever. They're no, it definitely heal, but we don't know when it's going to go away. It's God damn, that sucks bad.
Well, what if Flacco does actually come out and he is primetime footsteps Flacco and they go 4-0 to start the season, and then Zach Wilson comes back and he's 85%? Do you really?
Well, Zach got to see Mike White win games last year too, right?
Yeah, he beat the Bengals.
Yeah.
That one game.
But Zach said it was nice to be able to sit and watch the offense because it was his rookie year last year. Your brother-in-law, Brady Quinn, thinks Zach Wilson is trash, though. What is that all
really?
Yes. Yeah, he does.
It's sick.
All right. It'll be I'm looking forward to having him on then and asking him why he thinks that.
He's a hot take guy? Is that what he is? Or he's just like, I have strong opinions and I'm not scared what anybody has to say guy?
Brady's definitely like a guy with like strong opinions. I don't know how he is like what Zach Wilson, why he's like, that's one, I guess, that he's kind of going after right now.
The way he framed it was as if, I don't care who hears this. It has to be said. And I respect that. I like the people that do that. Now, his mentions are probably blown up by people telling him he's because everything he's ever done not great or perfect in his career or life will get thrown right at him anytime he does this. So I respect the fact that he just jumps right into the Thunderdome and says exactly how he feels. But I sense a little Brady Quinn does not respect Zach Wilson's football game. I sense that a little bit.
I think he was like 3 of 5 for 29 yards and a pick. Like, it's not like Zach Wilson was lighting the world on fire.
Well, that's what Brady said.
Yeah.
Brady Quinn's exact quote was, before he hurt his knee, the guy fucking sucked on the field. I mean, what are we even? That's basically
that was his exact quote.
Essentially.
I mean, I don't know. I say things different. I didn't go to Notre
It's only
Dame.
2 drives, though, in the first preseason game.
Well, yeah, first drive, right? He was only supposed to get 1 drive, allegedly. This is what Jets fans say, and Jets fans are miserable, and this would make the situation obviously much worse. If he was only supposed to play in 1 drive and then, throws a pick, so he goes out for the next one, then he hurts his knee. He wasn't even supposed to be on the field. Yeah, Brady Quinn said, despite the injury, Zach Wilson looked awful in that preseason game. Can we just acknowledge the media continually try to make Zach Wilson something? The media wants this to work out so badly. And it's kind of tough to listen to be quite honest. I've never seen a quarterback get so much love from the media for doing less than Wilson in a long time. Once he got selected in the draft, I had my concerns. He's smaller, so he's subject to injury. He didn't play against elite schools in college, and he's staring down targets. All of these things have played out, obviously. I hope he recovers from this, but I don't get the media love. They'd be good with Jimmy Garoppolo at QB, but they won't make the move because they've invested so much into Zach Wilson. Brady Quinn, I'm going to explain it to him when he comes on the show here in a few minutes, 20 minutes or so. I'm going to let him know the reason why we like him. Zach Wilson's a dog.
Yeah.
He will take his mom's friend for a walk.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson will do the sidearm throws. Zach Wilson is handsome. Zach Wilson was throwing up gang signs draft night, very confused. Now he's an absolute dog. I think that's why the media loves him, and that is no lie. Everybody will turn on him, though, if he doesn't have a good second year, for sure. And Brady Quinn's just trying to be like, hey, I had 1 bad season. People were trying to run me out of town. Zach stunk last year. He has not done anything good, and people are still up there. So I can see why Brady Quinn thinks that. But inevitably, everybody will get had for how they perform on the field, especially at the position of quarterback.
Yeah, you got to remember it's New York media. They had Dan Jones and they got Zach Wilson. And Dan Jones, he has had sex with 0 of his mom's friends. And Zach Wilson has more numbers than him. So it's like you kind of have to, give and take your – they like Zach. Give him a break for latching their wagon to him.
Now, and Brady obviously knows a fuck ton, a lot more about quarterbacking than I do, but I think Zach Wilson deserves a chance. I mean, rookie year on a terrible
so
team.
Bad organization.
Now, don't you agree? Maybe he deserves another season before we call him.
We'll ask Brady Quinn. We'll ask your brother-in-law.
Brady's not saying bench him. He's not saying don't give him a chance, is he?
Well, he's kind of saying, what's the deal? Everybody talking about this guy sucks.
So is he mad at the media or is he mad at Zach Wilson?
I think he's mad at the coverage of Zach Wilson. It's not being fair. But he did say, I hope he gets healthy, obviously. I hope he does well. But he does not understand why everybody's putting this guy over, it sounds like.
Well, and last year was like the Mekhi Becton thing. Like, he got hurt pretty early. Okay, Zach Wilson loses his best lineman. And now it's already happened again with Mekhi Becton. And, he's hurt. It really feels like not this year's make or break. But if they don't win like 5-6 games, then it might start to turn on Zach Wilson a little bit.
We'll talk to Brady Quinn in about 18 minutes about his hating ass comments of Zach Wilson. Can't wait to chat with him. Also, he raised money for a great cause yesterday that AJ was at. We got to talk about Brady Quinn saving the world.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
right.
Don't we? We got to talk about Brady Quinn saving the world, being a good guy. We like him. Let's talk about some other news that happened. Justin Reed and Juan Thornhill for the Kansas City Chiefs did a field goal operation just in case. You never know when an emergency kicking situation is going to take place. Tommy Townsend, the original holder and punter. Butker, the kicker for the Chiefs. Very talented bunch, but you never know what's going to happen throughout an NFL season. Andy Reid said, let's get some practice in. Let's send a guy in that kicked a 65-yard field goal off a holder last week. So Justin Reed, DB, freak athlete. kicked an extra point in the game this past week, kicked the kickoff for the Texans in the past, kicked a 65-yard field goal. He took a live rep, snap, hold, kick with Juan Thornhill, who definitely held in the past. This is one of the smoothest operations I've ever seen by non-specialists, and this is something that Andy Reid's got to be pumped up about. And also, these guys should be proud of that they performed. Go ahead and run that thing, Mitt. This is snap, hold, kick, boom, smooth down, 1-3-5, probably get off time. High through the top of the uprights. They got a high five. They got a deal. Let's go to the next one. This is so difficult. I don't think anybody truly respects this as much as they should. This is very, very impressive, AJ.
Absolutely. I mean, you're right. What a smooth, hold the transition, everything. I mean, he's definitely done that in the past. It's a huge asset, I feel like, for your team, right? Like, who knows? Yeah, nothing usually happens to your kicker, but you never know. You may need this at some point. I think it's big for them.
There's been numerous kickers that have just popped a groin or something in warm-ups. I mean, it happened to the Bears 3 times in one season. The fact that you got a guy that can kick off, kick field goals, backup holder, you got everything covered at a high level, let alone the fake threat. You got Thornhill and Justin Reed in the backfield. There's no rush coming. As long as they can get the ball down and kick it, everybody's going to be scared to death that they're running an option off the end. You're good. You're gravy. And maybe Justin Reed tacks on a few extra years to his career being just a kicker. I am the op being that quick. Normally guys 1.3-ish, 1.3 seconds from snap to kick on the clock. So you're doing that because of how fast people are getting off the edge. It's 8-yard snap. There's a whole science behind why with the drive, how far they can drive. A 1.3 is basically the just understood time. You get it off in this time. Nobody can block it unless you hit it low. That seemed like a very fast operation. And the kicker's only seeing the ball it is a glimpse in your life before kicking it. That's a fucking incredible job by Justin.
I just love, for some reason, I love the fact too that it's both of your starting safeties are the operation. That's just the best part.
Pretty good little chemistry out of the boys there. Very impressive. Nothing but bravo for them.
Here you go, boys.
I got a lot of people tweeting, look how easy it is. All right, go film yourself. Kick a ball in the backyard. You fat fuck. You ain't going to do a damn thing. Let's do some other news. Noble has signed on as the official combine training partner of the NFL.
Hell yeah.
Formerly New Era, which was an Indianapolis, Indiana-based company. Beast. Now it'll be Noble, who signs on as the on-field supplier of apparel and headwear for the NFL scouting combine. This came from Darren Ravel back in the business of doing stuff.
Yeah, where's he been?
Well, way to go, Darren. There's more competition in that vein, I think. I think there's more competition in the sports media business vein. So Ravel getting this is obviously a big scoop. But Noble, they make those trash shoes that you wear all the time, right?
That's not true. They make those great shoes that are very durable and have lasted 2 years and have, barely any holes in them.
I will say Noble has been much more impressive than I could have imagined early. They look like Toms with a little bit better support on the bottom, but they have held up for you. You worn them every single day. They look cool. They make you about 1 inch to 2 inches taller.
Yes.
I had no idea they had other apparel, though. You only wear the shoes. Congrats, Ty Schmidt's
back.
Hey, Noble, Ty Schmidt's back.
Way to go, Ty.
Way to go, Ty.
Did it.
That was a 14-minute jaunt.
Thank you. Yeah, just textbook butt piss. Just kind of put your head down and keep moving. It's probably the first of many, but...
What did you do while you're sitting in there? Just try to survive?
Yeah. I mean, what else can you do? You get it and it's kind of just, it's immediate. So
Congratulations.
watch the show, see what you guys are saying.
Hey, congratulations. We're talking about Noble being the apparel. Did you know Noble had any upper body wear? Because all Connor wears is just a shoe. So is he not really a supporter of Noble, or is this something none of us know
No,
about?
I suppose you could say that unless he comes in here with a Noble tee or a Noble flat bill.
And he's embarrassed by it and takes it off?
Yeah, exactly. Then
Is that what
are we
happens,
talking
Connor?
about?
No, because I really don't wear hats anymore with the mullet, and if I got a T-shirt on, it's something that we sell at the store, so the only real area I have to use is my feet, and that's why I always am committed to Noble.
Noble. I'm Noble. The guys will be able to choose whatever footwear they would like to wear, obviously, for the 40s and running, but Noble will take over from ankles up, I guess, for all combine.
Jeez.
This is just like The Rock and Under Armour got him with UFC for the weigh-ins and the walk to the octagon. Now for the combine, they go from New Era to Noble. These deals are good deals for the company and obviously for the NFL, who doesn't have to fucking deal with it. I mean,
I really wonder how much it costs for them to pay the NFL to be the official combine. I mean, it's a ton of gear, obviously, they give every player, but how much money do they pay?
New Era had it for numerous years, and did New Era sell more shit because they were there? I mean, it brought attention. I I think I got a sweatsuit because I talked about how nice they were. New Era is just hats, though, right? Noble, I thought was just shoes.
Marketing-wise, it makes more sense for Noble than New Era because nobody knows about Noble. And, New Era, if you're going to Lids or something
That's
like
all
that.
they want.
Yeah.
Established.
People are going to say, what's this Noble? What's their shirt? What's that say?
Noble,
That's what's going to happen when the Combine comes up.
Boston company, right?
It is a Boston company, yeah. Started in
I thought you
Mass.
wore the shoes every day.
I did.
Oh, you got Jordans on today.
I do have Jordans on today. That's because, I felt.
Where were those made?
I think these
Good
were
question.
made in South Georgia, kind of over there somewhere on the East Coast.
You mean South Saudi Arabia?
No.
They ain't
well,
making shoes in Saudi, Tony.
I don't think so. Ain't what you said, I don't think so, but same vein of the conversation.
Why? Where are they?
It's not South Georgia. I know that.
Russia?
Sure?
You ever been to the South Sea of China?
Oh, you're talking. I actually have seen the Great Wall of China, Tony. Yeah, so I have seen the South Sea.
You don't know.
I have been to the Great Wall. I have walked those steps. Okay, I've been to the Forbidden City. So don't talk to me about South China Sea.
Anyways, Stephen A. Smith was back. He gave a take about Liv and PGA.
On the boat?
Because in studio. They were on boat yesterday.
Yeah.
How about him coming back after a month off? They do the show from a fucking boat.
Was that his request?
I have no idea. It was awesome. I have no idea whose request it was. We turned on. Schefter breaks the news. And Stephen A's back. They come on to the show. He's wearing an orange suit on a fucking boat in New York. Molly's sitting in between them getting seasick. And Michael Irvin, starting in a suit, took it off because he sweats. And they yelled at each other over a boat table for 2 fucking hours.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I'm thankful Stephen A's back. He gave an entire take about living a PGA, though. That was, I think similar minds as us. Like, are we going to start getting mad about everything that is potentially, not the holiest way of going about doing things? What are we even talking about? It's great to have Stephen A back in our daily life, by the way.
Definitely. And PGA just called Tiger for that little
rally.
Yeah.
They say, hey, come on in and give a speech, huh? You think he's watching Hard Knocks, seeing if he can take anything away from MCDC?
If he's smart, he is.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
Tiger's coming in. He'll even do the full MCDC arm grab, walk back and forth, man. What if Tiger does it, man? What if? Oh my God! What if Tiger Woods is learning from all the great motivators of the past to come in and rally the PGA? Because I will say, this weekend, Will Zalatoris, hell of a win, pal.
Way to go, Bill.
Yeah.
But the weekend before that, the PGA had to be dancing with, we're going to have obscurity. There's a lot of guys that I never heard of before. They were at the top of the week before. I'm like, what am I watching here? I understand it's golf, and I will watch it because it's on TV. Need a nap. It's a perfect nap. But the PGA is losing,
Yeah.
There's some big names that are allegedly on the watch to go over there, and how many more will they be able to just kind of lose and still remain the better tour? I guess that is something we'll kind of all watch together. And Tiger said, we ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was worried until Com Smith because he's been the first. Oh well, DJ, Com Smith and DJ are the first real players to go over there. So and then Cam just won a major. So as soon as that happened, I think there was a little bit more work.
And everybody's saying after the FedEx Cup, these things you're going to see
A lot.
a parade over to Live, and it's like, what's PGA going to do?
What can they do?
I think you put Tiger. I think he tees off.
He's commissioner.
Play the hits, dude.
Yeah,
I
let him win.
think he plays every single tournament.
Let him use a golf cart.
I think he's with the feature group every time.
Yep.
I think that's what you got to do. You got to bring.
If that's the plan, then Tiger's going to live for $800 million. He's not playing. He's just being like an ambassador.
No, he's rallying PGA.
Yeah.
He already turned down $750 million.
I know.
Yeah,
but if they want him to play 36 events a year when the guy can barely walk, I don't think that's the plan.
Hey, play the hits. Let's bring Tiger out. What are you talking about?
And what, have him run around on a golf cart and not swing the ball? Is that going to be or swing his club?
I don't know. Are we trying to spread the game or not?
Yeah, he can pop out of
Faraday
the
said,
cart.
fuck grow the game, dude. They gave me a check for fucking $100 million.
Yeah, that's what.
Faraday said, what do you want me to do?
How much did he get? Do you know?
I don't think it's been reported. I assume there's a lot of eyes on that in the sports media world. How much did Faraday get to talk about golf? Okay. Is my agent having connections? That's what everybody sports media is doing. And then they'll put on Twitter, that's disgusting. Hey, what are they saying? I hate what they're doing to golf. How much? If they can get that up another $10 million or so. Oh, this place is terrible. Deal.
See you inside.
See, what I think what's going on here is there a distribution of wealth that we've never seen before, and it's good for the game. It's good for golf. It's good. Like that is, I assume that's what's going to take place over the next 2 years, 3 years or so. I mean,
it already has brought the PGA players more money. We know that, but yeah, I just don't know where they go.
160 mil fell out of their ass somehow. All right, let's continue to bounce around. OBJ commented on the NFL's post of Baker Mayfield. Go shine, young king. Go shine.
Hell yeah.
You know, OBS started this entire Baker Mayfield's Hating in Cleveland train with his video editing package whenever he said that Baker was blatantly and obviously avoiding Odell Beckham Jr. when he was open and throwing him bad balls so that he could not shine or succeed. That video edit would then lead to OBJ not being welcomed in the building. He's allowed to be out there, getting traded to the Rams or getting released and then ending up at the Rams and almost becoming Super Bowl MVP. Since then, Baker Mayfield has been run out of Cleveland. A new quarterback's been brought in. Jarvis Landry's been out. A full turnover. We have no idea if the OBS video is what prompted it all or if the OBS was a reflection of everything that was happening behind the scenes already. Nonetheless, it appears as if OBJ and Baker Mayfield have put their swords down and they are friends again. OBJ cheering for his old teammate. I like this, AJ Hawk. Look at this, huh?
Yeah, I like it too. Do you really think they put their swords down? You think Baker is over it? You think he's okay?
He saw Go Shine. He said, yeah, thank you,
I will.
OBJ. I will.
Super
Hey, why don't you tell your dad to shine a little less? All right, why don't you tell OBS to get a little less shine on his Instagram or maybe on his video editing? This could all go back. We are having some conversations behind the scenes that are giving some information about Baker Mayfield and Darnold.
Mm-hmm.
What do you hear?
Interesting.
Yeah, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
Baker's going to be a starter, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Starting preseason.
They're splitting reps, first-team reps right now. I guess that is something that's happening right now in joint practice with the Patriots, the Panthers. Matt Rule has come out and said that Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield will be splitting 1 reps, and that's more important in practice than the game almost because they can set up situations and really test and see who's built for the long haul. Really, you can't. You don't know who's going to be a guy till the game start, honestly. But Matt Rule thinks Baker and Sam will continue to share first-team reps, which Rule said in some ways are more important than Friday's game against the Patriots. That's being reported via Joe Person.
Shout out.
Joe Human is letting us know they're splitting it, but we have it on pretty good authority. Baker Mayfield's going to be a starting quarterback there.
Okay.
It sure feels like it, right?
Yeah, it does. Every conversation that we've been a part of behind the scenes sounds like this is Baker's job to lose, and I think we all just understand that at this point, right?
Even publicly, though, I feel like the momentum for Baker seems to be growing every day. Like they'll be pretty soon. They're not going to be splitting first-team reps.
Yeah,
Baker's going to have all of them.
That's what we're thinking, right? And if this New England defense is as good as everybody thinks they're going to be, it would be a great time to get some reps for Baker with this offense against the defense. Now you're splitting them with Darnold, so I guess they're hold on hope that Sam Darnold might end up being the starter. But, I mean, the time to say, hey, this is the guy is approaching, I think. Don't you think, AJ? I think I think the team needs to know who the guy is. Don't you?
Everybody needs to know. Coaches need to know. Players, most importantly, need to know who's going to be there behind center when the first game happens. Now, who knows if he lasts the whole year, but I think, yeah, it seems like that's the play right now.
Yeah, you got to let the people know. And me and AJ might be too mentally weak and soft and dumb to really be able to comprehend and understand how a locker room goes about having 2 potential starting quarterbacks because there's natural human instinct and feelings of being like, oh, I do better when this guy's in. Oh, my life's better when this guy's in. That's just a natural thing for people to do, especially when it's their profession. So we think, and I don't want to speak for you, AJ, but I think you just said it, we believe that everybody needs to know who the fucking guy is sooner than later.
As soon as you can possibly do it, you need to let everybody in that whole building, everyone on the team, even the media, like everyone needs to know who the quarterback is.
I concur. I concur completely, and it feels like it's Baker, but that hasn't been publicly announced, so I guess we shall wait and see how this joint practice goes with the Patriots.
Yeah, Sam Darnold, the most expensive backup in the history of the NFL.
How much did we pay? We paid Jacoby 20.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was 15. Okay.
Was it 15?
That's absurd.
I thought it was 20. I don't know.
I knew the combined was 40-something, so it probably was 20.
Yeah, because what was Phillip Rivers? He was like 22.
20. Oh.
Because he was more than Jacoby. Remember? Because he had to get paid more than Jacoby because he was going to be the starter. We already paid Jacoby 20. But once again, that was to announce, hey, this guy is our starter. That's why that deal was made. So there's a lot of people that agree with us that the starter needs to be known. Trey Lance, Jimmy G situation. Like, there's a lot of function, to knowing who the starter is that goes without, like, the X's and O's on the field there.
Yeah, they brought in Baker to be the starter. Like, they weren't bringing him. If they thought Sam Darnold was going to be the starter, they wouldn't have brought Baker in.
Yeah.
You would think they would maybe move Darnold though.
Yeah, apparently, I mean, there's
If they
been
can.
reports that they have been shopping him, but no one
has
is
no
going to pay
value.
for him. Yeah.
Sam Darnold?
He doesn't. I mean,
What do you mean? He's UFC.
Gotta have some kind of value.
He's handsome.
Well, no, like if he got released, maybe someone would
Yeah.
pick him. I don't think anyone's trading a draft pick for
Isn't
him.
the moral of the story too with OBJ and Baker? Like, if you get out of a toxic, terrible place, like you can really shine as like human beings and be friends again.
Yeah, I think, when you're in it, it's hard to realize how much appreciation you have for each other. Then once you get past it, there's probably bad feelings. But then when you look back, you're happy it happened.
Yeah.
You smile that it happened.
Yeah.
Only the bangers survive. You don't remember the worst times. You remember the
Can't
good
be
times.
friends in the city.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
most breakups, right? I think that's kind of how breakups go.
Yeah, I feel like those guys are going to look back, though, and just be like, wow, we never really took advantage of how good this team was.
Wow, a lot of bullshit kind of got involved there, and we fucked it all up for the entire city of Cleveland.
Yeah.
Well,
and
it's also
you just can't succeed in this
easy.
city, and the organization's terrible.
Easy for OBJ to be happy. He
Yeah.
got out of there and went and won a fucking
Exactly.
Super Bowl. Bakers in Carolina. It's like, hey,
Battle of the Dawn.
hey, we're
No
real tight,
contract.
pal. Thanks for telling me to keep shining. Fuck,
right.
dude. He probably hates his guts still.
No, they got a good relationship, I bet.
Did he respond to the comment?
It's a little easy for OBJ to be excited for Baker than for Baker to be excited
Yeah,
for OBJ.
bingo.
No, Baker was happy to see OBJ go win that
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm sure he was.
He was. He's like, now I want my ring.
Hey, enjoy the Super Bowl ring, and thank you for really tarnishing my legacy and kicking my teeth out while you left. I really appreciate it.
Reputation.
Is that how the phone call went?
Baker might have said that. We don't know. And then OBJ said about that. I'm sorry. OBS
you got it,
just
man.
got
No
Adobe.
problem.
He just got. OBS just got Adobe and
Learn how
Photoshop.
to edit video.
He didn't even know it. He just pieced it together. He didn't. I'm happy to see bygones be bygones. Adults are adults. That's good stuff.
Hell yeah.
Lane Kiffin found the new punter getting drunk at a frat house. I love this. Allegedly, the way this went down, Lane Kiffin and the Ole Miss Rebels had no punter on the roster because somebody got hurt. So they were looking for a punter. Told the boys in the team meeting, hey, you run into anybody on campus that can punt a football, fucking let me know. Lo and behold, one of the players went to a party, was at a keg. Some guy with red hair was pouring it, seemed to be jovial, have a good time. They struck up a conversation. This guy used to punt for the University of Nevada. He entered the transfer portal 2 years ago, didn't get picked up, just went to school at Ole Miss, was living, has at least 3 years left of eligibility, maybe 4 years left of eligibility, was living, having a good time, just being a regular student, has that keg, has that drink, does a red solo cup. I fill you up. You need a punter. And they chug the beer. Next day, Lane Kiffin learns about him. Charlie Pollock goes into practice. Lane Kiffin sees this guy. And Lane Kiffin goes up to him and says, when was the last time you worked out, dude? Seems like you've gotten a little bigger. And the guy goes, yeah, I was just living like a college student for a while. I apologize for that. Lane goes, can you still punt? He hits a bomb, and Lane goes, fucking A, we got a punter. This is going to be the story that everybody's going to remember. This is going to be a life changer for you and a team changer for us. And then Lane Kiffin was asked to talk about it in press conference, and this is literally how he described the situation we just broke down.
Hey, you guys have also added a punter to your roster. Can you talk a little bit about him?
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about him. I think he was down at the frat house, like at a keg party or something, where they got him from. So we got some conditioning work to do with my guy. But we just said, hey, someone go find a punter around campus. And so we found one that actually used to punt in Division I. So you never know.
You never know. Fuck. Let's go. He said we got some conditioning work to do with my guy. That means like one of the first conversations with him, the Charlie Pollock, the punter, was like, I'm in bad shape right now, coach, but I'll get in shape. And Lane's like, yeah, you're damn right. Yeah. So him saying my guy means that they have talked about that probably in a positive fashion.
Does it matter though?
No. Well, yeah.
If you can punt it, who cares if you're 700 pounds?
So there's a lot to it with your knees, your joints, your muscles, and also punting involves a lot of leg swings. So like my gut used to get in the way, used to get in the way. So that's why anytime you see a bigger body kicking a ball, I have a lot of respect and appreciation for them because what their body's going through. But the natural evolution is normally getting a better shape because you got to hit the ball higher as you get older. And the only way you can go higher is, and sometimes the old gut can get away. Don't want to body shame anybody because this guy's an incredible athlete. Presley Harvin, punter for the Steelers. since college, great athlete, powerhouse, much bigger than most punters. And I think I said that night, like, he's going to have to, find his adult shape. But with how strong his leg is, he's only going to get better and better. I think he's lost like 20 pounds this offseason.
Wow.
I think he's like his legs should be able to move. His knees will be happier. His muscles will be happier. Everything just gets better. I used to think, though, why fix what isn't broke? Like, I eat pizza. I drink beer.
What?
I don't really do much upper body, and the ball goes a long way. So I'm not going to change anything. It's what got me to the dance. I'm not going to change it. But then, like, I finally got to the point where I'm like, oh, if I get in shape, like, everything's better. Oh, I should have done this a long time ago. I should have taken this much more serious. And everybody kind of meets that differently. Charlie Pollock's going to be a fucking stud this year. And shout out to Lane Kiffin inviting the entire, campus basically to be a member of their team. You can punt a ball, you can join us. You just need to not be fat. And I love everything about it.
Was it the same for like kicking in college? Like, is it still apply? It's the same deal. Like, you can't be fat if you're going to be out.
You can in college, though, I think. Like, when you're young, you can get away with it all.
College is different, though, with that little Aussie punt. They don't have to have a high leg swing.
Yeah, punting, you can hit a low line. Like, kicking, I don't think, like, it affects you as much because your leg isn't going straight up. It's kind of like going across. But the younger everybody knows, your muscles react different. As you get older, like, things have to, you rent some things from other things. Like, when you're just eating a lot, like, there's something else happening to your body as well. It's just you got to take care of it all. And some of us have struggles with that because we got great taste buds that enjoy good tasting stuff.
That's right.
But Charlie Pollock's going to be all the way back. That guy, look for that guy to have a hell of a season. Look for him to be on scholarship soon. Congrats to him and congrats to Lane Kiffin. And congrats to this man that's joining us right now. Because for another year, this makes the 10th straight year?
12th, actually.
12th straight year that the Third and Goal Foundation has put together a golf outing that has been a smashing success and raised a lot of money for the military and troops, I believe, with homes and making things more accessible. He's not only a star quarterback formerly of Notre Dame and in the NFL, you can see him on Big Noon Kickoff Show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you can also see him in the family reunion for AJ Hawk. You can see his big, handsome face on radio, I believe, every day. And you can hear him burying the Jets on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brady Quinn. What's up, dude?
Thanks for having me, guys. Hey, can I chime in on this whole punting conversation? Is a gut the only thing that can get in the way as your leg swings up? Can I just throw that out there? I'm curious to see what AJ is going to do with that.
Yeah, you're talking about a hammer, obviously, and you lose the ball every once in a while. I've had a couple of these situations after a punt. You got to do like the thighs. You know what I mean, the thighs. But the gut gets in the way, Brady. That is something you've never known. You've had a 10-pack your whole life. You handsome. You would never understand, Brady.
There's zero truth to that. Zero truth to that. I think they let me punt like they do the quick kick, which I never really understood, but I think Charlie Weiss let me do it a couple times in college, and both were pretty awful. So that was my punting days were over pretty quick.
Well, at least you gave it a go. You know who punts better than you, if I had to guess?
Who's that?
Zach Wilson.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. What's your deal with Zach Wilson? Hey, I'm going to put this quote back up that you said. Was this morning you said this or last night?
It would have been neither. Let's see.
Oh, okay.
This is a couple days ago.
Okay, a couple days ago. Yeah. Despite the injury, Zach Wilson looked awful in that preseason game. Can we just acknowledge the media continually try to make Zach Wilson something, ? The media wants this to work out so badly, and it's kind of tough to listen to, quite honestly. I've never seen a QB get so much love from the media for doing less than Wilson in a long time. Once he got selected in the draft, I had my concerns. He's smaller, so he's subject to injury. He didn't play against elite schools in college, and he's staring down targets. All of these things have played out. I hope he recovers from this, but I don't get the media love. They'd be good with Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback, but they won't make that move because they've invested so much in Zach Wilson. So your problem isn't with Zach Wilson per se, it's just with the media love of this guy. And do you feel this because of, if any other quarterback played the way he played, they'd be getting murdered? Do you feel like you're doing a service for every other quarterback that has maybe gotten murdered, and that's why you have such a feeling towards this? Because you sound like a hater, Brady. You sound like a hater.
Yeah, and then maybe that does come off that way. I think nowadays, unfortunately in the media, it's hard to not if you're ever critical. Sure. And I think I'm more just kind of critical of the coverage of it, only because Sam Darnold's, who's a young man who I got to see coming out from USC. And I thought from calling his games, from watching his tape, bigger kid, just as athletic, if not more athletic, probably had just as much arm talent, probably upside, but got thrown into a bad situation with the New York Jets, and I think you saw how that obviously worked out in his career. And, now he's in Carolina trying to fight just to stay alive for something. With Zach Wilson, it was like there was all this hype about it, and you kind of saw his rookie season. And meanwhile, like we've seen other rookies go out there that have been thrusted into it, like a Joe Burrow, for example. Early on, didn't play much, but still looked the part. Justin Herbert, Tyrod Taylor got stabbed before a game in the lung and punctured a lung. Yeah. Justin Herbert's like, all right, my time to go in. He's balled out ever since. So it's just odd. Like, I don't hear the media clamoring over Justin Herbert. And everyone likes him. I think they acknowledge what he's done. But, he doesn't get the same type of acknowledgement as it feels like maybe some of the other top guys should. So it's more of just looking at, I think it was really the New York media market specifically. Yeah. That I just think they're dying for a team to have success. They're dying for a guy to work out and be the guy. And I don't think it's been warranted yet. That's all I've kind of pointed out. But I think even all the stuff about the MILF coverage and all that, it's like, all right, that's fun, right? Yeah. Like everyone's saying, he's into cougars or older women. All right, that's his own prerogative. But who cares? That doesn't have anything to do with football.
Come on. He's a dog, right? We didn't think he was a dog. Like we saw draft night, he had we had no idea. And then we hear this story about him just going to his mom's little friends gathering and being like, "You tonight, then you tomorrow." Like that. We learned a lot about this Zach Mormon. Sorry, no offense to all Mormons, but a Mormon Zach Wilson guy that made us think, oh, this dude is a dog, potentially. You put that in with a no-look sidearm dart in training camp, you piece those two things together, you're going to get a lot of us going, this guy's a guy. But you're saying on the field, it just hasn't been a warranted conversation yet, and you're not ready to kind of hand over to the crown yet to Zach Wilson.
No, that's all. I just don't think it's warranted the discussion of like, okay, he's the future there yet. And I think they've got a long ways ahead. This is a team that's a young team. They've got more talented over the offseason, but I'm not ready to buy in on that yet. It's kind of similar to like Trey Lance. Like everyone's raving about his preseason debut. That's great, but can we pump the brakes? We wait and see what happens once we get to actual regular season games. Like, that's what the actual games are played.
You want everybody to stink, Brady? What's your deal?
No, it has anything to do with that.
AJ, your question. It's hater in the family.
We tend to overreact about a lot of things. And then the problem is we build people up only to literally sweep their legs, man. Yeah. And that's the only thing is, like, can we just, like, be patient with the whole process of all this? Because the hardest thing is some of these guys – they get built up so much, then when they fail, they don't give it any time to grow. People are like, okay, let's move on to the next guy. It's like, well, that's not how it works. Like, sometimes it takes you a few years to find your way. Joe Burrow had to go to LSU to eventually have the greatest season we ever saw in college football. He got drafted at 24. It took him some more time before he get on the field and showcase what he was capable of. Now we look at him as like a guy who's going to compete for a Super Bowl. So that's all I'm saying is I think we're just so quickly to anoint guys, and then we're quickly to tear them down. I remember Carson Wentz after the first 3 weeks, his rookie year. Right. They were named at Pennsylvania. And we were like, hold on a second, man. Can we wait and see what happens here? Can we wait and see how this whole thing plays out? So that's all it is. It's just more like patience with the way we go about anointing. It's like the Instagram world. Like we see these highlights on Instagram, we're like, well, that's what it is. That's what they are. Everyone's life's like that. Every play, every throw is going to be like that. Yeah. That's what we ventured into.
Yeah. Social media is real. Go ahead, AJ, please.
Brady, you mentioned Carson Wentz. I want to pivot quick from Zach Wilson. How do you think it plays out there in Washington? We know there's been different reports from camp. There was a testy interview that he had that the president stood up for him. How do you think their season goes, and how does Carson Wentz do?
Trey Wingo is not happy.
No. Yeah. Is he ever happy?
Well, I don't know. Is that a thing? I don't know.
I don't know.
What's Brady's deal? Hey, Brady, you just hop right into Thunderdome, huh? You just go, hey, where's Thunderdome? Let me dive right into it. Who wants it? Is Trey Wingo ever fucking happy? Chief Trade Officer? Oh, you tell me.
I'm just saying. Why can't I pose the question?
That's a great question.
I think they're a sleeper for the NFC East. I think he's going to have a great year. I think... I'm not sure what happened in Indy. Statistically, it wasn't the worst play in the world last year. You go back, watch some of it, you're going, hey, this is a guy who's in a new team, new system. He's learning some of the ropes there with some of the players he's throwing to. Like, yeah, you have familiarity with Frank Reich, but the reality is, some things have probably changed since they had last worked together. So you're working through some of that. You're working with guys you hadn't had a chance to play with before. All those things kind of play into it. And really, when you go back and watch it, Yeah, there were some really bad plays, like the left-handed interception when he's backed up against his own goal line that ended up going for a pick six. That was obviously one of them. And he didn't finish great down the stretch, but like they didn't finish great necessarily as a team either. So,
Whoa.
What? I'm just saying, I think they were a talented team that could have finished a little higher, but if you would have given them second year, I think you would have been better there.
Do you watch? You actually said you watched. You just did like the. If you watch it, you didn't though. You just watched a couple of the games.
I try to watch as much as I can. So it's hard to kind of find that fine balance between college, NFL, and watching all of it. You're consuming obviously a lot of games, but
He threw 7 picks in one half that got dropped.
Yeah.
7, I think, in one half. I think I saw him throw 7. San Francisco, rainy day. The team is on defense the players on defense for a reason. Normally can't catch. He was hitting guys right in the chest for the Niners. 6, 7 different times. One half they dropped them all. So watching him play was a problem.
First year in the system. First year, I think that's going to be the case for a lot of guys who transfer to a new system. But again, I don't think it's quite as bad as we're making it out. It was bad. He wasn't the worst quarterback in the league last year. Can we acknowledge that? He was not the worst quarterback in the league.
Zach Wilson.
Bro.
I didn't say that. I don't know who said that. I didn't say that.
But he sounds like you're co-signing it all of a sudden. He was a cardiac arrest to watch, though. That is the last thing you want at quarterback, isn't it? Don't you think that's the last thing you want at quarterback? Don't you think quarterback's supposed to be like the model of consistency? Like, care about the ball, care about the program. You know, if you have an MVP playing running back, not check out of runs so that you can build your stats up a little bit when you got Jonathan Taylor in the back. That was potentially happening, allegedly happening. I think the good plays from Carson's real, but at this stage of the game, don't you think like the bonehead decisions that he was making on a regular basis is not like a $30 million quarterback, a veteran quarterback? If it's a first year, second year, third year even maybe, you like kind of let that stuff happen. But now an established paid quarterback, at what point do you go like, hey, this guy's never going to be able to be an NFL quarterback because he's great high school quarterback, great college quarterback, backyard football. I want Carson Wentz on my team every single game that I'm playing in. But in the NFL, like the quarterback is beholden to the game, I think. And like he just doesn't have that. Do you think he can learn that? Is that something?
Yeah, look, I think all guys can do a better job of taking care of the football, but there's a fine line.
All guys. Aaron has like the top 7 fucking touchdowns to interceptions ratio. I don't know if he can get better, Bray.
Well, he's talentedly, ridiculously talented too, as far as his accuracy and all that. Not everyone has his talent or accuracy. But you also can't ask someone to change some of what they do when they make some of those plays. Like, I don't know how much you watched Philly early on when Carson was there. It was a more talented team around him when they won a Super Bowl. Granted, he wasn't part of that. It was Foles. But still, when you go back and watch some of that tape, he was making some of those plays. Before he got injured, he was scrambling around, shrugging guys off. He looked like a young Ben Roethlisberger. And I don't remember people talking about some of the bonehead plays then. It was like we were almost saying, well, hey, that's part of his game. That's what he is, man. Like, he's going to extend the play and make a play downfield. And so that's the hard thing is like, when you go back and watch some of the throws that Patrick Mahomes makes, you know, that's not like what you're teaching your kids. Like I just was with AJ back in Ohio. We were talking to Hendricks. Like, I would never teach him to throw back across his body, but Patrick Mahomes has the ability to do that. And then there might become a time and place where he has to do that. So how do you weigh that fine line? So look, honestly, like when I saw some of the bad throws, it felt like he was pressing. It felt like he was a guy that knew that he was on his second chance with a team that had a head coach that's familiar with him, and that was the opportunity he was going to get, and he had to make something out of it. And that's a tough spot to be in the NFL where, like, this is your dream, man. And if it doesn't work out, that's probably it. And now you're relegated to being a backup if you're in the league, and that's an entirely different experience when you're just sitting there holding a clipboard, when you're actually out there and you are the guy. So back to the original question, like I am high on the Washington Commanders. I think he's going to have a good season. I think it's a talented roster, and I think people are going to be a little bit maybe surprised. I know they've talked about inaccuracy or whatever else people have said. He'll be fine once the games start coming around.
Never about inaccuracy. Always just about his decision making. And I didn't know. You think that he'll be able to change that? I'm excited for it. Also, interesting take by you. Kind of like going for a fake punt or going for it on fourth. If those plays are going your way, you're a hero. If they're going against you, you're an idiot. That's just how football is, I guess, which kind of pivots me to this question. I'm excited to watch Carson Wentz play well. And I will say, Colts fans, I don't think anybody wishes Carson ill. Like, we hope Carson does well, but we're very excited not to have to deal with him, I think. Not have to deal with the watching of it. I think it's difficult. Now, let's pivot away from that. Let's go to Brandon Staley talking about the process in which he decides to go for it on 4th down. He's a big yes unless guy as opposed to a no unless guy. So basically they know going into every single drive that they're going to go for it on 4th and 4 or less, or they're not going to go for it. But normally it's a yes, we're going to go for it, unless Brandon Staley says no. What are your thoughts on the much more aggressive tactics that the Chargers have shown, the Colts have shown, many other teams have shown over the past? Do you think it's going to continue to grow, or do you think inevitably people will get gun shy on this if the biggest moments continue to go the wrong way for the teams that are being the most aggressive, like we kind of saw last year in the NFC games?
I think it's going to continue to grow, one, with some of the younger coaches who tend to be more aggressive and maybe more reading into some of the analytics. That's part of it. I think the other issue is like when you're going for it, you're basically saying two things. I believe in my quarterback. Like, you love the guy you've got enough to go for it, and you believe that he's going to get it more often than not, more than 50% of the time, right? And then you believe in your defense. Like, you're really saying both things. Because if you don't get it, you're like, hey, I know my defense will be able to take care of this. So I love the approach. He was actually who I was going to say in regards to when you're talking about, like, he'll probably win a Super Bowl at some point in his career. And if he's a part of some of the decision-making process on 4th downs and all that, we're going to look back and we're going to say exactly what you said. It's because of his aggressiveness. But then there's also those moments in the Super Bowl history where you see, like, hey, they should have handed off to Marshawn instead of trying to throw a pass on the goal line. And maybe we look at the Seattle Seahawks and Pete Carroll and that whole dynasty different, right? So, like, those decisions largely come down to like a make or break how we view you. But I think it's going to work out in the long run for him.
I'm so fascinated by it. I led off the show talking about it, that I hate the all analytics people and all data people and all book people, because it kind of pawns accountability off, Like, if somebody says, well, the book told me that 65% of the time I'm going to go, it's like, I would like somebody to sit in there and be like, yeah, here's the information, here's my feel, we're going for it. And then all, fingers kind of go to somebody as opposed to, well, this is it and this is it. You know what I mean, Brady? He's just saying,
the guy who wrote the book's the one who's on the chopping block, right? There's someone behind the data and analytics, right?
No, there
that's the guy
because it's a group study normally, right? It's like a group of people.
You're firing all of them, and you're firing more people, more nerds to come back with the data analytics, and you fire all of them next time, because obviously those data analytics weren't the right ones. That's what you do. You fire the entire room.
What's that all about, Brady? He doesn't like you?
I don't know. Did he just log off?
He just hung up. He just hung up.
The hell?
He's probably got a contractor there right now.
Hey, they're building that house up, huh? Your sister just redesigns houses every week, right? That's her thing?
There's a lot going on. She does a great job, though. If you haven't, check out her Instagram account. I don't even know the name of it, but check that out.
Good brother.
AJ can throw that out. But no, literally, we were talking about this yesterday. He was like, yeah, there's pretty much a guy with a jackhammer outside the studio every other day that I at some point have to tell to be quiet, or Pat's like, hey, what's that in the background? It's like, it's a guy with a jackhammer. They're jackhammering stuff all the time over there.
Well, they're always making things better. That's the Hawk way.
Yeah,
exactly. That's the, geez, I just got hitting a dong by the guitar there. Joining us again from Ohio, AJ Hawk. Welcome back, AJ. Great to see you, pal. Brady, how'd the golf outing go yesterday? We raised a bunch of money. Did AJ put on a show? Did he crash any golf carts?
I don't think he sunk or submerged or crashed any golf carts. I will say this, though. His brother, Ryan Hawk, a week after having an appendectomy, showed up to support the cause and golfed in it, which I was like, all right, ball's in your court, Legend. Joe Burrow. Took you 2 weeks to come back to practice. Ryan Hawk's out here competing in a very physical golf outing. So
all Ohio guys, man. I mean, look at Ryan Hawk.
Ryan Hawk. Ryan Hawk. Ryan Hawk.
Keep it appendicitis faster than anybody out there swinging a stick. I watched him beat the shit out of Lake Tahoe at like 4 a.m. a couple days. It was, he's a specimen, that guy. Your whole family's ridiculous. Was Jack Johnson there, AJ?
Jack was not able to play. He had a kid, his son's birthday that we stopped by before, but he had to stick at that.
Oh, I thought now that he's Stanley Cup champion.
There's more of a backstory to that. The event happened to fall on Ty, his son's birthday, but he's also gotten pretty hammered the past few years there. My little sister, tends to get pretty irate. So it probably was one of those, like, she scheduled the birthday party on this specific date, for that reason.
Good move.
So you're telling me that your little sister says, I know what Brady and Chopper got bouncing around. I need to keep Jack Johnson, the Stanley Cup winning drunk ass away from that. Let's make something that's more important for this day. But my older brother won't be able to come to his nephew's birthday. Fuck it. Granddad won't be able to. Fuck it. Keep Jack away from Chopper and Brady. Is that what happened?
Pretty much. I mean, I think you summed it up better than AJ or I could.
Your family is the best. Do you guys ever think about that? Do you ever think about how ridiculous your family is? We should get a reality show on this thing, don't you think?
I've tried to talk to AJ about it. He's declined every time.
What?
Shocker.
What's that all about, Brady? You think it's because AJ's just a toxic piece of shit? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. Jesus.
That sure sounded like it.
It sounded like
AJ, I didn't like
canceled.
the way he said that, AJ. I did not like the way he said that at all. You know what I mean?
The funniest thing is one of the best characters, and AJ can speak to this, is probably would be Oz, who was there for the first Blue Jacket golf outing. He's kind of the guy that no one knows in that picture that we had spread around last time.
He's a glue guy, yeah.
Is he a member of the family, or is he just like kind of somebody showing up like Greg?
No, he's a member of the family. We consider him that. I mean, he's not actual family, but he's a member of
So
the
he's
family.
like the pizza guy in the Kardashians who eats food.
Yeah, but what's his name?
What?
Greg. Is
Yeah,
the-
cousin Greg.
Cousin Greg.
But he is technically part of the family.
Yeah, he's in the family.
Yeah, he is part of the bloodline, I guess.
All talking about you, cousin Greg.
So it's just some doofus that's part of the family you guys all love. He's part of the family now?
I wouldn't describe him as a doofus. He's the man.
That's a little rude to me. I didn't mean that. You don't understand. He's entertaining to the family. The family loves this guy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would say AJ, like top 4 characters, would number 1 be Chopper. Number 2 would be Grandma Peg. She's fantastic. Number 3 would be AJ, and then I'd put Ozzy right up there too. That'd be the top 4.
Pistol.
Yeah.
How about
Pistol
your
would be up there.
How about your little sister scheduling a birthday party on the same day as your family's biggest golf outing? I mean, your little sister seems to be quite a savage as well. Let's not.
She is. She'd be right there with Laura though. Like those two would be neck and neck. It'd be tough to pick between those two. So they'd be trying to duke it out for somewhere in that 5-6 spot.
Is General Bob also a member of the family like Oz?
Who are we referring to?
Oh! Whoa!
General Bob.
Oh my!
Jesus.
What's that all about, AJ?
What?
What's just happened here?
What, he didn't know you? Oh, General Bobby Carpenter, he's saying.
Oh, Bobby?
He doesn't
Yeah.
know that Bobby saved football.
Guy hates the troops.
I got to be honest with you. I did not know we called Bobby Carpenter General Bob. I've never heard that before.
He saved football, dude. He rallied the troops. He's a goddamn general.
Was that when he was protesting shirtless with the rest of the Ohio State players to bring football back?
Yes.
Yes.
So you do know.
Okay. Well, I never understood why he was shirtless, but I understood the protest.
Right, organized.
Well, he wasn't just shirtless. He sent out some tweets with some addresses for people to go picket outside of in the middle of a pandemic. Yeah, he rallied the troops. He got Big Ten football back.
He did.
Yeah. Now, there was some presidential candidates that said, I say football. And we immediately had to go, whoa, 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 whoa.
Slow down.
General Bob Carpenter was the man on the front lines over here in Big Ten.
Shirtless.
Yeah.
He was shirtless.
How do you feel about Notre Dame right now? You know, how do you feel about it?
I feel good. I feel like we got a pretty tough challenge week 1. I mean,
Michigan.
I don't. What's that?
It's at Michigan, right?
No, at Ohio State. At Ohio State.
Oh, I thought it was Michigan. I thought you
Is that quarterback good? They had a quarterback competition, right?
Yeah, Tyler Buckner's been announced to start. Yeah, he's good. 4-star recruit out of San Diego. Athletic, kind of adds that different element to it.
Better than Jack.
But dude, I mean, AJ, you played there. It's a night game with 100,000 people who'll be boozing the entire time.
Bob.
Going up against a team that I feel like has the red ass for like what happened last year. So it's just it's funny. I think Paul Feinbaum came out and kind of thought Notre Dame's rated too high, whatever else, because they're going to get beat week 1. I'm like, everyone who plays Ohio State this year is probably going to lose. Like they're next to Alabama. They're the best team in the country right now. That's how I'd rank those two teams.
Do you think they put Notre Dame top 5 at 5 just strictly because if they win that game, noted. But if they don't, also independent TV contracts, we have to have them be worth something. Did you feel that when you were at Notre Dame? Like, hey, we're going to get ranked high regardless? Did you feel that, Brady?
No, trust me. When I was first there, we were ranked we weren't ranked very often the first couple of years. It kind of took us to build into it. So I never felt like we got any favor from the media. We almost had to like earn back some respect just to get ranked at that point because of how the first couple of years went. But no, I think if you really look at college football, and outside of Alabama and Ohio State, and I think people are going to be upset that I don't mention Georgia, but you lost a lot on defense in Georgia. Those are the best two teams. I think you could honestly, at 3 to 10, you could rank those teams a bunch of different ways. You really could at this point. because who the hell knows? We don't see preseason. We haven't seen how these kids are going to react under the lights, against a good football team.
Also, a bunch of millionaires now, too. We don't know how these young guys are going to react as millionaires going into college football. I mean, it's a whole new world. Could you imagine if your handsome ass could have got NIL deals at Notre Dame?
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Dakotas. I just saw Dakotas with an air
That was
conditioning.
sweet.
Yeah,
that
it
was sweet.
It was sweet.
Dakotas Crawford, I think is his name.
Yeah, he's going to be a guy in Lincoln, Nebraska. I had no idea they weren't allowed to say the school's name. I thought this guy got an NIL deal for the University of Lincoln. That's what I thought, because they just kept saying Lincoln, Lincoln, Lincoln. So the players can't say the school's name, right?
I think they have to have, the permission, right? You got to have some sort of trademark, and you have to have permission from the school, I assume, to use their logo and name, all that good stuff.
Well, the air conditioning company said, we ain't going to school. We need to go to the Dakotas guy. We don't need the goddamn whole entire school. So at the University of Lincoln, Dakotas, this was the air conditioning commercial that hit the internet yesterday that everybody on earth said, what a brilliant marketing strategy for said company that we do not know the name of. Go ahead and run this thing.
I'm so glad we called SOS. Our AC is the coldest.
I'm always the coldest. Hey, this is Dakota Crawford, wide receiver from Louisiana. Now I'm playing in Lincoln. When your AC isn't the coldest, you call SOS Heating and Cooling. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed.
How about that?
Take it from the coldest.
10 years.
We keep you cool this summer.
Hell yeah, SOS.
Great song.
Is that not perfect? I'm going to SOS if I need any heating or air. General Bob's got one too, but he could have hired Dakotas. He chose not to, so I got to do what I got to do there. How do you feel about the NIL deals? Did you think about that at all? Because you were, You were propped up in the national media every single week of the back half of your career, I guess, in Notre Dame. Notre Dame, a lot of money, a lot of partners. Brady, you could have been.
Are they competing, though? Brady, can Notre Dame compete in the NIL world? Are they paying people like everybody else?
It's an interesting question to ask. Look, I think they can. I think, they're going to do things the right way. They'll probably be a little slower of how they want to go about doing it, but it's a national.
What's the right way, though? There's no rules. What's the right way?
There are rules. I mean, look, here's the thing is you can't be paying these kids who are PSAs, prospective student athletes, whether they're in high school or whether they're in the transfer portal, you can't be offering them deals. And that's the problem is a lot of these collectives are, and it's technically illegal. There's just no one enforcing that. So that's the right and wrong way. Now, there are certain states, though, where you are able to make money in high school. Like California, for example, they were one of the first to implement the ability to earn on your NIL in high school. The hard thing is it gives USC, you'd think, a huge advantage over everyone else, and especially because their state laws in the state of California allow the university to help facilitate these deals, which that's different, for example, for the state of Indiana.
It doesn't have a state income tax, though.
Well, that's going to be an issue for them, sure. But hopefully all the kids have an attorney and paying taxes. And that's the biggest thing. But that's honestly what I worry about the most is like the lack of financial literacy with some of these kids. And just like when I think about it, I'm a dad now. I'm like, all right, I got to think more responsibly. Yeah, it would have been awesome to be able to throw huge keggers and parties or whatever else with NIL money. But you look at it now and you go, these kids are going to have to learn how to pay taxes. They're going to have to learn how to understand like how all that works. And you hope that this doesn't put some of them in trouble. And I think the other thing you hope is that, I think some of these kids have people who obviously are good advisors helping them along. There are others who are like, hey, I just met my uncle 6 months ago. All of a sudden he really wants to be involved in my life. And you're going, where'd this guy come from?
Yeah.
I think those people are coming out of the woodwork now. And that's one of those things where you hope there's a measure, there's some sort of protection. And it sounds terrible to say this, but to protect the young people from some of the adults in the room.
No, 1,000%. I said this a couple of days ago. Everybody just always buries any athlete that the mom comes out and says something against, or anybody like the mom is no longer talking to the thing. Everybody's like, oh, why would you ever do it to your mom? Not all moms are storybook moms. Not all dads are movie dads. Not all uncles care about their nephews. Like there is plenty of situation in the world if you remove yourself from the very nice situation that you potentially had and potentially go into a very real situation that a lot of guys have to experience while they're going through this entire process. Like there's some, And those families can grandstand, you know, in those situations, be like, oh, I'll take care of. And then I've seen some families really fuck their kids over. Like, I've watched it happen. And it's like, damn, you don't really expect that to ever take place. But then you see how the narrative gets built that it's the player's fault because didn't take care of the mom the way, or dad take care of dad the way. It's like, I don't know if this is how this is actually going down, but you could see how people can kind of prey on that almost. You know what I mean, Brady?
100%. And I think you got to think about, too, you know, even if the kid doesn't play very long in the NFL, there will be ramifications for the play, the physicality of football that play a part in their life later on. And so you hope they have the right people that help them save some of it. I mean, you know, God forbid, you know, this is the most amount of money they'll ever make in their life, right? Like, that's a scary thought to think. You know, and another thing is just, and it kind of plays into the whole NIL, is like the transfer portal. There's literally thousands of kids now in the transfer portal going school to school to school. And I'm all for them having their shot and their opportunity, but like, if you keep having to move school to school, maybe that's kind of telling you something.
Whoa!
Well, I'm just saying, like, maybe this isn't going to work out the way you think it's going to, and at some point you better get your degree and figure out like what plan B is in life. You know, that's what I worry about for all the kids who are transferring. Then they're like, all right, I'm draft eligible, I'm trying to go get drafted. They don't get drafted. Then they're looking around going, man, I don't have a network. I don't have an alumni base to go back to. I don't have a degree. What do I do now? And that's what I worry about, like, with where college football is at, is the concern for, like, does a degree matter anymore? No. Not only to the kid, but like to the parents. And then with some of these NIL deals, like, yeah, it's good money. It's helping to take care of some of the stuff that I think, you know, when I was in college, I worried about just having enough gas money to get back to Columbus, Ohio, or, you know, put food on the table and all that. Because, you know, you didn't have enough. And now they have unlimited meals. They've taken care of kids better. But, you know, that's the kind of stuff that I think a lot of this money's going towards, is taking care of that. But you wonder, for those big deals, do they have the right people taking care of these kids and making sure they're saving it?
I don't like your self-awareness speech. Not at all. You hear me, Brady? I don't like it, not one bit. Very real, but I don't like that you had to give it. AJ and I talked about the human experiment, too, that we're going to find out 5-10 years from now. Could you have, and maybe you could because you're Brady Quinn and, you know, you're Brady Quinn and you're AJ, so, like, you guys are, I feel like, robots. Could you imagine some of those college workouts as an 18-year-old with $2 million in your bank account? I'll tell you what. I know what I would have said. And I'm a piece of shit. So, like, Mike Barwas, our strength coach, is trying to make me do 4/5 around, like 21 10s and all these 40s and stuff like that. And I got $1 million in my bank account already. I'm going to be tough to handle. And also, I think my hamstring hurts. Like, you know, like, it is. I'll be excited to see, because you got to be super mentally tough to be waking up in satin sheets in college, driving a G-Wagon, and still put in all the work that is necessity, basically, to make it to the NFL for most guys. I think that's another aspect that we kind of talked about that won't be, you know, headlines, but 5-10 years from now, I think we'll wonder, like, what if this guy woke up every day motivated, like, I need to still go. I need to still go. And that's something that also gets kind of lost in the cracks of all this, I think, Brady.
No, it's a great question, great perspective. I mean, people talk about it all the time in the NFL, like, guys make it and then they feel like they're satisfied either because they signed that big deal or just because they got drafted into it. That's usually not really what plays a role. Maybe it is in some ways. But it's a good thought. I think the one safeguard you'd probably have against that is, depending on, you know, when that kid is receiving this deal or how that's working out, look, I mean, if they're in the doghouse with the coach, with the strength coach, which, you know how important, you know how important Mike Barwas was.
Yes.
Still has a huge impact. That's who Jack Johnson trains with, you know, down here in the offseason. He still trains with
hey, Jack just won a Stanley Cup. I assume he's not going back to Barwas. You know what I mean? Like that. No, maybe.
Just down there last week.
Oh,
I got to train with him last week. I promise you.
I talk to Barwas on text every once in a while because, like, when I need like a little juice, I'll text Barwas. I'm like, hey, I need a little something. He's like, he'll send me a reminder of who I am, you know, and I fucking need that from him. But then I think about some of the workouts we did, and I'm like, never in a fucking million years could I get through that.
Dude, you know what, though? I'm a little off. Maybe AJ can attest to this because he can tell a story about my trainer when I was young was Mike Durant. And Mike's like the most positive, amazing dude ever, but we had some of the most ridiculous workouts. It's like when I'm in like junior high school. And I was thinking to myself, like, how the hell and why the hell did I do any of that? But it was awesome. I mean, it was like...
Yes, needed it.
And that was, so back to the initial point. Like, I do think that there's a certain element of, even though the kid's going to have that in his bank account, you know, if you're in the doghouse with a strength coach, which they have a huge impact on college football programs, what the head coach thinks of these kids, you're probably not getting on the field as much. If you're not getting on the field as much, you're probably not able to earn some of those NIL deals. But that's more of kind of where I think that path would go if you started missing stuff and not showing up. Because then it becomes a cancer, right?
Yes.
If you got a guy who's going to make that sort of money and then not show up to workouts, and all the rest of the boys or fellas are saying, well, this guy's not going, why should I work my butt off then, right?
Yes.
And what's the point of that? So I think you got to be careful of that. I think strength coaches, whether it's Mike Barwis or Mickey Marotti when I was there for the first couple of years, or whoever else. I mean, I don't know. AJ, who do you guys have at Ohio State?
Al Johnson during my time, and they've had a few since then. But yeah, Eric Lichter came after me. So yeah, you're with those guys so many hours every single day of the week for 4 straight years. Yeah, they mold who you are, I think.
Is Barwis yelling at Jack Johnson still? Like, is that happening right? Like,
I think Jack wants that. I mean, he tries to get AJ to yell at him sometimes.
hey, Barwis only goes. I think Barwis only knows one way. I honestly believe, and it's a fucking. It is a lot of energy. It is very upbeat, and it is going to be. Hey, you're going to sign up for something today. Like when you walk in there, yeah. I used to walk in there, and Barwis tell this story. I don't think this is breaking news to anybody. I'd walk in there, obviously, off a couple hours. I just got done with the night before, just a few hours before then. I'd walk in there smelling terrible, and everybody knew what the deal was. It would get talked about, and I would maybe even puke a little bit, but I'd finish every single one. And Barwis and his wife would be like, "You having a good time, McAfee?" Like it is. But I needed that, like I fucking needed that at the time. If I got $40,000 out in loans and I fucking acted a fool. I couldn't even imagine these deals, but I am too mentally weak to really be a guy, so we shouldn't assume that that's everybody. Go ahead, your question for Brady Tone.
Brady, can I paint a picture for you here? Say it's September 3rd, it's around 11 a.m. You look to your left on set. Is Urban Meyer there?
No one will be there because we're actually not going to be on September 3rd. What? We'll be opening. And I don't know that I should really get into this because I don't think we've talked about our schedule yet. Everything else.
Oh, break some news!
Come on, Brady. Coming back.
You're going to get me in trouble with everyone at Fox, man.
Okay, so what's going on? You got Urban Meyer back on TV. You guys are you guys keeping him in a set and you guys are traveling around so you can just send it back to him so he doesn't have to experience all the signs and crowds and everything like that?
Nothing has been announced as far as what's happened with our crew. We are going to be on the road the entire season, though, which is going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a blast. It is going to be
not
a blast.
For everybody.
Now, are you guys traveling? I think that's the question. Can we get you guys to come out on the road?
You don't want us building signs for that show. You got a lot too much money and access to too many things. True. We're covering college football this year. Did you hear about that?
I did. That's why I'm excited for you guys, man.
Thank you, dude. You probably couldn't stop in those, huh? With us, probably not. I assume that would be a thing.
We'll make something work out. You and Age, I got to. I mean, look at that guy. Look at that guy. Look at the old Hawks.
Fox is good. Fox is usually good at letting you bounce around. You work for CBS too.
That's true. I do work on their digital platform. Yeah.
Oh, so CBS got your digital platform rights, and Fox has your linear.
I mean, I was gonna say, Age, I need to get like you and Pat on the phone. We'll figure out this whole thing as far as who has my rights and all that. Pat, am I going the right route? You've obviously been very successful at building this, so
no.
I'm gonna need some business advice, buddy.
Brady, listen, I feel like you probably handle business a lot differently than me. I think you should continue to do as such. It seems to be working out. You do not want my advice. It is not great because, when I look back on some of the decisions that have been made and some of the things that I've said to people, I will, just like Barwis' workout, I go, well, that was an interesting thing to go through. I didn't like the tone of a contract once, Brady, so I stopped talking to him.
Meaning, hold on real quick.
Yeah. I didn't like
verbal offer, or is this like the writing? Like you looked at the ink and you go, you know what? I don't like their tone on this. They use Times New Roman. I don't like that. I wish it was Arial or something else.
Listen, we're not talking about the font.
I don't. Oh, okay.
That's a font. I'm talking about said tone of like ownership almost throughout the entire thing. And I'm like, well, that ain't gonna happen. And if you're even putting that on paper, I can already tell we're not gonna get along. Talk to you next year.
Nice knowing you.
Like that is real how I go about doing stuff. So I don't think you need me to get involved, but I want to let you know. Having your rights in other places is a good idea, Brady. Hey, invest in that portfolio, pal. Keep that thing diverse. You got CBS Digital. Everybody knows that.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody knows that. Fox on TV, Big Noon Kickoff. That show's up and coming, huh? The noon time slot is the most watched college time slot of the regular season football.
No big deal.
Really?
Yeah, remember I sent that commercial in the Big Noon Kickoff ad.
That's
and
right.
the tagline was most watched window in regular season college football everything. I'm like, all right, here we go.
Sweet.
Brady, you do great on that. You do great on everything, actually.
Try, man. I appreciate it. I've got a lot of good influences, as you can tell, with AJ and the rest of my fam and all that. So it's always nice. Like I came back home this past weekend, and you kind of go back to your roots, and you go, this is what made you. These are the reasons why you're able to do certain things or have certain perspectives. So I always appreciate your guys' show because I feel like you guys talk a lot for a lot of people out there sometimes who they don't get to voice their opinions and stuff. But I feel like you guys do a good job touching on all that.
Well, we're lucky to do it, Brady. And we're thankful you stopped over here. And good luck this season. Can't wait to watch you on those Saturdays and on CBS's digital platforms.
Hell yeah.
Can't wait to see it. And your show. What's your show you host?
Two Pros and a Cup of Joe. It's great I paused there, right? Two Pros and a Cup of Joe, Monday through Friday on Fox Sports Radio.
What is that?
That's our morning radio show, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern time. I'm on there with Jonas Knox, who's our host. We got LeVar Arrington on there as well. So,
Whoa, the mammal!
Yeah.
Hold 6 a.m. every day live, or you pre-record that
Well,
tonight?
I'm up there early, man, so I'm already up. It works for me. Now, those guys on the West Coast, that's a little difficult schedule for them.
Jesus Christ.
What time are you up in the morning?
I'm usually a 5 a.m. guy, usually a little bit before, to make sure I can get a little something in, a little workout before.
Okay, so alarm hits 4:45 a.m.
4:45, yeah.
Snooze?
No, not a snooze guy. Not a snooze guy. Unless you're you got so many extracurricular activities before you leave the bedroom type thing.
Are you boozed up? Are you boozed up? So,
Pat's trying to figure this out.
oh, great question. Diggs just reminded me of something I wanted to ask you about.
It's out.
4:45. Are you tired when you get up or no?
Honestly, yeah, probably initially, but like the older I've gotten, the more tired I've gotten.
And you just power through it every morning, and then 6 a.m. you're live.
Yeah, like honestly, like there's this park I run to there and back. It's about a mile. It's a little over a mile, but like that by the second half of that, I'm like, all right, I'm awake. Let's go. Let's get this in.
I'm ready to go do 3 hours of hating on people. Now, Brady, I don't want to be a hater here. Sounds like I'm a little bit. You did. Every quote that comes out from that show, 2 Pros and a Cup of Joe.
Well, by the way, no one ever quotes anything where I'm really complimentary. Have you ever noticed that?
We'll start doing that.
Have you ever noticed? Like, no one ever, like, I could have said something complimentary past that, but they only push out the negative because that's the only thing that gets a response.
Negativity hogs publicity. It's a shame. It's the world we're in. That's why we try to do a little bit positive stuff. Now, with that being said, here's a super negative story I need to talk about with you. Notre Dame is home of one of the greatest catfishes in the history of catfishing. There's now a documentary about it with Manti Te'o. Were you there with him at the same time? You came before him. Do you know anything about that? That we should? Yeah, what did the entire Notre Dame alumni and Notre Dame school rally around Manti when that was taking place? And,
I mean, until they knew what was happening, that he had been catfished, I think a lot of people were buying into the story. But no, I'm fascinated to watch that. By the way, like I don't know. I thought the preview was incredible and just kind of like, okay, like there is something deeper to this. This isn't just like some dude who got tricked. Like this is real. And I think the one thing that I always thought about was if you had found out like the night of the Heisman, because going to that ceremony and sitting there, I mean, I was sitting there thinking to myself 2 things. One, I was like, damn man, everyone keeps coming to Troy Smith. I'm wondering, I'm pretty sure he won because otherwise like. Maybe there'd be more people coming up and saying something to me, but that wasn't the case. And then it was 2. I was like, I got to go on TV at some point. Kind of nervous for this. Chopper and Rob's made an appearance. Had to make sure they kind of towed the company line. They didn't say anything too ridiculous.
Chopper.
I could only imagine, like, walking over to Chops and Rob's and be like, hey, I got catfished.
Lene,
like,
it's not real.
Yeah, like this isn't real. And like having to deal with how would that, like, what do you do? Yeah. So I'm fascinated to see what happens and how this all plays out. It looked really interesting. I thought they did a good job of telling a story that I think a lot of people out there know.
Did you want to remind us you're a Heisman finalist? Is that what just happened?
No, you're asking me what I saw. I mean, I was literally thinking to myself like.
No, I did forget.
That's what it felt like.
I did forget though.
Me too. I would be sitting there. I'd be like, is this the point in time? Like, tell me this. Is that the moment where you go, you're up there for the Heisman, right? And you go, oh, by the way, this whole thing about this girlfriend that passed and all this stuff, I was catfished. None of that was true. Like, is that the moment you just break the story out? Because I feel like that might derail the Heisman Trophy. Like, no one's going to remember who won that year. They're just going to be like, Hey, you remember when he talked about this catfish thing at the Heisman Trophy ceremony? Like that would derail the entire thing.
And I think at that point, catfishing wasn't as understood as it is now. You know, that was pre-Nev. That was pre the TV show. Like, he's one of the trailblazers and the groundbreakers of, like, introducing catfishing to the world. Now it's a much more common thing. I'm excited to see the doc just like you. Hey, this guy is a Heisman finalist.
Never forget.
Holy
This
shit.
guy wasn't he, AJ? This guy.
Yes, he was. I think I want to know. I want to ask the last thing for me, Brady.
Right now, if I didn't think that that you guys would run with it somehow.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely would. Absolutely.
That'd be the next T-shirt.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. Go ahead, AJ.
Brady, Pat said you need to diversify where you're at, your digital platforms, everything. Is there any truth to the rumors of you joining Live Golf Tour as a commentator?
How much are they going to pay me?
Oh, Brady! That guy! This guy.
How much do you think Faraday's getting?
I don't know. That's a good question. He's probably getting at least. I mean, you'd have to think they're getting 8 figures at least, right? I mean, because you're giving up like the rest of your career in that world to go do it. But you know, it's such a complicated conversation, right? Like you've got guys who are going to be making generational wealth that they're probably more towards the end of their career where they're not going to be able to make that sort of money on the tour playing. And, you know, yeah, you're obviously frustrated with who's actually paying the money, but we kind of pick and choose when we want to be frustrated about that, right?
Oh.
Like, it's like we don't seem to get upset with any NBA players when they, you know, go overseas for different events, different places, but that's
what place? What do you? Whoa! Don't say it. Actually, don't take us down because you're trying to go down the road.
Good lord!
Jeez, what a bad guy.
Talking about John Cena.
Hey, don't have any logic, please, Brady. Can't have it anymore. And also, I can't wait to listen to Two Pros and Joe.
Hell yeah!
Every morning, 6 to 9 on Fox Sports Radio, right?
Well, hey, yes, and I'm looking forward to see Zach Wilson when he gets back healthy, balling out this year, playing great.
Hell yeah!
This will not make it though. This quote will not make it this year, will it?
No, we're gonna clip this.
Yeah.
Hey, Gumpy, clip that.
Put it on the
part there.
ticker.
Yeah, put it on the ticker. Brady Quinn wants Zach Wilson to get healthy and ball out this year. Hey, we appreciate you making time. Know you're very busy, especially with the early mornings. You're the best, man.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on. Always fun being on.
Ladies and gentlemen, Heisman finalist Brady Quinn.
Yeah,
Did you know he was a Heisman finalist, AJ? You pivoted right into a live question, but
I did, yeah. But yeah, of course, I watched it on TV. I remember.
I forgot.
was that when you guys were wearing the jersey? Laura was wearing a jersey, both of you guys? Yeah.
Yep, we both wore the half and half jersey to the Heisman presentation.
So cool.
Man, that's
I actually told my coach, hey, I can't play in this NFL game the next day because I'm over here. Wearing a half
You
and
guys
half
have a
jersey.
week 1 bet this year for Ohio State and Notre Dame?
No, I mean we can if you want, sure.
Yeah, what's that? Like, hey, I'll give you 4 points. You know what I mean? And we'll put, I don't know what, $1 million on the line?
Yeah.
10 bags of
Watch
broccoli
each other's
and
kids
rice.
for a week.
Yeah, white chicken. Give me grilled, bland chicken.
Boiled chicken.
A whole boiled chicken.
A whole month worth of boiled chicken.
No seasoning at all.
Sounds
Just-
great.
That would be a great bet for you two, right? You and Brady?
No.
Yeah, that's all he
Yeah,
eats.
I would. It would. You're not.
Why would I bet that chicken? I could just make that myself. I don't
True,
need to bet that.
doesn't
Yeah, but
wanna
coming
lose
out
it.
of Brady's pocket, it's a lot better.
Yeah.
You do that. You bet people like when WVU has a big game, you like reach out to all your pals and make big
No,
bets.
Mark Andrews last
Wow.
year.
Fucking Bears
WVU
bet.
versus Oklahoma.
The thing about West Virginia, you see, is, you know, Brady said, you know, from 2 to 10, really, 3 to 10, you can. West Virginia's just in there somewhere. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're 3 to 10 nationally. They're just in there somewhere. You know,
Is that where they're at?
they're gonna get some. They're gonna
I
get
didn't
some
see
win-
that poll.
Some polls. I mean, every poll has a different. Neil Brown's got the boys humming over there. Trust the
Does he?
climb.
Graham
got
Harrell.
JT Daniels. Graham Harrell's a dog.
They're only touchdown dogs week 1.
2.
Pitt.
Exactly.
Take them.
That's in Pittsburgh too. Post Kenny Pickett, they got no shot. You
No
see how good Kenny
chance.
Pickett is? That was what Pitt had.
Yeah,
They
lost
ain't
their
got
best.
that anymore. Pitt's going to this fucking Steeler preseason game, that football team. Narduzzi's on the sideline. Neil Brown's doing push-ups and up-downs like he's MCDC. Hammer West Virginia +7 against the University of Pittsburgh Panthers.
Best receiver left. Went to USC. Whole
Yeah.
entire team's crumbling over there.
Of course. And we know everybody on West Virginia, right? JT Daniels is the
JT
quarterback.
Daniels,
Yeah,
Graham
let's
Harrell's the
try.
offense coordinator, dude.
They should just shit can Neil Brown and make Graham Harrell the head coach.
Well, all right. I don't know if that's the greatest move either. We don't know what Graham Harrell's going to be able to do in the mountains, but
Change the game, probably.
it would be cool to win some games. Like, that's the difference, though.
What is?
Like, your team going to Ohio State, obviously you get autograph deals where you sign for 2 hours and get 50 grand just immediately because you went to Ohio State. Like the deep alumni, the connections, the unity, the community is awesome. You going back. General Bob still works out with the damn team. Like that is an incredible thing. But also every weekend you can talk shit to people. This is like Alabama fans. Alabama fans every weekend can talk shit to people and feel good about it. Now they'll lose every once in a while, so they have to take it on the chin. They lost the national championship last year. It was a rebuilding year in Nixon. Yeah. Like that would be fun. Like that would be a lot of fun to be able to do, and you just get to enjoy that every single week. And I don't even think you realize you become numb to it almost.
You're probably right. I mean, because I don't sit there and talk to people or care to reach out to people to tell them Ohio State's going to be.
Yeah, it's because you know, like it's understood at this point.
Well, the standard is very high here. You're right.
Yeah, like that needs to happen back in West Virginia.
That can with Graham. It can happen.
What's understood doesn't.
Oh, so you agree?
Oh, reading them?
Uh-oh.
I don't know if this is the right book for the moment.
No, it's
what is it?
That's not the right one. Where's the mole?
This was a book that was suggested.
Oh yeah.
By somebody who led a book club. That each week there's a new book.
Right.
Fingerprints of the Gods by Graham Hancock. 578 pages.
Big boy.
No problem.
Yeah.
Tiny words.
That guy just revealed that he keeps a bust of Nick Cage in his locker.
Graham Hancock?
No, Aaron.
Really?
What happened?
I just saw a video on the internet. He just revealed that he keeps a bust of Nicolas Cage in his locker. Like, like a Hall of Fame bust.
From what movie?
Not just
National
not from
Treasure?
just his head. Oh, he's got a longer.
Did you know that, AJ?
Is it a headphone holder?
That's awesome.
That is sweet.
Is this for his Bose deal or whatever? Yeah. Doesn't he have a Bose deal?
Oh, does he put his headphones in Nick Cage?
This dude is awesome. Look at all the fucking media, too, about to dive into the deep details of why he has it there. Just having a time of his life. I've won the MVP 2 times in a row. Just did a whole podcast about what I do in the offseason. You all have to ask me questions every single day. Here's something new for you guys. How about this?
Yeah, dance for me,
I
Mark.
Cut the stash.
Guys, who did?
Yeah, Raj did.
What's that all about?
Oh,
What's that all about? He cut his hair too?
He usually cuts it during preseason, doesn't he? Before the regular season starts.
Yeah, I feel like we normally see him in the full denim costume, though, for that sponsored meal day. And he has that mustache, doesn't he, normally for that day? He can grow one back.
Yeah, he'll come
1 week.
Yeah, he's got plenty of time.
That Nicolas Cage mannequin head's going to bring a lot of good energy, though.
Hell yeah.
That's good news. Have the odds changed for the Green Bay Packers to win the Super Bowl since finding out that Nicolas Cage's head is in Aaron Rodgers' locker?
Good question. They probably should have.
That's right. It should probably get better, I think.
They were still plus 1,200.
Oh, there's Sheeran's sleeping.
Let me see the division. Let me see if the division changed.
It should. I mean, Nicolas Cage being a part of anything means it's going to have success.
Nothing changed.
All right, let's get out of here then. Okay. It's been a hell of a Tuesday. Congrats to whoever ended up winning the PMS Poop Watch. 202 was the right answer.
Yeah, I wonder if anyone guessed.
Good timing.
I saw a couple 202s. I think someone did.
Did you? Was it
And you
somebody
haven't gone back.
Was it somebody you liked? That's why you were
No. Definitely not.
He hasn't gone back because that was a 14-minute trip he took. What do you expect?
Get it all out.
He literally binged and purged there. That was a Pancha Karma situation.
Yeah, I also technically haven't had lunch yet, so in about 40 minutes, I'm gonna have round 2.
We need to get you another iced latte going in the afternoon.
That'll be smart.
We'll see if they have scones over there. Maybe.
I don't think they do. We're told they're not gonna have scones till tomorrow.
Well, that's just not going to work. I'm going to need one of those guys, preferably the guy with the long hair, the mustache, and the bull nose ring, to maybe go get some more scones or the breakfast burrito that they were talking about.
Here we go.
This new coffee shop has really got the boys buzzing.
I do actually need to head back over there because I grabbed a book this morning. I need to replace one.
I got you. Maybe Maury's book.
But they got to take one and leave one?
They do.
It's a book exchange over there, yeah. This place is the most awesome place of all time. Very pissed. Brand new.
2 days old.
Very pissed that it's coming in our last couple of days at this office. Like, shoot upset that I don't get a chance to enjoy Quills a little bit more than I'm going to.
Is it that far away? You can't, once you move to the Thunderdome, you won't make the trek?
I hate to say this to the people at Quills, and they don't deserve this, especially after 2 days of great service to us, and we enjoy their company and them being on the same block as us. I will never go to Quills again once we move to Thunderdome.
Bingo, not a
And
fucking chance.
I am.
I might never-
I'm not happy about
No,
it.
yeah,
I might
it's
never
terrible.
come downtown again.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Yeah, like we're coming downtown.
Con Man though. Con Man lives there, right?
Yeah, I'll go. From what I've heard, though, I will probably never step foot in Quills either. But I mean, we have the luck.
What have you heard?
Yeah,
What have you heard? Only good things.
I mean, I've heard they serve milk with a little shot of espresso.
That's a
that gives
nice
you
latte.
dunks.
Welcome to the coffee world, you loser.
Exactly. And I'm not that sophisticated in coffee. And if that's coffee world, that's not a world I want to be in. I'll just take my regular bland coffee. I don't need to go to the hipster shop. And plus, every time I look at Bruce, he will have the Quills hat on, and I will always remember Quills.
Quills Coffee does have merch.
Thank you,
Bruce did
Bruce.
buy a hat this morning as we were in there. I'll tell you, the environment is worth the trip.
It is.
So I'm going to remember that. I'm new to the coffee. There he is. There he is.
Look at that.
Looks like a nice shop.
That
It
should
is.
actually be the face
Look how
of
happy he
Quills.
is.
He's so, dude, it is literally, I've never gone into Quills and not had the time of my life in there.
Is that a ghost? Is that a ghost? Is that a
He's
ghost?
right.
Is that a ghost on the wall?
I think that's
The
a
shadow?
light fixture of some sort.
Yeah, but I think they put a fucking ghost body underneath it.
Where?
That's kind of like Quill's over his left shoulder. That thing's sweet.
That's a shadow. I do.
I don't think so. We're gonna go in here right after, and I'm showing.
Listen, I'll get anything to go to Quills, but I think that is a shadow. Let's not lose focus, though. Bruce does look cool enough to work at Quills right here.
Yeah. He looks like he owns Quills.
No.
Hey,
We met the guy that owns Quills.
easy.
Good guy.
Yeah.
He's the one educating us about all the coffee.
Okay.
The guy with the long hair, awesome guy.
Yeah.
Coolest looking guy of all
man.
time.
When you can hear him.
But we are new to the coffee world, so we are being educated every time we go in there. AJ, it is a full on, multiple pops out of me every trip to Quills. Laughing very hysterically every time I go in there. We are the biggest doofuses that step foot into Quills Coffee every single day, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it being here.
Yeah, I feel like I probably do need to go over there and take a big messy shit in the
Yes.
bathroom, though, since they did give me the
Yes.
16 ounces of whole milk. So we'll see.
That's a nice latte. You didn't know what you were ordering. That's on
I
you.
didn't. But so I think what's fair is fair. I might have to take a massive shit over there and not flush.
Eye for an eye.
What goes around comes around.
Don't take an upper decker. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't do that.
Quills does not deserve that. Okay, we
I don't
got
understand.
nothing-
Can you not drink milk? Does milk just make you all dump your life away?
Bro, whole
You
milk?
drinking whole milk every day,
I could
pal?
drink a gallon of whole milk and be fine.
What?
I know you could.
Yeah, like what do you? Don't let it affect your stomach like that. You're
Don't
I
let
have
it.
colitis, you asswipe. I
Yeah, Ty
can't
has an
control
excuse.
it.
Ty does. Ty does have a situation.
Well, don't let it make you shit your pants, dude.
I'm saying don't think about it. I know a lot of people that think like, oh, I can't eat cabbage. You know that gets me. Like, no, I've never. It doesn't correlate for me. Like, I don't care. It doesn't.
What
I never
Polish
think
people
about
you hanging around? There are a lot of
You
Polish
stuff
people
cabbage.
ever?
Center of Ireland?
No, I know people that have a lot of stomach issues though, and I'm like, man, I've never thought of it. I've never thought of that.
I want to let you know that we appreciate Quills
We
for
do.
everything.
I love Quills.
Love you, Quills.
And I do want to try those breakfast burritos, so they need to get on that fucking stat.
Here we go.
They have a great bakery that we've not been able to experience enough because by the time we get there, it's already sold out, AJ.
Oh,
how
really? So
popular.
this place have like a line out the door?
Probably before I get in, it does. I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of people probably DoorDashing their, their nice little breakfast stuff.
I don't think they're
Not
set
they're
up
on
for
yet.
DoorDash.
I didn't see the
Really?
normal bums outside Starbucks today, so I assume they've already gotten word and they're making the 2-day hike up to Quills. Seriously. And that place is going to be covered in poop and, pennies on
Quills.
the ground.
Quills is
Quills.
so nice. You need to watch it. Stop with the negativity with Quills.
Sorry.
AJ, I can't wait for you to experience Quills because you come out here at least one time before we get to the Thunderdome, right?
Yeah, I'd love, I'm sure they have great like pour over black coffee.
Oh, they do. They got an ice
They
cold.
probably have all
Mer-
the fancy like Bunsen burner things and all the weird contraptions.
It's pretty.
Pretty bare bones, actually.
Oh, okay.
What?
I'm saying, like, it's all about the coffee. They don't need all that fancy bullshit. It's
Kidding me?
What's funny, Tone?
Nothing. I can't. I'm going over right after this.
yeah, you guys. I mean, we've been there 3 times.
I'm
in
going
2
there in
days.
2 minutes.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
hear me? I'll be over there in 2 minutes. We'll see if they got any of the
They
scones
better
back.
have some fucking scones.
First off,
Wow.
can't wait.
What?
What?
Well, second off.
Nothing. Can't wait.
You have to now, Tone.
Oh, is that
Hopefully it's a unisex bathroom that Ty just blows
whooping
up.
cough Tone?
Yeah.
How are you, buddy?
Good.
You've never been over there yet?
No.
What?
Tony, you love coffee.
No, because you guys go over and you like to make a mockery of the place, and I don't want to be associated with
What do you mean? What do you mean?
What happened, Tone? Is there some like
They
you
go
guys
over
have some
there like a
animosity
fucking
here?
marching band and fucking whoop the whole place up.
I mean, pull that picture of Bruce up again. The guy's hit more reefer before he went over there than anybody in the planet. It's like Wiz Khalifa.
It is an environment. It is a. Listen, it's.
Wait, do you bring the environment, or is it already there?
Both. I think I bring the environment everywhere I go. Hey, I'd like to say, but I've been having a blast at Quills.
Yeah, Quills is more than just coffee. It's an experience.
It is. I've been having a blast. We got a book out of there.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you doing? How long has this been going on?
2 days.
Yesterday was the grand opening.
So happy. We were so happy.
I hope they see Ty coming today and they don't let him in.
That would be a big mistake. Let's just say that.
I think they enjoy us, man.
They should.
They feel
I mean,
like
this is pretty good pub for the place, I would say.
Yeah,
but
I'd say so.
We are idiots, though. So, like, the way they were talking to us, teaching us what the fuck we're ordering, it is... Because this is like an IPA coffee shop. It is, like, high-level coffee stuff, you know? And we don't know...
Super passionate about coffee, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's like the coffee culture, coffee community. And then you got us.
Cool.
You got us. It is. It actually is. But you got us walking in there and go, what? You know, like, I mean, it's a full... We bring down the IQ level of everybody in there every time we go in. And I have a blast doing that. Like, that is I enjoy those types of situations. And I think that's why I'll continue to go to Quills every single day.
Yeah, until we're not down here.
I don't know if you can be doing what you did today, though. Your butthole would not be able to keep up, I don't think. We got.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not going to be drinking 16. You know, I had about 40 ounces of coffee coffee, you know. I wasn't expecting to drink a full 16-ounce glass of whole milk. I was not equipped for that. I mean, I might as well just have ordered like a 4-pound bowl of queso and drank it before the show.
Gross.
I'm sure it'll be much better when Ty just eats that bean and sausage burrito and doesn't drink that latte.
All right, let's get out of here. The show stinks. The only thing that can save us is more Quills tomorrow.
That's right.
I'm expecting everybody to have at least one trip to Quills before the we're at training camp tomorrow.
So got to go to Quills today.
All right,
Ready for the show.
We're not going to be at studio tomorrow. AJ, we'll see you Thursday, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, I want to watch.
Are you going to drive over for that or no?
No, I won't be able to make it tomorrow. I didn't know you guys were going tomorrow already.
2 days off this week, eh, Pirate?
Pirate? What's that mean?
Yeah, what does that
I was actually wondering.
Exactly, Con.
Wait, he's going to rob him booty, dude?
He couldn't think of a word.
What are you talking about? You're a pirate because you're a rebel without a cause. You're skipping work every single week, one
Kid
day
Rock?
at a time.
Rebel without a cause? What's that from?
Kid Rock's got a cause.
What's that?
I'm a rebel without
COVID
and Biden.
I'm going platinum. That's Bob Ritchie, I think, Rebel Without a Cause.
Yeah,
too.
Bob Ritchie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but his two causes are, one of them's, sleeping in the White House, and the other is, pillaging the air.
We live in the dumbest time of all time, don't we?
Yeah, I'd say.
Just open shots being fired at this fucking president by everybody at this point, right? I mean, and it's not like...
They're not unwarranted.
It's nothing about policy. It's just like, this bag of bones. Everybody's basically saying about it. It's like, well, wasn't that kind of known that he was 97 years old whenever he was getting voted in? What do we...
Yeah, well, I don't think people could have anticipated the bike fall. I don't think people could have.
Hey, listen, anybody who's ever had the shoes that click in is expecting the bike fall, baby.
Chocolate chip. No one expected that. No one expected him to be biking by our reporters yesterday and them to ask him if they could talk to him for a second. Him saying, "No, I'm going to get a bathing suit.
Whoa,
sorry."
dude.
That's exactly what happened. Like, he does things.
That's better than the one time they asked if they could talk to him. He said, "No, I got to drive this thing, and maybe they could stay in front of you, run him over."
I forgot about that. Yeah,
was that F1? That was the new F-150.
Yeah, the
0 to 60 in
one.
3 seconds.
I only know the situations that hit into my world, obviously, with this guy, and it's always. I mean, he's getting cooked. This guy is getting cooked by everybody at this point. It's making its way into my Twitter. It's just getting cooked. The one of him saying, "Oh, you'd be a speed bump for my new F-150."
Why don't you stand in front and find out?
Yeah, that was
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
Last year, I think.
He was test driving a new all-electric Ford F-150.
Yeah, I remember when he pulled up and rolled the window down, this thing can fly, or whatever he said. And I didn't see him try to run people over.
I don't think he tried. He said he would, though, which I thought great promo here.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Not to mention the promo, you can describe America in one word.
All right.
That's the President of the United States. Why don't you have a little respect?
Sitting US
Come on,
president.
hey, Commander-in-Chief, I support him. But if he's going to do things, then we got to talk about him.
No, we don't. That's literally what we don't talk about.
Can't just be blind to what he's doing.
Well, I have been, and I would like to continue to do so.
Yeah, definitely keep it that way because once you get in, there's no getting out.
That's what it seems like. That's what it seems like.
Too entertaining.
When is the next the presidential elections when it takes over everything, right?
2024.
Yeah, midterms are this year.
So we got time.
Yeah, you got some time.
Registered to
He
vote.
will level up as we go here.
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about as a whole.
Oh, yeah.
Presidential
As a country.
election becomes what, like 40 people think they're going to become president?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, how many narcissists can we pack on one fucking stage? Is kind of what it is. And that's when I am forced to get into the politics world. There's some poor public speakers out there. Isn't that like rule number one for politicians?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Shapiro throws his hat in the ring this year because he can.
He's old enough now?
I believe he'll be 36 by the next time it comes around.
Gary V's running?
If he runs, then book it.
I mean, if he chooses to, he wins.
Shapiro? The guy from Catfish?
No, Ben.
Ben Shapiro.
Yes.
Do you know Ben? You know who he's talking about?
The Daily Wire Plus. If you saw him, you know.
Very
exactly.
smart, speaks very quickly.
Yeah.
He's like a good guy.
Like graduated college at age 12.
Yeah.
One of those guys.
Relatable,
Yeah.
sounds like.
Yeah, very relatable. Definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
He's running for president, this guy?
I'm saying there's been.
What about Alex Jones? He needs to get in there so he can give himself a fucking. He needs to give himself a.
Well, you know who's got my vote?
Who?
Kid Rock.
As soon as that governor of Florida said, take those fucking masks off, I said, that's my president.
He also, DeSantis, probably making a run at it.
Is Obama coming back? President Obama, sorry.
He already served 2 terms. I don't think he can.
No, consecutively, right? You can take a year
skip one
off
and come back?
and go back, can't you?
Oh, I didn't. I don't know for a fact. I didn't think. I have no idea. Though.
I did not know the rules. I just assumed that you could. Is that not something you could do?
If you didn't have 2 terms, maybe.
Is it not just two?
Like Trump could do that if he runs again, obviously.
He only had 1 though, right? So
Yeah.
that's a different situation.
But 2 is max, right? 8 years. 2 only. George Washington did.
Doesn't need no fucking Grover Cleveland deal again, where he's in his fat ass is in the White House for 20 years.
Grover Cleveland did that?
I don't know if he was the specific president, but one of them kind of
FDR?
overstayed their well.
He
It
the
might
one
have
got
been
stuck in
William
the
McKinley.
bathtub?
Yeah, William McKinley. That
was Taft.
Yeah, Howard Taft, one of them.
Taft
Yeah, they're a
died in
bunch.
the tub.
All these old
See, we're
fat
named-
white guys. You know?
We're naming a bunch of presidents I didn't even know were presidents right there.
Oh yeah.
Taft got stuck in the tub and died.
Yeah.
FDR or
They were somewhere in the
Teddy. One of them
20.
did like 18
Did Taft die in a tub?
340
Yeah,
pounds.
that's
as
what
he
they
just
knew.
gave.
Yeah,
he
he was
told
a
me.
fucking
Hey, no
mammoth.
more fucking fatzos in the
Like
White House. This
Elvis.
guy can't get out of the bathtub.
Yeah, like Elvis.
All right. Feel like we just disparaged a lot of presidents' names there.
Yeah.
Hey, Harry Truman was a fucking badass.
Yeah,
though.
he was.
He was.
S.
Yeah.
Yep. Buck stops here.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah.
Anyways, we hope whoever wins really does a good job. It sounds like it's a win-win no matter what.
Yeah, good luck.
Definitely a win-win.
Who wants to be president? Nobody. Hey, you're very successful. You seem to have figured life out. You got a bunch of money. You want to fucking just throw that all away so you can make next to nothing and be hated by everybody? Come be president of the United States.
Okay.
All right, I'll do it. I'll do it. Fucking sign me up for that. You're going to be a special type of human to do that, man. It's coming up 2 years. We hope everybody that's good out there that's watching and runs for president.
Good luck, presidents.
We hope you all win.
We'll get him.
Hope you get able to get out of the tub, too, because Taft really did a number of that thing.
He did.
And by the looks
What do
of
you do? Sledgehammer it to get him out?
Yeah.
I think they got scissors, the
Garden shears.
Jaws of life.
Jaws of Life. They got the Jaws of Life. They cut. Oh, by the way, I actually broke a porcelain thing this morning.
Oh, no.
At the house, yeah. That's going to be a problem, actually, to deal with when Sam gets back. It slipped out of my
what's
hand. Well, it's one of the cat balls. You know, you got 4 cat balls. They each eat individually once. And I was cleaning them out because they had a lot of food stuck in the inside of it. And that thing slipped out of my hand. And it was actually the meow one. There's a meow one. There's 4 different ones.
Yeah.
The meow one slipped out of my hand, and that thing shattered. Took me back to art class, like whenever we had to blast something or whatever.
Ceramics.
Ceramics.
Yeah, and then I obviously dropped mine, and it just fucking exploded.
1,000 pieces.
Yeah, that's exactly what this thing did in my kitchen this morning. So I'm picking up these individuals. Hey, get out of the way. Don't step on it. The whole thing. I mean, I'm a fucking idiot. What'd you say, Zito? Zito found Mr. Taft's President Taft's bathtub. Big boy. That's a hot tub.
Did they all die in there?
No, none of those are Taft. Taft took up the whole tub.
Joseph Stalin?
Where's L2?
Oh, Zito, how can you do that?
L2.
I believe this is showing how many people could fit in the bathtub.
Yeah.
Well, what's the big stooge sitting
What's
outside?
the guy outside of it?
Yeah, what's that guy? Just
He might have been
looking?
the ceramic guy.
He's a builder.
So R1 is the guy that you said looks like Stalin?
R1.
Yes.
L2 has an interesting look there.
Yeah, he does.
L1 looks like a booze bag.
Probably was back
Murderer.
then. Most of them were.
Is there water in there?
R2 is the designer, right? Let's assume R2 seems to be the most satisfied with his work.
What year was this?
Well, right after Taft was president,
1930.
obviously.
Yeah, roaring 20s.
1913, I believe. 1913, if I had to guess. Z, what year?
1913, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Wow, right, spot
Good
on.
guess.
Spot on.
Also,
Was
could
that
be
a guess?
1909.
No, Zito every once in a while drops some gems in my ear. You know what I mean? Like while we're talking to Brady Quinn, he goes, catfish. Actually, Diggs texted me catfish. I forget what you wanted from me in the middle of a conversation. He'll like sneak in, and it sounds like that Dane Cook pickles thing. And it's normally like very valid, very good, and it's in one ear while the person's giving the answer in the other ear. So I got to swallow and compress laughter normally, and then figure out how to way to work it in. Then as soon as I work it in, I hear ha ha from Zito in the back in the ear again. So it's a good little relationship. We got a great. I'm very lucky for Zito. Very lucky for everybody that watches this show, calls into the show, listens to the show, and tries to guess what time Ty's butt's going to explode. This has been Tuesday. Tomorrow we're at training camp. AJ, we will miss you. Darius Butler will be live with us. Can't wait for that. MCDC will be there.
Hell yeah.
Jim Irsay will be there. Matt Ryan will be there. I believe we'll have some footage from practice as well. I mean, it should be a good time, AJ.
What time do they practice?
Noon to 2.
Oh, sweet. Perfect.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a camera, too.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I don't know. We're going to get in trouble for showing stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Nah, we'll be all right.
You won't give anything away.
Well, it's not that the league hasn't already seen
Exactly.
those two.
What?
It's a joint practice. They're not showing anything in a joint practice anyway.
Yeah, they are. These are more important than a goddamn game.
They are, but they're not going to give away their secrets and run some stuff that they may run week 16 against each other.
Yeah, we'll show like one-on-ones. Watch Pittman moss somebody on the
Oh,
Lions.
I can't wait to get Michael
Later,
Pittman
Kuda.
Jr. our only weapon right now.
Yeah.
Going one-on-one with Dog. Okuda. Is Okuda on the team still?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Coming off Achilles.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Hard Knocks tonight.
Yeah, me too.
He should talk to Kaboli, see what his rehab routine was.
That'd be
Kabali
smart.
got over 2 Achilles.
Fast.
He's back on the sidelines. Everybody needs to be doing what Kabali's doing, including us.
Sandwiches in your pocket?
Yeah.
Quills in your mouth, sandwiches in your pocket.
Boom.
That's Kaboli way. We'll be back tomorrow. See you, AJ. We miss you, bud. Thank you, everybody. PMS Poop Watch is already over. 4 winners of $500. You're the best. Hammer Dahn will be coming live at youtube.com/Hammer Dahn. We'll see you then. Goodbye. See you, everybody. Thank you, AJ.